Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. This is now episode 400. We have reached the big 400 number, and as you can see, some brand new changes, and one I'm really excited to tell y'all about that they're gonna be thrilled when we say it.
I'm excited too. Listen,
do I know? I don't know. Riv, I feel the same way. I don't even know.
I don't know actually.
Oh, okay.
However, the vibes here, immaculate.
Yeah. I just don't know what he's talking about. But
what are the changes?
Okay, listen. The thing I'm talking about is that
I'm sorry, before you finish, you said it before we started, and none of us questioned it, and now we are.
Now I have no. I swear I have zero clue.
This thing, I think you guys are just being idiots right now.
Okay.
Because
I respect that.
I think it's quite clear what the new change is here.
You know what that is for, bro? I'm assuming audio listeners. Now I really don't know.
Okay, we're gonna reveal it in a bit.
All right.
But first of all, you guys can tell that the brand new setup, new walls, new paint on the walls, new chairs, new table. The wires are not as visible. They're still there, just not as visible because newsflash, you need wires in order to hook this
Do a
equipment
podcast.
stuff up.
Yeah,
you know?
people are
But
ridiculous.
the surprise that I'm surprised you guys didn't catch the gist of was
now
the
we're
fact
here.
that we have a
We got
producer's
Johnny
corner.
in the building now. Facts.
And John, moving forward, will be on the podcast with us. We got him set up in the corner. So he's in the room with us right now. So whenever he wants to give his input on the topic, whenever he wants to do some fact checking or whatever, he's a producer. Think about Jamie from Joe Rogan Experience, his producer.
You know how long I've been wanting a producer in the building?
So they
like
can see
John
him.
easily. Yeah.
He's got a
If
camera.
we
Yes.
flip to him. Like right now, we flip to him.
Flip.
There he is.
Someone's got
like John's.
that. Or,
John's
John,
there.
you got the bells and whistles to do
love
that?
that.
Yeah, he just put himself on the screen right now.
Like to you, Dehls?
Talk your
Bro's got
shit,
the
John.
sunglasses on. He just took a shot of Patron. That's why.
What I
Did he?
he's geeked
Dude,
up right now.
A shot of Patron is the nastiest shit I've ever had. I had to hold my nose and I thought I was gonna throw
Hold
up
your
still.
nose.
Nah, he's
Because of
soft.
the smell.
John.
Yo,
All right,
John,
all right,
you
John.
lost.
Back to
Come
being
on,
quiet.
feedback.
Back to being quiet. What I do love is that now, if we don't know something, John looks it up.
Wait, John, you're 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, if he was 20.
19, no, he was
I know
19
facts.
for forever, but now he's 21.
That was the big surprise. I thought you guys were going to catch the gist of
That's
it.
on me. That's on me. Facts. I forgot that. You know what it is? It's the monitors right here. We can't even see John, but we know he's there in spirit.
The comments have been asking for it. They want John to be here. It's not quite a seat at the table because you can see there's not a lot of room here, but it's the producer's corner, the PC.
That's
he's
what
calling
they've been
the
calling
PC,
it, for sure.
The producer's corner. You know, we got John in the building now.
John has always been a part of the family, but now it's obviously awesome that he gets to be a part of the show, essentially full time in his own way.
He's going to talk so much about the Steelers.
Yeah, way too much if you
They're
ask
going to
me.
be
Truthfully,
4-4, 5-5,
If he talks
6-6,
about Jalen
7-7.
Warren, I'm fine.
I got into like a 15-minute argument with one of our friends the other day on Justin Fields and why he's gonna be an amazing quarterback. It really upset me that I entertained it that long. So, John, just please don't be that way. And then I think that we can stick to what we're going to do for the future.
On today's episode, top 5 teams in the NFL. We went 10 through 6. Last episode, we're going 5 to 1. This episode, we got a lot of NBA stuff we want to get to, some fun trivia stuff. We got this number 1 overall pick draft that Drew crafted up the idea for. And then we're going to give our 3 players that we think will make a leap into an all-NBA player or an all-star level player. How you guys feeling, though, with this brand new vibe with just being episode 400? I feel like whenever we get to the hundreds, whether it's 100, 200, 300, 400, it's a new set of goals. It's a new era.
Let me say this. Shout out to Pee Wee, who obviously he blessed us for episode 200. We had Through the Wire on there. X Through the Wire, numbers on the board. Episode 300, we had Pee Wee on. That was pretty lit. And then episode 400, obviously we don't have him on the show, but want to show him his love. We should have recorded this episode a couple of days ago. Obviously, if you can hear in my voice, this is like my 17th flu game. I've been sick like a dog. Thankfully, I'm here. And obviously, I didn't want to miss episode 400. So you guys were real enough to postpone the episode until I was 100%. I don't know what Riv's looking at.
Did you just take a picture of me?
No, man.
Oh. Because he pointed it right at me. I'm doing putting a list
Chapstick on?
Yeah, and I'm just like, this guy.
Getting
is
you
a
while you're
freak.
vulnerable too.
Yeah.
But I also want to say this.
When your shit's puckered.
That's actually John activity. But episode 400 Is this the first episode you've done since you were using paper without your laptop?
It's been a while. I use my laptop every episode. But when I first started podcasting, I like the authentic feel of just having the paper.
Yeah.
Even if it was just on a regular notebook, I like it. I might even bring it here. I got to get a printer first, though.
No,
That's
I
first.
respect
Get a
that.
notebook,
Have
bro.
a couple
Yeah.
little note cards. But to me, it's funny, and I have to mention this. I was thinking about this while we were having this new setup. I had always used a laptop until somebody said to me, "Oh, Drew's always on his damn laptop." So what did I do? I shut it down, no laptop, only my phone. Until the comment section started hitting me with the, if you let Drew be on his phone the whole episode, he'll be on his phone the whole episode. Where the hell are we supposed to keep our notes if we're not going to have it on this type of
Straight
device?
off the dome.
We talk for 3 hours, 2.5 hours, sometimes 3.5, 4 hours.
People get surprised. Like, people think we take breaks, but they're like, how do you sit there and talk for 3 hours and like actually have stuff to say? And I never really have an answer.
No, listen,
honest.
I think that it's going to be interesting for our new dynamic. Riv has his laptop. He doesn't care. He's still locked in with the laptop on his
football, I
lap.
need it.
No, I understand that wholeheartedly. Listen, for basketball, that was back in the day. Lord knows I needed that
No,
laptop.
we had a full basketball. I don't need the shit, but football. I need
I've evolved, thankfully. Basketball now I can
Did we,
kind of chill
we fix
without
these
it.
Chairs? We're locked in, or mine's still a little fucked up?
All the chairs are fixed and
Oh,
they're done well.
No way.
Don't worry.
No way.
So
you
what
flipped
happened?
it?
Oh, this dude was so the furniture came in and me and Dehls did some dumb shit because instead of collaborating on a chair by chair, we wanted to be macho masculine men and we wanted to do it one at a time. It makes sense also to save time, but that only happens if you're not being an idiot and you're doing it the right way. So the first chair that I did, I put a piece upside down.
First of all, the directions were terrible.
The-
Direction, like, it wasn't a lot to put together, but the directions made it more complicated than it had to be.
So one of my pieces that I put was backwards, and I had to do it again, but I was too lazy to do it in that moment because I just spent a lot of work putting everything together. It was literally the last piece that was upside down.
Damn.
Then with Dehls, there's a back piece that goes onto this chair that basically holds this cushion up, and Dehls wasn't able to screw it in.
Because I put it upside down.
So he
instead
said-
of facing the cushion, it was
Yes.
facing the floor. But it worked. Like, I was sitting on it and nothing happened. I'm like, whatever. I'll just
So
let it
he
rock.
said screw the screws, and he basically left the chair without that support. But if you don't have that support, you could fall through it. So that's
Would
what
take my
happened. Then
chances.
in the third one, we messed up on that one. Then the fourth one, we actually collaborated on that chair. We put all the foundational pieces of it together, and that was the one that came out the best.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Teamwork makes
Which
the
one is
dream
that?
work.
It might be the one you're sitting on, actually.
You always get spoiled, man.
Yeah,
Don't say
man.
black
We
guys
always-
don't get spoiled.
You like to say that it's
always
always
think of you
versus
first.
against you, but you
I know for
usually
a
get.
fact Joel thought of me. That was the night.
So did I. Oh, what?
You know what? I understand where you're coming from.
No.
Now, actually, if we're being honest, Joel said, well, that'll be Rib's chair.
I get that though. I'm the lightest, so sitting on
You
the
are,
chair,
you are.
I won't break
Little
it.
petite.
That's definitely what I thought.
I love being petite.
If you're gonna believe him, because
I'm trying to save you.
he has a track record.
He does have a really
What's my
nasty
track record?
spat.
I'm a truthful person.
I'll be honest. Your track is pretty much destroyed, brother.
It's not great.
You're in the mud.
I'm a truthful person, though.
That tells me all.
Do I
need to
lie?
know. That just tells me all I need to know about this guy.
Am I a liar?
So you are. You're
Truthful.
Yo,
not. Okay, this guy is sick.
No, but yeah, all the chairs ultimately came out good. Because the things that were wrong, the defects of each chair that wasn't done properly, it was one of the very last pieces. So there wasn't much to go back and fix. So I just did that real quick, and yeah, everything's pretty much sturdy.
they're comfortable
And
too.
we don't gotta worry
You got
about
a little pillow too, just in case your tummy gets a little tired. You go and you can lean on it. That Riv got it.
She was back here.
Oh, I thought it was back there. No, it was
I
behind
have mine
you.
like a little
Yeah.
arm.
Did you
rest.
guys see my ongoing war on Twitter the other day?
You had a tweet bang. What was it about?
Ray Allen and Clay.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, cooked.
No, I know.
Yeah, you were
but
right,
I've
for
been,
sure.
I've been going to war for like 3-4 days.
I don't know why.
It's been nonstop.
I mean, a lot of your replies got a lot of love also.
Yeah, it was.
Ray is a better basketball player.
Yeah.
I think it's just a lot of people just think of Boston Ray Allen, and he just wasn't the same player he was.
Stat Muse. Funny enough, I had more likes than the post that Stat Muse posted. But
Wait, Stat Muse quote tweeted you?
no, I quote tweeted Stat Muse and they dropped
okay.
just straight stats. It was like I guess like Ray Allen's whole career. So it looked like Clay was in the running. But then I was like, nah, this shit don't look right. So I went on like Basketball Reference and I just looked at Ray's prime. He clears him.
Mhm.
So
And you also have a lot of Warriors fans that follow you too. So I'm sure a lot of those followers were saying
A lot of your
tweet.
followers are also under the age of 21, and they're
Yes,
kids,
true. Also
and
true.
they don't know the game of basketball as in depth as maybe you do.
Yeah.
They should go on YouTube and they should go look up Ray Allen
It's really not
highlights
hard
when he
to
was
find
on
Ray Allen
Milwaukee
film, you know?
and
It's
when he
not
was
from-
on.
no, it's not from the 90s.
It's really not that hard. It's not that hard
It's
at
right
all.
there, you know. But
It's
yeah.
like what the quote Ant-Man had said, I
He's
don't
crazy
watch
for that.
back in the day. He's like, I don't really know what was going on, but outside of MJ, they were ass. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, he was crazy for that.
He's just real.
Well, Allen was
He
drafted
contradicted
96.
himself.
OG tweet on him. That shit was funny. You got to go watch his TikTok.
OG violated Anthony?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
He just-
I've seen a lot of crashing
Yeah.
out over there on.
He disrespected too many dudes.
There's a lot of drama going on in
a
Players Choice.
lot. A lot.
There's a lot. I seen
George Gervin will give him buckets. He was going crazy,
I
bro.
seen a video of a Legend of Winning. He like made a whole video on why like he don't be on Players Choice no more. Like
Did y'all see
There's a lot of
him and
drama.
the crash out when Swiper was up there?
That was crazy.
So
Oh, you're
funny
saying
to-
with
when Legend was up
Lowe
there, he was
and-
like, "Get him the fuck off my thing." I'm like, "Yo, he's crashing out."
No,
bro.
that was
was
hilarious. That was hilarious.
It was so funny. Yeah,
Lowe has been on the run recently. He's been doing his thing.
crash outs on Twitter be funny because like, why are you so angry?
Twitter
Here's the thing.
Spaces.
We crash out. Your crash out for Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was all-time great.
Crash outs are all
Crash
time.
outs
Like,
are good.
OG's crash out with Tim Duncan, like that's one of the
That's
most
an
legendary
understandable crash.
moments.
He
on-
was dead. He was
NBA,
devastated
bro.
because he.
I hate that there's a term for it though now. Like crash out, let me not say that. I think it's a good word. Crash outs is funny.
But the other word for it is rant.
Yeah.
But,
But
I-
crashing out is different. I feel like crashing out's like you just get really like heated rant. I
But
feel
are-
like it's more of like a long, you know what I
are
mean?
people trying to say crash outs are bad though?
Nah. I think you just like you're kind of tweaking.
I just hate when people
I just got into a conversation with somebody from our Discord because he's talking about crash out only means like TikTok has gentrified the word and crash out only means if you like slash somebody. I'm like, no, it could literally be me and Joel arguing. I just start tweaking out and I'm crashing
You start
out.
like screaming.
yeah, it's just hollering and yelling. Like crash outs, it can be low, extreme, middle ground.
You know why, bro? Because I see people when they talk about crashing out, like it's a bad thing. Oh, nobody should ever be this passionate, or nobody should get this angry over sports or basketball. That shit, that's where it loses me, and I feel like they talk about crashing out being a negative, but a lot of crashing out is some of the best moments. You mentioned that low shit. You with Kevin Durant, OG. Those are all
0-5. That
all-time.
0-5 was a
no
fucking
idea.
Your
crash
crash
out.
out was
Like
insane.
I
That
think
was great.
I think KD shit was more of a rant. My shit was more of a crash out.
Yes,
You know
that's
what
a
I
cook.
mean?
You
Like,
cook.
yeah.
You cook.
Yours
He
was
cooked.
definitely, you was all red and shit, and Drew was just like,
What
I don't know
the
what I did.
Well, it's- I'm trying to think how like the differences between them. But
Well,
I feel like
crash
crashing
out-
out just like you almost
think-
like lose yourself.
I
You
Crash
know
think
what
out
I
used
mean?
to
Like,
mean something different. Like
Yeah.
crash out
Yeah.
used to mean like what Dell said. You lose yourself. If you're a crash out, essentially being like you're a failure. Like you're like if somebody is addicted to drugs or
Yeah.
they're like
Yeah, yeah.
alcoholics.
Because
Because
I
you're
think
a crash out.
I think my rant turned into a crash out at some point. Like at some point, I was just screaming.
You were
banging on
screaming.
the table, but it was like a rant in the beginning. You just crashed the fuck out. Like you heard 0-5, and you just
He went
completely
from
lost
his
it.
normal
Yeah,
skin
you just
tone
completely
to
lost it.
bright red.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ! I
Nah.
didn't know I got that crazy.
That's exactly how I felt when Drew said Mahomes wasn't a Hall of Famer.
You fake crashed out
you
at
did
that moment.
fake crash out.
No,
I
you,
was wrong.
no, you crashed out when he said Jalen Hurts led them to the Super Bowl.
I crashed
and
out
then
too,
you were
yeah.
just like, no, he didn't. No, you
Oh,
started.
you have
wilding.
had a lot of crash
Yeah,
out
you had,
moments.
like,
Oh,
small
the
crash
Burrow
outs.
Jalen Hurts crash out was so funny.
the Matt Ryan didn't choke. That was on the Patreon.
The Patreon
not,
shit was
not many
crazy.
people saw that too.
Nah.
That was
bro ended the recording. That
I
was the
love
most.
Matty
That
Ice.
honestly might have been the most heated I've ever seen. This
honestly
group
to the point where after the show ended, I had to go to Joel. Leave the show, bro.
Me and
We're
honestly,
good.
bro, the last like 30 minutes of that Patreon, I don't think me and Riv said a word. Y'all two were just going back and forth over Matt
Nah,
Ryan.
it was
that
long.
was definitely the most intense. Maybe outside of this most recent shit, that was the most intense argument between me and Joel. I was like, damn,
what recent shit?
are we friends?
Dell's
Matt
got a
Ryan.
new dog.
The
I did get a new dog.
the,
What was most-
the Anthony Edwards, the Wolves and the Suns when he chose against the Suns.
Oh yeah.
That was bad.
But, no, I did get a new dog. Did get a little puppy.
His
Shout
name is
Shout out to Henry.
You didn't
Shout out to
change the
Henry.
name.
Good
Nah,
name.
It is
Good name.
Because me and Chelsea, we were thinking of different names, but we didn't know if the dogs had names yet. So we just had a bunch of names listed down. But once we got there and they told us the name, we're like, all right, we think Henry works with this dog. But he's been really good. He's only It's like 3 months old, but we're still potty training him, of course. But so far, so good. He's had like one accident in the house. He goes outside, goes to the bathroom. The first couple days on the leash a little iffy, but every day he's been getting better. He's just a puppy, so he's chewing shit. He's biting on you. He's trying to eat cords and all of this stuff, but he's so cute, man. I'm so happy we got him.
Let me ask you a question. Java was a boy?
She was a girl.
So this is your first boy dog? Facts. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I had Chloe when I was like a fucking toddler. Then we had Java. Now we have Priscilla. But yes, my first like
Priscilla.
male dog.
It's my ex's name.
Yeah, that's my dog's name. That was another one though. We didn't change her name.
Fat.
Yeah.
That is a fat dog.
Oh, I thought you were saying my ex was fat. I was
All
about to
right,
laugh,
I'm not
like,
gonna
oh,
go like
shit.
that. Is she?
Oh no. That's why I was like, oh shit, maybe you've seen it earlier.
No, I
today.
have no idea.
did.
But no, his dog is fat. No, his
For
dad
real?
will give
Yeah,
her, excuse me,
facts. OD
cheese out the
treats.
ass.
I respect
She
it.
lives a good life.
I love
Sure.
Priscilla. She's a sweet dog.
Tough.
Riv,
What's up?
recently, I just seen this thing on Bleacher Report. Notification popped up that Steph Curry removed the Warriors from his bio.
I did see it. He put Olympic gold medalist.
I respect that.
It's
No,
very
is it
respectable.
No, it just can't fit. So he had to. He had
Is
to
it
remove, he had to
happening?
remove something.
You can't put GSW 3 letters, no?
I'm trying to make it work. Man.
Listen, you're welcome.
He's not going to. The
Come on
Lakers.
over.
He's not going. To
Come on over.
He's not
Let's
going to the
make
Lakers.
history,
What do the
Riv.
Lakers have to trade?
Who
Nothing.
cares?
That's the conversation we always come back
He's
to.
not going to
Nothing.
the Lakers. He's
How many
staying.
more years do you have his contract?
Two. This year or next year.
It's not gonna cost that much.
He's not.
You're
he's-
bugging. It's Steph Curry, bro.
What?
It's not gonna cost that
It's not
much.
going to cost that much.
You gonna take Austin Reeves?
You don't even have. You have to set like 4 players. He gets like 50 mil.
Ooh. All right, you gonna take Austin Reeves?
What's an actual realistic destination that Steph can go to at this
San
point?
Antonio.
You think so?
That would be tough. That'd be awesome. But how would they make contracts work too?
Well, they
Keldon.
had cap.
True.
Houston?
It's a good point. Nah.
You need to pair him with somebody.
They just I'm just thinking
Realistically,
assets
Steph
and
can
money
go
and picks.
anywhere.
Orlando.
All right, let's just keep it there. He can
Orlando
go
would be tough.
anywhere. But where would he go?
Where'd he
Where is
wanna
Steph
go?
Where he
going?
would go is back to his home in San Fran.
It wouldn't work, but I would see him in Phoenix.
Give it a rest.
I'm telling
Give it a
you,
rest.
if one person's gonna stay with a franchise,
I mean,
It's
this
not gonna be
bio
Steph.
thing could mean nothing, but at the same time,
It could
I don't
mean
think
he's coming out.
I don't think he's going to the Spurs.
No.
And the Spurs
I mean,
don't
from what
have a
they've,
window to compete
from
right
what
now.
they've reported, Steph and Dre are fine with the roster.
He has to go to a team, I think, that's in a big market and ready to win.
Los Angeles.
The Knicks, if we didn't have Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Like you guys are running from it. The
No, you
truth
just
is
have-
the
you have
Lakers.
nothing. You'll
You
never
just-
have
there's
anything.
no
it's the
trade
cap.
offer.
It's the cap. It's the
no,
cap
no, it's
and
not
the,
the cap. You have nothing.
It's
Like,
both.
But
The
no
assets
team
and the
has
cap.
anything to give you that they would accept
No,
for
but
Steph Curry.
like Rockets have players and pick. Like there's other teams that have picks.
But
and
Steph
players.
also has to okay it. That's
Yeah, for
also
sure,
what
for
we
sure.
have to think about. Where does Steph Curry want to go? Plus, what's a decent offer that we're going to accept? Realistically, I don't see many
It's nowhere.
teams outside of the Lakers, and I will try.
You have to stop.
Orlando-
I
No,
can see
Orlando's a
like,
good
Kyrie's a
destination.
free agent next year, right? I could see if they move on from Kyrie, Dallas
Dallas,
could be a situation
don't hate
for
that.
him.
Don't
Pair
hate
up
that
with
at all.
Luka, you get to Dallas.
Oh, that would be really good.
If Golden
It's a,
State
you know.
trades Steph, they are looking to get young talent back.
They don't.
With
Yeah, I
plethora
mean,
or
of
picks.
Mavericks don't
Yeah,
really
but
have.
you have to still. You have to move somebody.
You don't
know?
want Austin Reeves,
I really don't.
but you wouldn't even be a Golden State
Austin
Warriors
Reeves
fan after that.
highlighting
I'll still be Golden
the
State.
package is tough.
If
Austin
you have
Reeves
AirPods,
had
why would you
seven-
want Austin Reeves?
You're cooking.
Austin Reeves is better than AirPods.
It's not the point. He's
Yeah,
like
that's
5
not the
years
point at
younger.
all. It's just like
Similar player.
Yeah,
why?
literally, he's like 5 years
But on
younger.
defense,
White.
I'm still taking Austin Reeves.
Not saying much.
No,
it's saying a
AirPods is
lot.
better
No,
defender.
it's not saying much.
No, he's not. Is he?
AirPods, I think, is a better.
Better?
defender. Yes.
No.
If he's not better, they're equal.
Neither
at
of them.
least.
Yeah, neither of them jump off the
I
screen.
mean, you
defensively.
mentioned Austin
you're
Reeves'
right.
defense. Like he's a
Austin,
great
no,
defender.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that at all. I think he's a good defender that unfortunately gets tasked
Pods
with
is
defending.
a streaky defender, if that's a word.
Yeah, I would still take Reeves. Reeves is unfortunately tasked with guarding the best offensive player on the
Thank
opposing
God.
I
team.
think
Pods
Reeves
is a-
has showed you more, to be fair, but also
Way more.
playing next to.
He's like a
AD
fucking
Brown, you know?
4-year player.
Playing next to Steph.
Yeah, there's just. I mean,
Austin's
he's
playing next to LeBron and AD.
No, agreed.
yeah.
But he
I'm just
said
thinking
that,
third
and I
option
said, of
compared
course,
to
Pods
second
is still
option.
playing with Steph.
I mean,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I
Better
think
not,
from
sure.
time to time, we've seen moments where Reeves is handling the ball and is the primary
yeah,
initiator.
shit. The Grizzlies series down the stretch. Bron said, "This is you."
It's a
We haven't
fucking
really, you know what I
movie.
mean?
I'll
Like
never
that's
forget
that's
it.
special.
That brother's staying, man.
Steph, I
yeah.
think so too.
Him and Dre riding into the sunset together.
It's just so
Just
tough to trade an
fucking
aging star
40 and
because
42 every year. Here we go.
the team that trades for him has to be in a position to compete for a championship immediately, while also trading for a player that they have to give up a lot of assets for. Like if Milwaukee would make a lot of sense if they didn't already trade for Dame. That would make sense.
I look at KD, right?
Swap him.
Why did KD get traded for so much? One, he's Kevin Durant. Two, he had a good amount of years on his deal left. With Steph having 2 years left on his deal, two's still a good amount of years on a contract. It is Steph Curry. He's 36,
He'll be
if I'm not
36 in March.
Okay, so 35, going to be 36. He's still going to go for an insane haul.
I don't think he plays that long though. Like I think he'll get one more big deal and like play like 38.
So he's going to I think he plays till he's 40. I think he has the athleticism
wants
to
to.
play till he's 40.
He's already getting into TV. He got a new TV show, Mr. Throwback.
That's what I'm
did see
saying.
that,
I really don't think he like.
But like
wants
LeBron
to.
was in TV, he's still playing
But he
ball.
like Steph had already accomplished. Like this was the
show
last
is
thing
like
to get.
Steph Curry produced it. Like
And
he's
he's in it.
it, acting in it. LeBron did some stints as an actor, but he never like was heavily
His
involved.
was
in,
also like Steph was
an
more of a
entire
TV
production.
show.
Well-
LeBron was more like the shop interview style kind of.
That's big.
Yeah.
The
It's
shop
not
is
like a
big.
TV show though. There's more work that goes involved.
Well,
to
let me
that.
ask you, do you look at Draymond Green, the Draymond Green show, as something similar?
Yeah, but Draymond Green, I think, is going to retire in the next 2-3 years.
He's also younger than Steph. I think like when you look at LeBron,
I just mean in terms of work that goes into a production.
Yeah, I just think Steph Curry at this point in time,
he's done everything.
it's two
But
things
so is
for him.
LeBron. He's going to play.
If he wants to stay in Golden State, this contract he's on currently, this will be the last
That's it,
contract
and
he
he
plays
retires?
on.
Probably like one more
if he
year.
really wants to go win a championship, I could see 3 years more for him max. I don't think he plays until he's 40.
He has the skill set and the capabilities to still be a high level
But he
contributor
has
to
said
a,
if he's
a
not
championship.
like he said this before. If he's not still one of the best players in the world, he doesn't want to play. Like,
he
that's
will
what
be
thought.
one of the best players in the world in 4 years.
I don't know. He might be like top 15, top 20.
In
Yeah,
4 years,
but I
that's
think
a
he
lot.
Not top 20. He'll be top 15.
But I'm saying I think he wants to. If he's not top 10 anymore, I think he's comfortable with just walking away.
4 years from now is crazy. You already thought he was dropping off.
Loki.
In which way, though?
You thought he was like. You think he's like 8 or 9
You said one
now.
of the best players in the world. He would be one of the best players in the world.
Well, he's
when,
top
when-
10 right now.
When you say it,
But that was the statement.
If you're,
But he's
the,
closer to 10 than 5.
if you're the 15th best player in the world, I don't really look at you as like one of the best players in the world.
I mean, y'all had him as the third ranked.
Really?
4
guard,
years
so-
from now, I don't think
Like
Steph
Anthony
Curry's gonna be a
Davis
top 10
isn't one
player.
of the best players in the world.
He's a top 10 player.
He is one of the best players in the world.
All right. All right. I'd love to hear that.
There's a lot of one of the best players in the world, to be fair.
I think the first like 10 guys.
like
are
John Morant's one of the best players in the world, would you say?
No, he's
I'm a
not.
Ja fan, and I wouldn't say that.
I don't think.
2 years ago, he was in top 10 conversations. Yes, he
didn't put him
was.
there. I didn't put him there.
Top 10?
Yes, he
I think
was.
he was in top 15 talks.
You're extending the criteria. You're making it very vague.
I'm not trying. Is Jason
Technically,
Tatum not
Like,
one
is
of the best
Donovan,
players in the
is
world?
Donovan Mitchell one of the best players in the world? I wouldn't say that.
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't. Okay.
But is Steph Curry in 4 years going to be as good as Donovan Mitchell is
Be
right
40.
now?
There's a chance.
It's going to be tough.
No.
LeBron
Yeah,
is
there's a-
going to be 40.
LeBron is an
LeBron is-
anomaly.
is-
He's
is
6'8". Is that
different.
like Steph is
different.
6'3"?
But I think
Okay.
that's where you have the like the saving graces. You don't need to rely on his athleticism. His I mean, like he's
Exactly.
just going
But
to be
that
one
means
of the best jump
but
shooters.
like if you got to think, Steph Curry's game is very motor. He isn't going to be able to run like that at 40.
How do we know that, though?
I don't know. That's a lot of cardio and shit. Like as long as you're locked in,
Because you're not going to be as fast. Then he's not going to be able to get
But
to the rim as
he's not
much.
De'Aaron fucking Fox
It's
fast.
not- he's
like
not fast,
he's
but
just
never been one
but
of
he's
those
getting
guys.
around
around
screens
but
well.
to get to the rim, he
he's
relies
using
on his little
leverage.
quickness, his little twitchiness. He's not going to have that at 40.
Like, we obviously don't know
disagree.
that for sure, but I think you'd rather bet on the fact that Steph Curry's not going to be one of the 15 best players at 40 years old.
So you're saying he's going to be 36 in March,
Yes.
correct? All right. So he's 35, is going to be 35 for a majority of this NBA season.
Half of it, essentially.
So he's going to, in 4 years, or he'll go into the season 39, exit 40.
You think he'll be cool just being a Robin, age 40?
Well, he was that at Kevin Durant.
I think he's fine with that.
I'm thinking 2022. Like
that's-
obviously he wasn't Robin then, but I'm saying like
think
he was
he's-
obviously the alpha.
like-
but if he could just be a Robin at 40 years old, I think he could
he's fine
definitely
with
do that.
But like, it's like he said it before. The last thing he had to accomplish was the gold medal. He's got that. What else does he need?
There's
Yeah,
nothing
one-
else for him to play
no,
for.
his
one
resume
more
sound.
ring, get over Braun.
I mean, I don't even think he cared. Like after what they just the summer they just had.
Yeah, I don't think they really
even
see
think
themselves
they
as
give
like
a fuck
a
about that
rivalry
anymore.
anymore.
Like he's just gonna play until he feels like he's not one of the best in the world anymore. He still feels like that today.
He'll
so he's gonna keep
retire one
playing.
of the best in the world. I believe that very firmly.
It's hard to see a scenario where he's just like out there averaging like 15. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, he'll get his 20 in college.
Yeah.
You got to also think, bro, the NBA is the league with the best players in the world. So maybe that's why I'm getting very broad when I say that. But like, I think
Cam Reddish, one of the best players in the world, low-key.
Anthony,
He is.
he's
Yo.
won the 0.1%
in the world. You're right.
RJ
You're right.
Barrett's
All
one
of
of the
these,
best players.
all these
He's
players
cooking
are
Euro.
technically
That's
one of the
all I'm
best
saying.
players in the world. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But like the cream of the crop, like I'm looking at Anthony Edwards. This is still one of the best in the game. Listen, I'll even extend it. Victor Wembanyama is still one of the best players in the world.
Like Cooper Flag could be better than a 40-year-old Steph.
That I need
4
to see.
years.
He hasn't
Year
played
3,
NBA
Cooper
ball.
Flag?
He hasn't played NBA ball.
I mean, 4 years from now, I just don't project.
What about
Steph
year-
to
what is that, year
average
5
like 20
Boncaro?
I mean,
points.
did we project LeBron James to be
You
top
are
10?
talking about
I'm asking a
fucking
question.
anomaly.
I maybe did because I love him. Did you guys see that?
I don't remember.
You dropped him
Truly.
off as not being the best player in the world at year 19. And that was fair because he was 36.
He was still top
Yeah, but
10
he still was one of the I dropped him off from being the
number
best.
one, correct.
He was still
To
one
number
of the
4,
best.
correct. Agreed.
Yes.
But that's the whole point. That he had the league in a chokehold.
Drew, this doesn't make sense from you.
But I only mean it. Why?
because you've dropped Steph at like 9 or 10 in the league. So in 4 years down the road, you should continue to drop him. Does that not make sense?
He's not 9 or 10.
What is he for you?
He's a top 7, 8 player in the league.
Oh, you think Jalen Brunson's better than him? Right
You
now?
had him, yes.
I do think
Yeah,
he's a
so that's
little
what I'm saying. So,
Jalen's amazing.
But if
Jalen
he's your
isn't
fourth
top
best
10.
point guard,
But Jalen's top 10.
I don't think Jalen Brunson's top 10 right now.
top 10 stuff.
top 10 is tricky.
I think these old
Jalen
guys
Brunson
though,
was efficient and did it while also backpacking an offense that should have went to the ECF if they were healthy.
Okay, but Jalen Brunson is he better than LeBron James?
No, come on.
Is
But Steph
he-
Curry's not better than LeBron James.
Is he better than Anthony Davis?
I don't
You're
think
crazy.
There's
You're
a-
crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. He's not better
Am
than
I
AD.
crazy for that?
He's not better than AD.
All right, then is Joel Embiid better than Anthony Davis?
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Why?
Embiid's better than Brunson when healthy.
Yeah. What the fuck?
He is. He
Yeah,
is.
what are we
he
doing?
is. He
Yeah.
is. He is.
We're
But
watching.
why
That's
is
tough,
it?
bro.
Why is Joel Embiid better than AD?
I mean, he's one of the best offensive big men we've ever seen. He's a great
He's
rim
one of the
protector.
best two-way players in the league. Two-way bigs.
He's
in
a
the league.
great defender.
I'm allowing
too.
Olympics to cloud my judgment.
definitely
sure.
That's on
He's
me.
one of the
the
best
thing is-
scorers in
One
basketball.
of the best.
And I didn't even mention
period.
I didn't mention Jokic. I didn't
Of course,
mention Luka.
those are the
Giannis,
obvious. Those are
all
the
that
obvious.
shit.
SGA, you
all
think he's
them
better than
boys.
Brunson too?
I do for
You
sure.
think he's better than Tatum?
Who?
Brunson?
Brunson.
Wow.
That's a
how the mighty
conversation,
have
man.
fallen.
And I've been open and vocal about that. I have fallen off Jason Tatum. I am not moved
We
by
don't
Jason
want you
Tatum.
here. That's fine.
That's okay with me. That's okay with me.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say he's top 10.
I've always been
He's
a
like
JB
top
guy.
13, 14.
But Tatum, oh man, I don't know. I don't feel the same I did once with
I
Jason
mean,
Tatum.
you got to go back and look at what Brunson did in the playoffs. He had some real stinkers.
He had
real
2 stinkers.
And both series, he
He
had some
played better than
stinkers.
Tatum in the playoffs.
Like comfortably.
I don't know.
Comfortably.
One guy
I really
played
don't
4
know.
series, the other played 2. Like, okay.
Oh yeah, I know. But
cool.
still.
His team got hurt and he also broke his hand.
Oh, that's a good point. You know who played better?
He broke his hand in second half of game 7. Like,
What was it, second half? I thought it was early in the game.
or maybe it was
I
the
don't
second
remember.
quarter.
I
I
don't
don't know, but it was
Definitely
game
was-
7.
it was
like,
It was early in the game.
It was game 7, though.
We were getting cooked. We were
You
getting
were
Yeah,
getting
no,
smoked
you're
by
getting
like
smoked
20.
regardless.
And then they made the comeback without him. What does that say about Brunson? I don't know. Nah, but I think with these old dudes, like when we were talking
they
about
make a
LeBron,
comeback
Steph,
without him?
KD, I don't think we had them in like the top 5 because throughout an 82 game season, they take nights off, where they take games off,
think,
where there's
yeah.
not the best. But game for game, like LeBron James, if you just say there is one game, one series, he's probably still a top 3 or 4 player in the world.
And I agree. Like if you just solidify it or like specify it to just I'm going into the playoffs. Everybody's healthy. Who do I want? There's not 5 players I would take over. Like
See, but like
LeBron,
even in
Steph,
that
facts.
even in that situation, I'm still taking Steph over Brunson.
No, that's what I'm
Out of
saying. Like, there's not
respect.
5 players you would
Yeah.
take over Steph. Just thinking everybody's healthy, going into the playoffs. I want this guy. Yeah, but it's like you have to factor in 82 games, the season. You take the younger guys. Nothing wrong with it.
Now, usually, how it's supposed to go in the NBA draft is that the number 1 overall pick is supposed to be the best players that come into the league from that draft class, but it doesn't always work out that way. But we are only, in this next segment we're going to do, is we're only going to name the best players because we're doing the best number 1 overall pick draft. It's 2v2, little bit of a crisscross action. Drew and I versus Dehls and Riv doing these number 1 overall picks. We didn't decide on who gets the first pick yet.
John, what are we thinking? Who gets first pick?
Bro wasn't paying attention.
He was not locked in.
John's over here doing homework right now.
He was over there fucking.
No.
Listen, we'll give the courtesy. I came up
Whoa! I'm over
Sean
here.
Marion stats.
I'm over here doing timestamps. But
You cook this.
Since Dehls gave me some attitude.
Let's go.
Dehls, who's your teammate?
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown. I'm sorry, Riv.
Damn.
Joel and Drew are gonna get the first.
It's all right. Sorry.
Not even a point.
Actually, listen.
This is why you should shut up.
Be a little bit more
Joel,
considerate.
we don't often team up, so I feel like we're about to cook up some nuts.
We're on the same wavelength.
I think
with
we
this
are.
First overall pick.
So we're going 1 through 5 and a 6-man.
Cool.
That is how we are doing it.
And we got to go with the best player to ever play the game.
Have to.
Right? You got to go AE.
I knew it. I believe he will be on our team regardless. I do believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Not unless we get him.
He doesn't like him.
Wait, so we're doing starting 5 with 6 man, right?
Starting 5 with a
I have our
6-man.
first 2. I just want to snake. I have our
We
first
are
2.
not doing a snake.
That's not
What?
fair.
We're doing a
not-
snake.
We always do snake.
We
No,
always.
we
yes.
never do snake.
We just did it twice.
We did
snake
snake in the
videos we did.
pre-record.
John,
no,
snake
we've
or no
never
snake?
done
Liar,
snake.
liar. When we had the Pee-wee drafts, we was snake. We did was go right before Pee-wee and then Pee-wee go back. Yup.
You have to do a snake.
You have to.
Hey, when you're wrong, you're wrong.
I was trying to cheat us, bro.
I was.
He did bug
I
out.
was. I tried to see what I can get away
That
with.
was crazy.
That being said, number 1 overall,
Anthony
the
Bennett.
GOAT,
Okay.
the king, LeBron James.
All
Playing
right,
the
Riv.
3 if you weren't. Should we play him at the 1?
It doesn't matter.
That would be dope.
I will think about
It's
it.
positionless.
Who do you?
No, it's not.
All right, hear me out.
Nah, it's starting 5.
We're doing a
Like,
starting
you gotta
5 and a
build
6-man.
team.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, if
He's
we,
positionless.
if we
LeBron
want to
can play the 1, the 4.
we can do that.
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck. Dehls, hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out. I'm just throwing these names out. We can go back to back Hakeem and Tim Duncan. Fill out a pretty disgusting
crazy.
defensive front court. If you want to do it, like we could do that, or we could go Hakeem and a guard.
Nah, I think we go Hakeem and Tim Duncan.
Hakeem and Tim
Yeah,
Duncan.
yeah.
Lock it in. So
All right,
we're
we're
going
geek.
Hakeem Olajuwon
Hear me?
and Tim Duncan.
Shaquille O'Neal.
I always wanted to see LeBron play with a prom Shaq. He didn't get to in Cleveland.
didn't.
He's gonna get to.
I
in this team,
cannot believe Shaq was not drafted.
though. I mean, come on, it's
Well, Hakeem's better.
that
Hakeem is
was
better, yeah.
idiotic.
not in Shaq's
Huh?
prime.
Hakeem is better.
Shaq at his best.
Hakeem at his
Shaq
best
was
is better.
No, okay, whatever.
Hakeem at his best is better.
Why?
He's the best two-way player ever. like in NBA history.
Ever?
Yeah, no,
You're
ever.
lying now.
Who's better? Two-way?
Probably LeBron James.
What?
2-way play. LeBron James.
Defense? LeBron,
Yes, LeBron-
is not a better defender than Hakeem at all.
LeBron James should have a DPOI.
But
Let's
LeBron's
just
an
keep
elite
it a
defender.
Hakeem
stack.
has one.
Yeah, agreed. But LeBron
LeBron
James
got
should
robbed.
be.
LeBron
He
got
got
robbed.
absolutely
Joel,
robbed.
you're
by-
just
Marcus
saying-
Gasol was second
Joel,
team and
Joel,
won
Joel,
DPOY.
Joel, all right, put
What?
the team part aside.
No,
Yeah, who's
no.
a better
you
defender,
cannot put
Hakeem
Who's
or
a better
LeBron?
player overall, LeBron or Hakeem?
Oh, I didn't say it's LeBron.
No, you asked the question.
I said
You
two-way.
said best 2-way ability. Who's the better defender? Hakeem Olajuwon.
By far.
Who's the best offensive player, arguably of all time? LeBron James. You pair them
LeBron
Who's
is
the
a
best
two-way player.
defender ever? It's Hakeem Olajuwon.
Is it signed and sealed?
Wait, so
as
hold
the
on, hold on,
best
hold on.
He's a
defender
walking
ever?
28,
I got-
12,
Dennis
and 4
Rodman.
blocks.
They
I
don't
don't
watch the
understand
team show.
Dennis Rodman.
Best defender ever? That's the cap?
I don't understand this because LeBron James is he or is he not classified a two-way player?
For
No,
sure.
he's classified as all around.
Okay, is he
he-
classified
no,
as a
he's
two-way
All
player?
around is
All around.
2-way.
Is he
No,
a two-way
not really.
player? So he
Wait, what?
LeBron's not a two-way player.
I
LeBron's
think all
not an
around-
elite defender. And
all
say
around,
that.
all
I
around's
did
a
not
better,
say that.
a better way to describe LeBron than two-way.
Yeah,
Two-way
really?
makes
Oh,
me
yeah,
think you're like a
agreed.
bucket
Yeah.
offensively and
That's-
you could guard.
All right, but let's
Like
not get
LeBron
pigeonholed.
is one of the best
You're
playmakers.
being- You're complimenting
Stupid.
him. Got it.
No,
I got you.
What is
You're confused
Kawhi?
answering the
What is
question.
Kawhi?
He's a two-way player.
He's a
Yes,
two-way
I
player.
got you.
There is
Yes,
a distinct
yes,
difference between a
agreed.
two-way
I
player and
understand.
LeBron
Yes.
is a two-way player.
No,
too.
LeBron has
no.
always been
Okay.
known as an all-around
All
player.
around
but
is
he's
better.
a- bro,
All around's better. He's
Yes,
saying-
of
yes,
course,
yes,
all
we're
around's
here.
better, but that doesn't mean LeBron's not a two-way
He
player.
is a
still.
two-way player.
Was
That's-
Hakeem not an all-around player?
Who? Hakeem was.
Okay, but he's still a two-way player.
Yes, Hakeem is the best
they're
two-way
saying-
player
I know,
in the world.
I know. I think we're
don't
getting-
understand what you were
I think
saying,
we're
though.
getting
If
caught up-
LeBron is a two-way player and he's a better player than Hakeem, he's a better two-way player anyway.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
How?
LeBron is a
No,
better...
you're sounding loud and dumb and wrong.
LeBron is a all-around player. He's always been known as that. But when you talk just two-way, you are talking score the ball, play defense. In terms of two-way
LeBron
ability,
James
in terms of
isn't that.
two-way ability, Hakeem Olajuwon is up there.
Yes, no
He's
shit.
the best
he
in
is.
the
No one's
world.
saying that he's not.
the best in the
So is
world.
LeBron.
So is LeBron James.
Is LeBron a better two-way than Kawhi at his best? No.
Yes.
Yes, he
What?
is.
It's LeBron James.
It's
What are we
LeBron
talking about?
James. Yes, I
What?
agree.
Yes,
No,
it's
I'm
LeBron.
fine with this. I'm fine with this. Yes, he
Kawhi
is.
as a two-way, he was better
Yes, LeBron got robbed by a
Stop
guy
telling me
that
about
wasn't
that
even
shit. I don't
first
care.
team
Wait, listen,
defense.
we're talking about defense. We don't care about those
Marcus
awards.
Gasol
We don't care about those awards.
What
We don't care about those
really
awards.
don't? All right, so then he can guard 1 through 5.
Because
can
we know
Hakeem guard 1 through 5?
Yes,
1
you
through
don't know
5.
basketball. Oh shit,
He can guard Steph Curry.
Hakeem
He
is
can guard Steph
7-1
Curry.
and can go out there and
Hakeem can guard Steph Curry.
How the fuck are we supposed to know that? He didn't play in
LeBron
that era.
James can guard Steph Curry.
He's in that
He
era.
can
LeBron
also guard
King?
Dwight Howard.
Dwight has no offensive game.
I'm
So it doesn't
talking
matter.
about a big man. He can bang down low with a big man. He can also go on the perimeter and fucking guard.
You're over-exaggerating.
No,
he cannot
I'm
guard.
not doing that.
He cannot
I'm
guard
being
centers that actually
100%.
have post game. Can he guard Hakeem? No, you know he
Probably
can't.
not.
I know. Can he guard David Robinson? No. Tim Duncan? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes,
no.
he
At
can.
his
He
prime?
can guard Tim Duncan. Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Why?
Because he's stronger than him.
Then Tim Duncan?
Yeah, he's
How
LeBron
do
James
you
is
even
one of the
know
strongest
that?
in the game ever.
He's-
LeBron
what?
James is
Because
genuinely
he's
one of the
stronger
strongest
than
player
him?
ever. Yes. Yes, he is.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
Well, I think it's a bit unfair to say.
How? If you're trying to bang with LeBron James, you're not going to get any leverage.
Because
Because he's
he's
stronger.
It's
Why
not-
was Dwight the most dominant ever? Because he was stronger than everyone
that's
else.
not why Dwight was
Yeah, no.
What?
I
You're
said
lying.
Shaq.
No, you said Dwight.
You said
mentioned
Dwight.
Shaq.
You said
I'm
Dwight.
just why was Shaquille O'Neal the best, most dominant player
Because he-
ever?
yes.
Because he was stronger than everybody
also
else.
like 300
if you are
pounds.
stronger, yes, you have more leverage. LeBron James is stronger than Tim Duncan.
Just because you're stronger doesn't mean you can guard somebody.
But that is a big reason why LeBron James is able to guard 1 through 5 because of his size and his strength.
Well, I think it's unfair to ask LeBron to guard these
I agree.
all-time centers.
I agree.
He can't shut them down.
But that's also
He can
unfair.
have-
It's not fair to
But
ask
that's
Hakeem
but he
to guard
started with
Steph.
saying Hakeem
Exactly.
can guard Steph.
Exactly.
My
but
whole point
we're-
is we've seen LeBron do the
I think
guarding.
it's
Well,
just-
because he's more of a wing defender. This is the thing, though. Hakeem defensively, I think, is better than LeBron, but LeBron offensively is way better.
It's
than
not
Hakeem.
even a
Yes,
competition.
because the playmaking. But
Okay,
in terms of
and
just
I
two-way
think-
go getting the bucket
And I think the
scoring.
gap
Then-
between LeBron on offense outweighs
Is LeBron a top 5 defender
Hakeem's
ever?
defense.
Is LeBron a top 5 defender ever?
No, he's not a top 5 defender ever.
what
He's
are we
the
doing?
best offensive
But
player
Hakeem's
in
probably
the
not top 5
history.
offensive player ever.
Who? What?
Hakeem's probably not top 5 offensive player ever.
Can I ask, why isn't LeBron in these all-time defensive
Because
conversations?
there's a bunch of defensive players that are better than
I
him,
also
and that's
think
okay.
everything
But
else
what
he
does
does
LeBron not
overshadows it.
do on an elite level on defensive side
LeBron's
of the
defense
ball?
gets overshadowed because I vividly remember when he was in his prime in Miami, he took the primary assignment on Derrick Rose and locked him up.
Yes.
He locked him up in
But
the
that's
playoffs.
my whole point. I look at LeBron and understand, yes, you are an all-time elite offensive player, but that does not allow me to forget what you do on the defensive side. The versatility, the ability
Hakeem
to
was
switch
just as
onto anything.
versatile. Kevin Garnett, just as versatile. He's 6'11", can guard the rim too, with the best of them.
Garnett,
Tim
I'm here.
Duncan,
I'm with you.
versatile, can guard the rim
Agreed.
too, with the best
LeBron
of them. When
can
you,
guard
when you,
the
no,
rim,
not,
too.
no. See, and this
Not
is
of their
and this
level,
is,
of
but this
course
is why
not.
this is why you're not understanding the conversation. When you're talking about all-time defensive players, the reason why these big men like Tim Duncan, like Hakeem, like Kevin Garnett get put in those conversations because not only are they versatile, even Bam Adebayo, like not only are they versatile as fuck, but they can guard the rim, which is one of the most important pieces of a defense. Can you guard the rim? Can you watch out for 4 other of your players and have their backs? Those guys are the best at that. So when you're talking
LeBron
just
can't do
strictly
that?
he cannot do that for a
not
game or a
national
whole
sector, no.
season. He can't.
But this
He just
conversation-
can't.
You
didn't see that in
not
moments
but that's not even
against
a
the
knock. No,
Spurs?
because at moments, but that's not even a knock of LeBron. He's a wing. You're not supposed to be able to do that. But the responsibility, it's just a responsibility.
understand that
thing.
point.
They are big men. They're supposed to do
Yes,
that.
yes.
As a wing, you're supposed to be able to guard the perimeter, be versatile, be able to switch. In terms of switchability, LeBron is one of the best ever. I
Yes.
would never disagree with that. But in terms of just overall what you can do as a defender, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Garnett, just to name a few, they check every single box as 7-footers.
This
That's just
conversation
rare.
was never about who's a better defender, though.
It was never
It was
about
talking
that.
about two-way.
Two-way. That's why I obviously am going to say LeBron.
I'm going to keep.
That's nuts. But
think
we
Hakeem-
got Shaquille
I don't know,
O'Neal.
like,
We got
You
Shaquille
got
O'Neal.
back-to-back
And we
picks.
got LeBron.
Yes. So LeBron was our first pick. Excuse
You
me.
got Shaq.
You guys went Hakeem and
Tim
TD.
Duncan.
I thought those were solid picks.
Damn.
I do think that Shaquille O'Neal should have won. We have
That's how that
Shaq.
really started. Hakeem
Yes.
versus Shaq.
Hakeem
We
versus
got
Shaq.
Allen Iverson on the board still.
I still
Anthony
think.
Edwards.
Drew, hold
Yes,
on. Question. Drew, a question. Just you said LeBron over Hakeem because all around, right? So who's better, Hakeem or Shaq? All around. And be honest.
That shit's not close.
Well,
It's the same argument. Is it not?
the thing is,
Shaq was sneaky, a good playmaker.
Shaq, the thing,
He
this is
sneaky
different.
was.
Shaq was so dominant, you have
And
to
prime
take that
Shaq was-
into account tenfold because There are a lot
Prime
of
Shaq
players.
was blocking
there,
shots.
there are players that you would say are more skilled than Giannis that aren't better than Giannis.
He's
I
right.
didn't say skill. When you told me LeBron versus Hakeem, you said because he's a better all-around player, that makes him a better two-way player. That's what you said. So I asked you, Hakeem versus Shaq. It's the same argument. Hakeem is a better all-around player. We can all agree at this table. It may not be a lot, it may not be little, but he is a better all-around player. So is it not the same argument back and forth, or is it just different because it's not LeBron?
Wait, hold up.
Shaq,
Are you
though,
assuming that my
am I
answer is
wrong?
Shaq?
I was
for
gonna
all-around
say.
player?
No, I'm asking you.
Okay, I think Hakeem has more facets to his game. He's a better shooter. I think he has more.
He's
post moves.
a better all-around player.
I think he's a better all-around player. I think he's a better two-way player than Shaq.
Yeah, I agree.
But LeBron is a better all-around player.
Yeah,
Therefore,
yeah,
I think
nah,
he makes
LeBron
him a
got
better
it.
two-way.
LeBron
As
got
long as we keep it consistent,
Yes.
I'm fine.
I'm taking
Because you
But
took
Shaq's
Shaq.
career is better though.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't
he
know.
is.
No, it's better.
No, it is.
He three-peated.
And he should have more. He did. And Michael Jordan's era, even though Michael Jordan didn't play basketball.
He didn't have Kobe. He didn't have Kobe. He didn't have
He had
D-Wade.
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde Drexler
He wasn't
him.
Kobe.
Yeah, he's,
All right, he wasn't
wasn't
Kobe,
Kobe.
but
No,
they
he
were
wasn't even
D-Wade.
they were comparing
He
him
wasn't
to
even
Michael,
D-Wade.
even though they shouldn't
That
have
was
back
in
in the
Portland.
day.
That wasn't in Houston.
But he was still him.
He wasn't even
in
D-Wade.
Houston.
He wasn't even D-Wade.
He was great in
Hakeem won
Houston.
without an all-star.
Well, to say he
Hakeem
wasn't
won a
even
ring.
D-Wade. D-Wade was the best
Hakeem
player on
won
that
a
team.
ring without an all-star player. Nobody that year made the
Don't
all-star
gas
game.
it, though. We
it's-
know
it
what
happens.
Clyde was, though.
Hakeem went MVP, DPOY, Finals MVP in the same year.
He's amazing.
Shaq did that?
Never.
No, he didn't.
No.
Tough look.
But he did go 3 in a row. And he
did.
does
Shaq
have his
got more
MVP.
MVPs.
He
He
does
does.
have the three-peat MVPs and stuff.
And he has scoring title, if I'm not mistaken, too.
I mean, Shaq was the most dominant force in the league for
They
a
played
long
though.
time.
Don't ever forget that.
Yeah. When Shaq was a puppy
Hakeem
in the
was
league.
36. It's okay. It's okay.
Shaq was a
36.
puppy in the league.
Shaq walked in different. So I don't even care about the
What were
puppy
the
part.
Orlando Magic before Shaq got there? He led them to the finals
What was
very quickly.
what was Houston before Hakeem?
They actually have some. They have more history than the Magic.
Oh, no,
they do.
didn't.
Calvin Murphy, baby.
He played with Hakeem,
Assist
bro.
leader.
He played with Hakeem.
Okay, shout out to him.
Assist leader, that's the highlight of the Rockets before Hakeem. We had a guy that led the league in assists.
All right, who's our next pick?
Listen, no, we
They
still
know
have
that.
to
We
make
have
our
a
next
pick.
pick. I think I'm not a huge fan of having AI on our squad
Oh
personally.
man, the disrespect to him.
No slight. I
Yeah,
think.
take a inefficient merchant.
And
You
who
ain't
would
had
that
that same
be?
energy when Pee Wee's on the show. When he talked about Steve Nash.
I said Steve is better.
Yeah, but you ain't argue about it.
Because the way Pete argues, I don't like it. I really don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm nuts for contemplating Victor here.
No, what?
I'm asking a question.
Pick him. I dare you.
I really am.
Hakeem is going to destroy him.
Play him at the 4.
Yo,
Tim
the
Duncan is gonna
glazing is
destroy
wild.
him.
Actually.
The glazing is wild right now, bro. on
with
Vic.
Victor.
Oh, yeah, a little wild.
Yeah, no,
All
pick him as
time
nuts. Pick him
first
as nuts.
overall picks.
You got
He's like
Andrew
the fourth
Bogut on
pick.
the board, bro.
Stop. Victor is already
As a
Okay.
fourth
amazing.
pick.
So you take Victor over David Robinson?
Am I crazy?
Over
to
Anthony
think-
Davis?
Just remember what
No.
Hakeem used to do to David Robinson.
You got
All I'm
Dwight.
saying.
No, I would take.
No,
I would
take
take
Wemby,
Vic
bro.
over Dwight.
Okay, these are the first overall picks that we could maybe go with, right? That I think should be worthy. We still
I
have.
didn't mean to
He
say
told us
Dwight.
Dwight
I
number
just meant
2
to say.
overall.
I meant to
Oh,
say Shaq.
We have Magic Johnson.
You almost
Yeah,
made me get an
where you-
aneurysm. when
We
you said
have.
That was an accident.
We have David Robinson. We have Anthony
that. You
Davis.
just have LeBron right now, right?
And Shaq.
Shaq.
Like Shaq, LeBron, and Shaq.
and Allen Iverson, and I think those are the next one of those guys will be the next pick between Magic, Allen Iverson,
What about Kareem?
David Robinson, AD,
Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Was he the first
I don't
overall
In
pick?
up
1969, because he was drafted as Lou Alcindor.
Facts.
I don't even see him in here.
Nah, he's on there. He's on there for
1969.
sure.
1969.
They don't have. Oh, they don't have the merger. They don't have
Oh,
pre-merger.
was it ABA?
This is
I
76.
guess.
Yeah, they don't have
He
pre-merger.
got drafted to Bucks though.
I'm just reading it.
Am I
Every number
wrong,
one.
John?
Every number one
Okay,
pick
that's
is
so.
the merger.
Are we wrong to go Shaq and
That's fake.
Kareem?
Nuts.
I want to kind of build a well-rounded
Weird
team.
fit.
It is a
weird.
It's a
weird
little
fit.
odd.
A little odd.
Yeah, ESPN has like.
I like
don't know
Anthony
why.
Davis a lot,
I like Anthony Davis too, but are we getting 2020 AD?
and I'm not mad with Magic Johnson either.
There's just such a lack of shooting.
I'll be honest. I think both of our teams are going to lack shooting unless y'all are going to pick fucking Kyrie or something.
Did he just cook?
We could pick Kyrie. I mean, Kyrie.
I just feel like you should stop talking.
Yeah, I think he just
like-
If you
cooked.
want to take Kyrie, go take Kyrie.
LeBron,
Go fine.
Kyrie,
We need
and Shaq.
I mean, if I'm taking Kyrie or Allen Iverson, it's an easy decision.
Yeah, I agree.
Who?
Kyrie
Allen
Irving.
Iverson.
Oh,
It's an easy
sorry.
Get him.
decision.
I want to see you fall for it. Get him. Get him.
Listen, I love Kyrie. Kyrie
Clearly
gave me one of the
over AI.
best moments that I ever had as a fan.
No, he's gonna be.
Ant's going to be on our team.
If you
He's
take
not
Ant, you
knocking.
have to take Victor. That's valid.
I want Victor on our
There's
team
no
inevitably.
Gen
There's
Z.
no-
God
he
damn.
went to conference finals
There's
yet?
no way you gave him shit for taking
Thank
Victor.
you.
You're about to take Ant. I know.
Thank you.
What do
No.
you
If we're
mean?
Nope.
listen, hear me. Let's relax.
We have Shaq.
Hey, stop
We
talking to
need
him.
guards.
Victor can play
Stop
the four.
talking to him.
Victor
Stop.
can play the four.
We don't have to talk to him anymore.
You're gonna need some size
Hear
down
me.
there. We got some beef down there.
Kyrie might be the best shooting option. I'm not against Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie, the numbers show he's a better shooter than AI. And I'm not going to disagree too much, but if AI is getting open shots, I count on him to be efficient.
Of course. I'm not going to disagree with that,
See
but
what you tried to do there. Kyrie is more efficient from the 3-point line.
he
Allen
is.
Iverson is just better.
Kyrie is a
Kyrie's a better
unbelievable-
shooter. He's a
Allen
better
Iverson
great
is still
shooter.
a floor spacer too. I just seen the other day Hardwood Class on NBA TV. He dropped 50.
My vote would be for Kyrie Irving. However,
Make your pick, man.
I'm a selfless
Damn.
guy. I will put it in your hands.
AI
go with-
LeBron, that's a nasty fit.
Let's go with Allen Iverson.
No, I don't want.
All right, Riv, Kyrie.
Yeah. Wait, we can wait. Let's just try to find.
We got back-to-back picks.
Yeah, so I'm saying we could let's see what we got.
Because are they going to put Kyrie and AI together in the
That's what we
backcourt?
should have.
Kyrie can play off ball, so we
I
can.
know,
have
but that's just a small backcourt. I'm just saying for them, if we don't take Kyrie with these two picks,
let's take Kyrie.
take Kyrie here.
We need some spacing.
Okay.
Tim and Keem gonna clog the paint. They both got a little midi.
Do we want? We can have Kyrie at the 2. We can still take Magic, run the 1.
We already have our Magic. Don't worry about that. We have our Magic and LeBron
Hey,
James.
I'm looking around.
Because there's, I mean,
Because I might go plumber. You know what I'm saying? I might go.
you want to take Big O?
Nah, we're good.
Who do you want? Bob Boozer? Who do you want to take here, bro?
I'll be honest. I thought Jerry West was the #1 pick.
Yeah, nah, he wasn't.
God, it's kind of pain.
I'll be
All
honest, there's not a lot of plumbers that are gonna give us shooting, bro.
Yeah, so we'll go Kyrie,
I'm
and then
sick.
We need a wing, honestly.
James Worthy is an option.
That is a good one. I was thinking of.
James Worthy, yeah. I mean, outside of that,
You're taking him over Zion?
We have
just kidding.
Low key, it's insane to take Ant Edwards here. We need shooting. We need someone to play like the 2-3. You know what I mean? Like we need fit more than anything.
So AI and Ant is our backcourt.
Kyrie,
I mean, Kyrie and Ant is our backcourt.
that's a tough backcourt. We got the defenders
Yep.
down low. Kyrie
Fuck
and
it,
Ant
let's
is
do
tough.
it. Let's. I'm really not a fan of this, but let's get it in. All right. Yeah, we're here.
They took 2 of the better guards already. So right
Might
now,
be the only guards.
yeah, honestly, I mean, we could go defense first type of vibe, and we
Ant's
could
gonna kill Magic.
we could Anthony Davis could be a pick.
Who do you have? You have Shaq, right?
We have Shaq,
You got
When
Shaq,
Anthony
if you
Bron.
Davis-
get bubble
LeBron.
AD, you're here.
Allen Iverson,
Yeah.
and we get 2022
If we get
Andrew Wiggins.
2020 AD, we're up.
Yeah.
That's just never happened again.
We go
Never
Anthony
happened.
Davis, the snake. We you know.
All right.
we got the
I'm not
next
mad at that. I'm not mad at that
This
at
is
all.
a tough draft with just.
So
number
now
one
our
picks.
next pick is between Magic, Derrick Rose.
You got AI
We
already.
have Wiggins, Worthy,
All right,
Elgin
listen,
Baylor.
we
Andrew
put-
Wiggins,
Nah.
elite role player.
Stop.
We're going.
All right.
taking
Hey,
Wiggins, bro.
put AI in his natural position at the 2.
Yeah.
We bring Magic home.
Ant's gonna kill AI.
We have.
FYI.
We should have drafted Kyrie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I needed Kyrie
It's
instead.
either James Worthy or Andrew Wiggins.
I think we
I
go
can't take
Magic.
Wiggins, bro.
I think getting Magic at
I
this
understand why
round's
you can't,
nuts.
but like, come on.
No, it is. Magic Johnson, one of the 10 best players
Yeah.
ever.
He may not fit. I mean, Magic
Shit
and
don't
Shaq.
matter. When you this talented, it don't really matter.
You're cooking. Magic and Shaq
Nah,
is
what happened to the
OD.
Nets?
Yeah. Magic and Shaq is
What do you mean,
insane.
what
Prime
Nets?
time.
They only played a
You're
total
nuts.
of
Listen, we just
13
came back.
games
We just
together.
got back. We just got our lick back. No cap. We just got AD at the 4 and we got Magic at the 1. Lock me in.
That's cute.
That's cute. Who we get? We need one. We need a 6
We
man.
just
too.
need to. Oh, we need. Yeah,
Yeah, we
so
low key got. Yeah, we low key.
We can go
this is a
James
wash.
Worthy and Blake Griffin.
Wow.
I mean, 6 man. We could
Six
take
man.
anybody.
We're good.
Frightened.
6 man. Hold
God,
on.
Blake Griffin.
6 man. We can have Blake Griffin. We can have Blake Griffin.
I feel like there's better number 1 overall picks than Blake Griffin.
I mean, John Wall.
You take
Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose is still there.
So we're taking James Worthy though.
James Worthy. Yeah, I think
Okay,
James
so we're
Worthy
locking him in
fits.
at the 3.
We
Great.
cooked. We cooked them.
We're great. We're here.
Their front court's the only thing giving them a glimmer of hope.
So we could still
Kyrie,
take.
who's your point guard?
He took
Magic Johnson?
He's getting cooked.
Oh, we're laughing
we,
at
could take,
Magic.
we could take Kareem as and be a 6 man.
They didn't pick Kareem.
Kareem.
We got Kareem. We're here. We're here.
Bet.
You're fucked, buddy.
All right, so you went Worthy and Kareem as your 6. That was a good pick.
We have champions.
I was hoping that Kareem would drop to the 6 man. All right, as our 6 man,
We could go
We
Cat.
have options. We got D Rose.
We got
Yeah,
Cat.
we got a
We
good
got.
team.
I was thinking about Cat at our 4 for the shooting, but we
definitely
took
need some
AD.
shooting.
That was
Who's
firm.
Cat guarding?
That's exactly
Shit
why I
don't
didn't draft
matter.
him.
No, I do.
Shit
It
don't
really
matter.
No, you didn't. That's why I didn't draft him.
Whoever
He would've got killed.
offense on Cat.
legitimately
Who
is
wears
Cat
Cat? Bring him into this.
He would've got
segment.
killed.
Come on.
He would have got killed. All right, so either Derrick Rose. I'm nuts for still thinking Vic.
Kareem versus Vic. God bless.
Oh my God, he's getting cooked.
Tell Kareem to step out on the perimeter. I'm begging you.
Y'all didn't have David Robinson, right?
Nah.
No,
We picked the guys better than him.
If you're going with a center, why would you take Wemby over David Robinson?
Because everybody we
I
have
beast over
kills him.
here. No.
If he kills
For-
David
all right,
Robinson, he can kill Vic.
for Aura,
Point. Crying.
we
This is why they're going to lose. They're picking off Aura.
now our team's already stacked. This is a fun pick for us. We won.
Who do you got? AI.
If
your
we-
team's
if
whack.
we
Magic,
go-
AI, LeBron.
That's nasty.
And we
AI spot up.
If we want
Oh,
cool
that's
points,
nasty.
if we want cool points, we go D Rose. If we're trying to build the all timer, David Robinson and or Victor Wembanyama.
You'll
I
have the
do
city of
firmly
Chicago
believe that.
behind your back if you pick
I
D-Rose
know.
right now.
I know.
We got the Rose jersey right there, too.
I know. Youngest MVP ever.
That's a big boost off the bench.
Just morale-wise.
Derrick
Aura.
Rose.
That's it. And the
You
athleticism
think
we're
about
getting
energy
off the bench.
I
Oh
think
my-
if we take Derrick Rose, this is
And
a
Derrick
final
Rose
pick.
does kill Kyrie a shit ton.
Listen, lock me in. D Rose,
Derrick Rose,
come
that's
home.
a final pick.
All right, what's your team, man?
So at the 1, we got Magic Johnson.
John, lock in.
At the 2, Allen Iverson. The answer. Number 3, of course, the GOAT, LeBron James. At the 4, Anthony Davis. And at the 5, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
6
y'all got
man,
no shooting, man.
Derrick Rose.
Y'all got
LeBron
no
James
shooting.
just shot a
He's
career
gonna have
high.
the ball.
LeBron's
He's
your
gonna have
only
the ball.
shooter.
He's got
You
the
didn't
ball.
know Magic later in his career developed a little jumper?
Dehls, this is the playoffs, right?
This is a 7-game series.
That means 8 could shoot. Run up our lineup, brother.
I don't know. At the 1, we got Kyrie. At our 2, we got Ant Edwards. At our 3, got Big Game James, Mr. Worthy. At our 4, Tim Duncan. At our 5, Hakeem. Coming off the bench, we got Kareem, man.
Why
Big
were
Game
you
James
talking
killed
about
me.
our spacing?
No,
when
the
your
big-
spacing
You have
is
no
not good.
spacing
We got-
either.
we got-
We have the
We got
best
2
shooters.
shooters,
Wait, we
at
have the
least.
best shooters in the Game 7 series by far.
LeBron James?
Oh shit, we have 2 of the 3 best shooters in the 7-game series
Thank
by
you.
far.
I'll tell you, Big Game James.
He
I
has-
respect that. That's
And we have the
tough.
best mid-range shooters.
Having
Your
Kyrie,
best shooter is Kyrie, but Anthony
He
Edwards
is
is like a
a-
36%.
No, we're talking the playoffs.
But in the
You saw what he
playoffs,
just did. I know you saw what he just did.
elevates.
No, you know what he just did.
Yeah.
It made
you were
move
glazing
it.
him. You
John.
said top 3 in the league.
top 20 all time.
He's gonna.
John, put this in 2K. What do we got? I just put it into 2K. Now I'm going to say one thing. Joel and Drew, you guys getting 2 of the best players of all time with Shaq is insane top-end talent.
Right.
I don't like the roster construction at all. When Allen Iverson and Anthony Davis are your top 2 spot-up shooters for Magic Johnson and LeBron. We're playing in 2024, so the simulation is not like your offense. On the other side of things, Dehls, I thought I was going to share in your team, and you gave me a hard time before. But I think when you look at what Dehls and Riv put together in the backcourt, they have the perfect amalgamation of shot creation and rim protection. You're talking about Hakeem, Kareem, and then Tim Duncan. That team is going to put... I've got news for you, fellas. That team's going to put a fucking lid in the basket. And with the lack of shooting for Team Joel and Team Drew, Team Riv wins in 6 games.
I feel what? What?
We're the GMs over here. You guys just fucking push it together.
I don't understand. Why isn't playmaking being brought up at all?
Getting out of
You
transition,
guys,
we're
you
running
guys
out
don't
all
even
over
have
y'all.
a true primary playmaker. An elite playmaker, y'all don't have.
You
that.
told us it don't matter when you playing like we have the greats like this.
Yeah.
But we have
We
LeBron
have
and
the
Magic.
greats.
You got
we have
playmaker,
two
we
of
got
the best
shooting.
playmakers.
We got Shaq, LeBron, Magic Johnson.
Who's Magic?
Transition's
who's Magic
going
and
to
Bron
be a
throwing
movie.
the ball out to?
In
They're going to the
transition?
rim. There's no one. There's nothing to
Shaq?
do. You're
Who's
throwing
guarding
out.
them?
It's AD.
Are you getting out and running with them? No.
LeBron
You're
James
not.
is blowing past
You
everybody.
have
on
to
your
hope
roster.
that you get into a half
Brother,
court setting every
LeBron
time.
can blow
past
past all
them.
he want.
He
When he
goes
goes
to the
down
rim and
there,
it's Hakeem
and he's
and
like
Tim
Hakeem and
Duncan.
Tim. God
Okay.
bless his soul.
What,
Hakeem and Tim
about,
scares me.
what about with
And then when
LeBron?
Kareem jumps in
Shaq? What was up with Shaq then?
Like we already played them. We know that we have the game plan on.
Wait, what?
You
What
played
about?
a year 2 Shaquille O'Neal.
Tim played him at his peak. He beat him.
And so did Shaq.
And then what-
Shaq
and
beat,
then-
Shaq beat Tim. Stop.
And then We have the Kareem jumps in the game. It's over. It's a movie.
Kareem jumping in the game really
It's a
did. That
movie.
shit's
Who's the sixth man?
LeBron is going to blow past anybody. You're going to have to help on LeBron
feel bad for
drives,
D-Rose.
and Shaq is going to
don't
be
get it.
open
All
for a
right,
layup.
Joel, I'm gonna say this. I think we drafted a heater. Our team's amazing.
No, I don't know why. John's saying we're going to
Six
lose
is
in 6
insane.
games.
Because
Just-
John
I
knows
mean, it's
ball.
going 6 or 7
But
regardless.
if we had Kyrie Irving, we solidify.
Because Magic coming out, who's spotting up outside
AI
LeBron?
is a better player than Kyrie. I
we don't
agree.
have to play that way. Why? We don't have to play that way.
How you gonna play?
We could just play
Get
with
out
pick
and
and
run.
rolls, mid range,
Yes.
get into the basket.
Mid range.
It's not like you guys
playing
have
Missoula ball.
you guys don't have the players to play a modern era either.
No, none of us do. If we're being honest.
Yeah, but we at least have two guys.
we have the
that
two
can.
guys that are in the modern.
Yeah,
era.
yeah, yeah.
You got 2 guys, but our 2 guys that was in older eras are better. Allen Iverson is better than Kyrie and Anthony.
But we're playing in
Edwards.
2024.
Yeah.
So
Who's the AI guard?
Yeah, Allen Iverson at his peak is better.
It's
yeah,
not
but
about
as
better.
fit wise, I like Kyrie's fit better.
He averaged 30 in the playoffs.
I do like Kyrie's fit better personally.
Kyrie's a spot
Kyrie's
up
a
shooter is gonna
playoff
be way better.
dropper.
You're right.
We don't have LeBron to be fair. We
It's a
don't have
good
the
thing when
chemistry
nobody
boost.
can guard him on this court.
And y'all don't have
hey,
no playmaking.
Are we
Like
playing?
real
Are we
elite
playing in
tier
don't
playmakers.
have
Boston?
playmaking.
If we're, playing,
That's
if
how
we're
they
not
shoot.
playing in Boston, Kyrie's
LeBron
good. man.
James,
He has the ball.
Anthony Davis, 2020.
We're not giving you that. We're not giving you
Nah,
that.
no way, no way.
Listen, man, it's going to be a goodie, but John picked his winner, man.
Yeah,
Blame
that's the
John.
6.
Ask John. Talk to John.
Yeah, that's what we really got to be upset with.
John.
No, listen, I don't know what the hell's wrong with John. That was crazy. That was crazy. I think he didn't want to say 7-game series because you can't pick against LeBron in the 7-game
You
series.
can't. If it goes 7, it's over.
That's why he went with the
I mean, we
disrespectful.
have the
route
greatest
six.
winner ever.
LeBron?
No, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh.
The greatest winner ever is Bill Russell.
Well, he does. He was the #1 pick.
It wasn't.
Yeah, facts.
Now, there are a lot of players going into next season that can make the leap into being an all-star, all-NBA caliber player. What are your top 3 to make that sort of leap?
We want one.
No, we can facts. I mean, obvious answer. Victor Wembanyama. I've been vocal about it. Wrong.
Oh, sorry. I was being rude. You've been glazing him a lot today.
I mean,
He has been
is-
going
It's
crazy.
been
He's unbelievable.
How about a better obvious answer for a guy who's actually going to probably make the playoffs?
All NBA we're talking?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I said-
Paolo.
It's
I have All-NBA.
Boncaro.
Yeah, it's Paolo.
The easy obvious, actually going to be on a good team,
No,
going to make
easy
the
obvious
playoffs.
is Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Paolo is also easy obvious. I'm not going to say he's not.
Yeah, I mean,
But Victor Wembanyama can go into next season and end a top 10 player.
okay.
We can be in that
I,
conversation.
I mean, I really do.
Victor can get a boogie All NBA.
He's already a top 3 defender in the league.
Ooh,
Yeah, no, I feel very confident in
I don't know
that.
if he's top 3.
AD, maybe Bam, him.
Maybe Bam.
I'm saying in terms of the 3 or Gobert. That's what I'm
You
thinking.
think he's a better defender than Draymond?
Going into next season, ooh,
No, today.
damn, Draymond's still great. But yes.
Wemby's impact is crazy
But
defensively.
yes. Because he's active in lanes, and on top of it, he's one of the best shot blockers in the game.
He's just so damn long that even on the perimeter, he could get beat, but he could still make up for it.
Like
Glazing
Draymond's
is crazy. I
I'm
really,
confused.
I really love Wemby, but it's just the glazing is
Like,
just
a
insane.
better defender than
But
Draymond is tough.
I need to understand why is it glazing. He obviously is the tallest in the game, but on top of it, he's a great scorer. He can stretch outside. Although it's not an efficient shot, we saw in the second half it really come together and him clean up his game. Inside,
What did he shoot
there's no
percentage-wise?
stopping.
in the second half.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. John, pull that up for me. But I know his season average was not as good as it was second half.
Which player looking for specific?
Victor
Post
post
All-Star.
All-Star would be perfect.
Wemby, he can make All NBA though because that third center spot is TBD
But
every
no,
year.
it's remember.
It's positionless.
Oh,
which
my
is why
apologies.
I still believe he can be one of the 15 best in the league.
My only pushback is defense. I think it's like 4 or 5 defenders better.
Name them.
Yeah, name him.
I think AD, Dre, and Bam are the 3 best defenders in the world. I think Rudy's sitting at 4. I think I would still put Evan Mobley over Victor as a defender.
What makes you say that?
I think he's a little bit more versatile, and I think he's able to carry a defense just a slightly bit better.
just looked it
I
up.
don't think Cleveland has the best defenders around him.
Not
What he's able to
pressure-wise,
do at
no.
the 5, especially in the playoffs. Like he was guarding Tatum, Boncaro, and then
was.
protecting the rim. Like he was doing an amazing ass job. So
What did
I don't know.
Wemby shoot, John?
He shot 46% post All-Star break, averaged 3 more points, going from 20.5 to 23.5.
46% from three.
On the field,
No,
I'm
from the
assuming.
field.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about from three. What did he? What was the
Post All Star
percentage?
break, he shot 33% from three.
And Pre was 32.
Correct.
But he averaged 2 more rebounds, 3 more points, and also 1.5 more blocks.
I just think Wemby's probably going to take another leap next season.
No,
I
I
feel like
think so,
that's
yeah.
just a
as of
rookie
today.
year.
Like as of today, like I think Mobley was a better defender than
And
him.
I know 33%. Obviously, you hear that, and you hear the elites shooting 37, 38, 40.
Okay.
But
Well,
at
just
at
lost
7.5,
Yeah.
33% on 7 attempts, that's amazing.
There's no way you're ever saying 33% for somebody is just good shooting. You're not.
For 7.5?
No, I don't care about the height. It's just, is that good efficiency? No, it's not. For
No,
three.
but I think
It's
when
not.
you put in context, rookie year,
Yes.
being 7'5",
Yes.
everything else he does on the court, that is an encouraging
can't
sign
put in
going
But at
forward.
this
Context
point,
and
I'm not
yeah,
calling him like a true floor spacer. Does he
Yeah.
take those shots?
You can't give
I
him the
think
context.
defenses are
Chet
pretty.
is Chet a floor
I was going to
spacer?
ask the exact same
Defenses
question.
are pretty neutral with him taking threes, Victor. I think.
Is Chet a floor spacer?
Yeah, he shot 40%.
Players
from
sell
three.
out.
But second half of the year, he was not the same
But
shooter.
players,
Playoffs, he was
it's
not
about
the
it's
same
about how
shooter.
players view. They sell out for shot jumper.
But Chet, since he's been
They'll
in
sell
high
out
school,
for Vic.
yeah.
That's
Chet-
all I'm saying.
Chet, since he's been in high school and in college, he's been an efficient shooter. Victor Wembanyama, even when he played overseas,
He
was
wasn't.
not an efficient
I'm with
shooter.
you.
So Chet has always been an elite level shooter.
Hey, in the month of February, he shot 40% from 3. I'm just saying, shortest month,
The
he shot
shortest
40.
month of the year with the All-Star
Shot
break.
40.
Supposed to have like 10 games, maybe.
I don't know. I don't think you can give him the context and then like prop him up high. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna prop him up high, you gotta just go all the way with it.
Shot 41%.
So who
12
else?
games.
Well, how good was San Antonio's defense? I'm
It was,
pretty sure
it was,
bottom of
it was, it was just below
I don't
average.
know. I don't know if I can
Yeah,
put
I
him
mean,
top
but what
three.
else? What else is San Antonio throwing out there that's helping Wemby defensively?
You could say the same thing about Bam.
That's fair, but Bam, I think what there is one of the best
no.
I thought
defenders.
about Bam. Like
No,
the
no, no.
thought is crazy.
No, I didn't. Let me clean that up.
Thank you.
I said maybe for the idea that Rudy was in my head, and to me, it was between Rudy and Victor.
Rudy's got some boys.
I think
up there.
Bam stamped.
Oh, okay.
I think it's AD, Bam. That third spot, it's either Rudy, Dre, or Wemby. That's my opinion.
Before I get
Over
into
Dre is,
anybody in the top three that I got, I wanted to put this player in the top three, but he's an honorable mention. I really wanted to put him in the top three, but there's a lot of top three players that
Şengün?
can make this leap. No, Şengün is locked top three. Honorable mention, I think Jalen Johnson could take an all-star leap. I
So
think
this is All-Star, not All-NBA.
either or.
it's,
Okay, either.
it's both, and I think it's easier to make an all-star game than an all-NBA.
That's why I was wondering you saying Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson, he averaged 16 last year. He's an all-around dude. And I feel like with DeJounte being out of Atlanta, and now he gets an uptick in just the usage that he's going to have within the offense with Trae Young and that two-man game. Like, I seen Trae Young have John Collins average 20 a night when the Hawks were bad, albeit.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson, I think, is not out of the run possibility. He could be a 21-8 guy. And then after next season, we could view him as an all-star caliber player, if not on the brink of making it. I know Atlanta has some bad PR. Trae Young didn't make the all-star game
you
last
think Jalen
year.
has all-star skills?
I think Jalen Johnson can put up all-star stats.
Okay.
That's why he was my honorable mention. But my number three, I had Kate Cunningham. I think Kate Cunningham.
Whoa, you respected him.
Listen, the Pistons should win 30 games, I think, this year. They should win 30
Big
games.
leap.
Tobias moves you that much?
It's not just
They got
Tobias,
Malik Beasley.
but they got more players that
They
are
got more
actually
spacing
good
for sure.
NBA players on the team now.
30 is high.
I mean,
what's the
if
issue,
you
bro?
believe in Kate Cunningham that much,
I
then
like
30
Cade.
should not be
Cade
that
played
high.
well last
bro,
year.
they're ass.
They're ass. They're not
Tobias
good.
Harris on a bad team is good. He's averaging like 18 or 19 a night. He's
You
not
know,
going to
you
be
know what
such.
it is?
Not saying it's-
Obviously, I'm going to over-exaggerate. Of course, I'm going to be extra and stuff like that. But it's just, like, do you trust the JB Bickerstaff offense on a team that was a bit, like, one of the worst offenses in the league?
I mean,
he's
it's not
more of a
about
defensive-minded
It's not about
coach.
me trusting it or not. It's the fact that
brother.
Cade Cunningham has the usage, and he just had a season where he averaged 23 this past year. Cade Cunningham, if the Pistons get a little bit better and he averages 24 and 7, he could be one of those guys that is on the brink of an all-star.
We saw
I
Garland
think
make an All-Star game.
the Pistons
He's a
are
real
probably
nigga.
going to be so bad that he might not get the recognition, which is why Şengün for me is number 2, and Wemby's obviously number 1. But Şengün, I think what the Rockets did last year, they went on a little win streak against bad teams. There was energy and life instilled into this team. They finished
Without Şengün.
as the 11 seed.
They're better without him.
No, they're not. Şengün,
Where's JG's love?
well, I'm getting to it.
Oh.
Şengün is going to take another leap, and he's taking a leap each year he's been in the league. He's going to be one of the best centers in the league, definitely top 10. And Jalen Green, I'm not giving up on him just yet. He's streaky, but if he puts it all together, this is a two-man game between Şengün and Jalen Green that could really be electric. And I think it's up to Jalen Green to pick up the slack. But Şengün is somebody that averages 21, 10, and 6. I mean, he's somebody that's doing it all for an offense, and he's one of the better hubs as a big man on offense. And if the Rockets take a step up, and there are some older teams that decline, whether due to play or injury, the Rockets could be within a play-in berth, and he could get all-star recognition.
Are we a podcast that wants to see Jalen Green succeed? Not many podcasts.
This table.
I mean, we technically want to see everybody.
No,
succeed, of course.
absolutely.
I don't believe a word you just said.
Actually,
It's
I
not a
agree
point
with
of believing me. It's just I have to say it.
that.
Your actions say otherwise.
Because me and Riv just spoke about this before the show. We're not selling our Jalen Green stock.
Yes, for Rockets purposes.
Where
we
do you
have to
rank
lock it.
Jalen Green amongst the young players on Houston?
He's probably like, me?
Good question.
You asking me?
Round table, we could go.
You answer.
Well, he's second.
What?
Right now, he's the second best young player.
I don't disagree at all. That's the answer.
He's over. You think long term he's over a men?
Well, I'm saying right now, he's better.
Right now, he is
long
over a
terms?
man.
Well, long term, that's where you get into tricky stuff. Long term, I don't even know if Amen Thompson's going to
Over
be able
Jabari?
to shoot the ball.
Is he over Jabari? What do you think, Riv?
Nah, Jabari, he's over Jabari. Jalen Green is.
I just saw Jabari go and kill Şengün.
No, he's over.
It's off-season runs.
What was
But
your- what was
Jabari
your
was
answer with, Jalen
frying
Green?
him.
What was their answer with Jalen Green with these young boys?
I didn't answer. Drew's
Nah,
my.
Drew answered though. I want your answer.
Like long term,
Are
he's
we
probably
taking
like,
JG over Şengün? Or is that nuts?
No. Long
Okay.
term is probably Şengün. Damn, it's tough because Jalen Green's contract is coming up. You just picked up Cam, you just picked up Amy, you just picked up Reed Shepherd. So
Oh, shit.
it's a tricky, and then Jabari's still there. Like it's a tricky slope to just say he's 2.
We got to see Reed play ball
It's
first.
tough.
Summer League
This
is
year
about
coming up, he's 2. Like
Yeah.
this season coming up, he's 2, but he has the most. Like he is the
He's
most
been there
pressure
for the
on.
longest too.
Yeah, that's
One of
the
these
thing.
young guys, at least.
And he is also he has to get paid at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
Reed
other young players could have been could have been number 2, but they just didn't show enough. They showed some things, but they didn't show enough.
But I think
for me to
Jabari
just
is the
say,
only
yeah,
player,
they're over
like,
Jalen Green.
just legacy, not legacy, but years in the league. Like when you think of their other young players they have, of course, Reed Shepherd's going into his
2 of them
rookie
were rookies
season.
last year.
And is in going into year 2 where he didn't even play a ton or consistently his rookie season. So Jalen just has that, built in that he's going to what, is this year 4 for him?
It's also he had an electric stretch.
He did.
Jabari
a
year
stretch,
3.
A stretch
I'm not
that he's
mistaken.
capable
I was
of-
saying
of doing.
Jalen year 4, right?
because Cade is about to go into year 4. They're the same class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because Jalen Green, even with his inefficiencies, he's a 20-point per game scorer. If he cleans up those things in his game, I mean, he is the best scorer on this team.
Yeah, it's just about how much. Like he has a lot to clean up before they give him that money. Like how much improvement will he make? The other guy's gonna have time. So and you saw even last year, like Jabari, you saw strides of him improving. Amon, towards the end of the year, he started to get more minutes. You saw strides in his improvement. Cam is tricky because he doesn't pass, but for the most part, Şengün and Jalen Green got better towards the end of the year. So now it's like we have a plethora of young players. How are we gonna distinguish that? And I think Jalen Green and Şengün have the most to kind of lose because
They're locked.
They're locked, but they also have the most to lose because they're on contract years. It's the year to pay them. And I think Şengün will get paid. I think Jalen Green is the one guy where it's like, if he doesn't improve too much, well, we have Reed Shepherd, who is a pretty much he's a great role player, a high level role player. He's gonna be that. So
I think both of them though have cause for like concern when it comes to paying them long term. I think Şengün, if he's going to be your franchise 5, you worry about rim protection with him. Like offensively, we know what he could be. He has shown that he can be a hub for that team offensively. And Jalen Green, outside of scoring, it's like what else are you going to bring to this table? And I just think if Ime is going to be this coach, which he did phenomenal his first year. Of course, we know in Boston that 1 year he was exceptional. He's probably going to be this long term coach. It's hard for me that if they're building this roster and foundation that they pay both of them. Like more likely than not, they pay one of them. And I even think they probably hesitate paying Şengün, even though he's been so fantastic, just because you have to bring more to the table than just what you do offensively for a coach like Ime.
That month of March from Jalen Green was unbelievable.
He was crazy.
If
That's
he
when
can
the Rockets
become-
damn near made the playoffs.
If he can just stop being a streaky
Playing.
scorer, a streaky shooter,
That's kind of just his game, though, right now.
that's really unfortunately true. But that month of March, when he was actually
hot.
a consistent scorer, yeah, he was hot. That's really what it was.
I mean, it was
that's when we saw the
unsustainable.
Rockets play their best basketball. unsustainable, mate. But it was 49% from the field and 40% from three for the month of March.
That team.
Sengun was out, but he elevated. That is sustainable.
Is that a problem?
That's that's elite level
him
play.
elevating and Sengun not playing.
That's
I don't
not
think
a problem.
It's concerning.
It's not a coincidence.
It's concerning.
Man.
Not for
said, man.
Sengun. Not for
not for
Sengun.
Sengun.
No, we got the Sengun. We got
It's
the
not
Sengun.
concerning for Sengun.
To me, this is why I hate this conversation when it comes to the Rockets, because that stretch happened when they faced the worst teams in the NBA.
But Jalen Green wasn't cooking the worst teams prior to that.
But they were on a win streak before Sengun got hurt.
For sure, yeah.
They were on that win streak. That was going to happen with Sengun too. The thing is, Jalen Green's own mishaps, and I hate when we give players a pass because of their own downfalls. Jalen Green's mishaps were on him. Yeah. I mean, how many times did I count throughout the season of the Rockets when Sengun gives Jalen Green a handoff pass, sets a great screen, Jalen Green has an open look at the basket, and he misses a shot. The reason why the efficiency went up is because he had an unsustainable stretch, and that wasn't the stretch that he's had for the entire season. He got the same looks. You look at the wide open looks, the open looks Jalen Green got, they were the same exact amount. Yeah. He was just making them.
I think that's more on Jalen Green, though. I don't think it has nothing to do with Sengun. Like, just Jalen Green, if he can't consistently
the competition was not
they beat OKC
bad
there, right?
Yes. In the month of March, they beat Phoenix. They lost to the Clippers. And Jalen did not play that well.
Just a win streak?
This goes Sacramento. Sorry, they won every game in March except 2.
So just say the wins.
They beat Phoenix. They beat the Spurs. They beat Portland. They beat the Kings. They beat the Spurs again. Washington, Cleveland Cavaliers, Washington, Chicago, Utah, Portland. They beat OKC in overtime and beat Utah again. A lot of bum teams.
They beat
a lot of bum teams.
But
beating the Kings, beating the Cavaliers, beating the
Kings was with Sengun.
Beating OKC. When did Sengun get hurt?
He got hurt in that Kings game.
So they lost to Dallas and they lost to the Clippers in March. And they beat Phoenix also. That's a good win.
They got like 3 good ones.
I mean, the Houston, though, they were even in the like those bad teams. They weren't as bad as like Washington.
And he averaged 28 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists.
What was the efficiency?
Dumb. 49 and 41.
Damn.
He was insane.
No.
He was insanely good. If he can, not this. This
maybe
to a degree
lower.
is unsustainable.
He just got to play like that with Sengun.
Shoot 37% from 3. 37%. And you're on the team for good. And you're
like
a pillar.
If he plays like that next year with Sengun, they're a playing team. They're a playing team.
I agree.
100% they are.
I agree.
And they're knocking one of those old teams out. It doesn't. I don't know who it's going to be.
Clippers.
But one of those.
They're done.
The Warriors, the Clippers, those are the 2 candidates right now that could get knocked out of it.
I'm done with the Clippers.
The Warriors were the 10th seed, right?
Warriors were a 10 seed.
Okay.
The Clippers were a playoff team.
Clippers were playing.
No, they were a playoff team last year.
You're 100% right. Apologize.
Yeah, they played.
They played
They're
Dallas.
the 5th seed. Yeah.
Played Dallas.
They're the 5th seed.
I don't know. If Kawhi and Harden play like 65 games, I don't see them dropping out.
Are the top 3 you guys have the same with Wemby and
I got
mine's Wemby, Paolo, Cade.
Cade is tricky for me because I know the idea, and I was just on Locked On Pistons talking about this. I know the idea of it is if Cade is that good, they should win 30 games.
But he's not that good.
But no, that's
You don't like
I don't
Cade.
think winning 30
He's
games
not
has anything to do
that
with Cade.
good.
You just
No,
said,
as good as what he thinks.
How many wins did they have last year?
I think Cade is good.
what do I think he
What
is?
do you think he
If
thinks
Cade
he
is truly like an all NBA level performer, this team could win 30 games.
What do I think he is?
You think he's an all NBA performer talent?
Is that wrong?
That's what you think he is.
How many games did they win
You
last
think he's
year?
better than
14?
Tyrese Haliburton
Joel,
right
didn't
now?
you just say this?
That's what you told me.
But Joel, am I not
so.
mistaken? You just said they can win 30 games next season?
He said they should. And he looked at the roster. I don't even think he
I'm
looked at
saying
it.
They won 17 games last year.
If they win,
They were
30
historically
if they
bad.
win 30 games, I think Cade can get an All-Star bid. I think he can.
I agree, but that's not going to be because the roster is helping him out.
Tobias Harris and Malik Beasley gives you 13 wins.
Tobias Harris is definitely a huge boost for that team.
Name another.
Malik Beasley spacing.
The team sucks.
Do you still think Jaden Ivey's a good NBA player? Do you think he can
I
take
think it's
another
over.
leap?
This is
in his game?
over.
I think it's over. Jaden
And this is what I asked you before. You ignored it. How confident are you in a JB Bickerstaff left offense that's not having Donovan Mitchell in it?
JB
concerning.
Bickerstaff before Donovan Mitchell with the Cavs, they took a big leap.
They were good, but they weren't this great offense.
They were like playing lost in the
Well, I
Nets
think
type.
what he needs to do first with this team is he needs to buy them in on defense.
For sure.
And I think Jalen Duren needs to be the biggest beneficiary of it because he's one of the worst defenders at the position in the league right now.
They're cooking.
And I think if he just gets good defense from Duren, this team could be way better than it was last year. I mean, they won 15 games last year. Like
17.
It's 17 games.
To be fair,
It's
they won.
not hard to win 13 more
They
games.
lost 28 in a row at one point. So, like, I mean, you win a handful of those, you're
I
already in
guess
the
to the point where
mid-20s.
you don't want to be that team.
Yeah, shit.
Brother, they had a game in Brooklyn where Cade had 40 and they lost.
I just
Can't
don't
be
think
30 and 52.
I mean, if they do, God bless Cade.
I just don't think Cade is the point. Like, if he's that good, they should win 30.
I
It's the
don't
whole
think it's
team
that
and
at all. I
coaches
just think
and
like
stuff.
you have a dislike for him.
I don't dislike Cade.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
if they
just
could
told
win
me
30,
that
he cannot
but
dislike
like a
Cade.
week ago. You told me that he was better than Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, I was trolling.
It didn't sound like it at the time.
We
course
did our
he does,
top
because
10 point guards. Cade was on that list.
Thank you. Like I literally had he really just tried to
He did
finesse.
just try to
I really
finesse.
had
You
Hallie
got,
in the
a,
top
you got a
7.
clip of you saying it. What do you
I understand, and we had a top 10 ranking.
He also
Cade wasn't on there.
has a clip of saying that Tyrese Halliburton's like Steve Nash.
He does have a clip of that.
Well, he does, yeah, eventually, but still, like,
Eventually.
well, am I supposed to?
So you're ignoring
am
the
I-
top 10
Wait,
rank.
am I supposed to not take into
Do
account
you genuinely,
anything?
bro, you really think he thinks he's better than Hallie? Come on.
Wait, so you wait, hold on.
How
Hold on.
long
When he
ago did he
said
say
it,
that?
Yes, I did.
How
think
long
he
ago
was-
did he say that?
he said it? It was not even a month ago.
All right,
It was
if
recently.
Was it
if
the
that's
point
the
guard
case,
list,
I'm
Joe?
still gonna
no,
respect the
it was
point guard
before
list.
the point guard list.
So okay, so you're ignoring the point guard list and you're just locking in on that one
no,
moment.
but
Did you
you
say
think
Cade
Cade-
has the
you-
potential, or did you say
Yes.
he's better?
No.
Probably.
He said Cade is better. That's what he
There's
said.
no way you.
Is
there's
Cade
no
better, yes or
way.
no?
Yes, he did.
Does he have the potential to be better
Hell
than him?
yeah.
Okay, Santos, pull up the clip of Riv
Oh, shit.
saying that Cade was
Look,
better.
Santos can pull
And
up
then
the
he's gonna
clip.
say I'm trolling. And
No.
what am I supposed to believe then?
Even if I wasn't trolling, we had a top 10 point guard list. We made
That's
a
what
list.
trumps it, to be honest with you.
Where was Hallie on my list?
Yeah.
Top 6. So Cade wasn't on the top 10. He wasn't even 10.
He was an honorable mention.
You can
Yeah.
still believe he's a better player, but
LaMelo
you just
or
had to
Cade?
put Tyrese in it because
Come on.
of
Be serious.
you had a criteria for the
No,
list.
I have to be serious. If I have to be serious for a list, of course. I don't know how you're harping.
I agree with him.
You're
I
harping
don't
on that
believe
in that
for a
moment.
second he thinks Cade's
No,
better than
I
Tyrese.
don't
Not for a
agree
second.
with it because it's
I
just
probably
a cop-out.
did say this. If you plug Cade in Indiana, they're probably fine still.
Joel,
I probably said
they're the
Were
best
that.
you
offensive
trolling when you
basketball?
said Anthony Edwards is going to be top 20 all time?
No,
Yes.
he's gonna be.
I
that.
don't think he was trolling.
He's
Hell
gonna
no.
be one of the best players in the history of the game.
But top 20. But you were trolling when
That
you
is
said
one
top
of the
20.
best. Top 20. No, he could be
Top
that.
20 is one of the best.
He
Trying
could
to
be
help
that.
you, but I guess
He could be that.
So what?
The
What the
Timberwolves
names we
have
got
never won
here?
an NBA championship
What
before.
the- what
So
the
wait,
names
wait.
we
So
got
Detroit
here?
winning 30 games is primarily on
Fucking
Cade's.
talking about Cade Cunningham. winning
No,
30
it's not
games.
primarily on Cade, but the entire team needs to get better.
I agree.
And I think they got better in certain spots. I mean, with a team like
Just shooting.
with a team like the Pistons, you're not gonna make a drastic move that's gonna alter your franchise overnight. You just get pieces that fit. And Malik Beasley was a piece that fit. Tobias Harris was a piece that fit, just giving them another
These are all-
score.
these are
Now
all-
but I think the Pistons are just in a different. They're in. Can we get the young
they have
guys
to
to
start
work?
over again.
Like,
I
yes,
think
they're a
is
trash
Cade
team.
really like this? Can Ivy?
they
Can
got
Ivy
better.
make progress? Like, can Assar do anything? Like, I think that's more
Hey,
so what they got to
hey, shoot.
focus on.
He can do everything else. Just can't shoot.
score.
Offensively, yeah. Offensively, can he put the
Score.
ball in the
The rim,
basket?
he was. Oh my
Yeah,
So
but he's
who
gotta
are your
get
top
there,
3
too.
All-Stars then?
I had Boncaro up there. Sengun is a weird one because you think he can really make it in the West.
In the what? The one I
There's not
had,
a lot of great center play in the West.
I don't think it's skill center.
But why is
based.
Victor not
bench.
on your guys' list just because it's basic?
Nah, yeah.
Oh, Victor was number
Vic
1.
is locked.
There is
Paolo's
one. There
locked.
is one hot one I had, and it was Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller was the name I was going to bring
Brandon
up,
Miller
too.
definitely
And
came to
I
my mind
really
too.
love Brandon Miller's game. I think Charlotte is a team that actually legitimately can make the play in. I think because you have LaMelo, you have Brandon Miller. You know, they have a nice little cool
Bridges.
team. I
Charles
like
Lee, new coach.
Their new coach that
Mark
can bring a
Williams,
different
if
energy.
he's healthy,
He's solid.
He's a great
But I think
defensive
that
center.
that duo of LaMelo and Brandon Miller, that's going to be nasty for the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think Brandon Miller is going to take another leap. So that was one guy who I think maybe if he doesn't sneak in, I think he can be at that same level of guys at the bottom of the East All-Star. That makes
They just drafted Tajon Saliwan also, correct?
Yes.
A little bit of spacing there too.
Well, the centers in the West, it's Jokic.
I don't think it's center dependent. Like after
It's-
the starting 5, it's just who gets in.
Yeah, but just naming the centers, or you could say like the forwards, the
Front
power
court.
forwards, front court players.
It's Victor.
Victor Wembanyama,
Sabonis.
Jokic, we mentioned, Sabonis, another
Fucking
one.
LeBron, KD,
Then
AD,
after it's
AD,
someone like
LeBron,
Shaq,
KD.
Kawhi.
KD.
I mean, there's a
Kawhi
lot of
has to
dudes
be
front
healthy,
court.
though. Kawhi
was healthy for the last
He
one.
was healthy. You know, you got to give him that.
Damn, I don't know if Sengun can get in. Not even because he's not
I don't
good
think
enough.
Sengun will get in either. And that's not a slight at Sengun. I do think that he's a really good basketball player. Too many
a lot of
names
front
on top
court.
of great players.
Yeah.
I don't
front
think
of
it's
him.
crazy to think Şengün will get more All-Star bid and love than Chet.
Well, I think after the starting five, it's the coaches and the media.
Chet Holmgren didn't even enter my mind, to be honest with you.
I think Alperen Şengün. I mean, when I think about the final list of front court players that enter the matrix of making an All-Star game, Rudy Gobert comes to mind. He's always like kind of like the borderline, barely getting in, but he could get in. I think Alperen Şengün can have a better case than him, and that right there could get him into the All-Star game.
Will Alperen have a better case than Sabonis or no?
I think you can make the argument. You know, it depends how good the Kings are.
Is it crazy to think Shaq can have a better case? All three of them.
No. That is crazy. I think Sabonis will have a better case.
Like Sabonis is giving you 20. What
Sabonis
did he
has
have?
led the league in double-doubles and
The
triple-doubles.
Thunder could be the number one seed in the West come
defense,
All-Star
man.
break. He could be the second most impactful player. He could be their best defender. Chet would really have a case.
And that's J-Dub too. J-Dub could have a similar case.
He's another front
To
court.
make it
J-Dub is
All-Star.
also a player that I was surprised we didn't say on these three.
Yeah, but Sabonis' numbers aren't that far off from Şengün's numbers. The rebounding is, not the assists.
I was going to say the rebounding's drastic.
Yeah, the
Sabonis
rebounding is.
probably one of the best rebounders in the league. Probably the
Yeah.
best.
Sabonis
That's a
amazing
drastic
rebounding,
difference in them, but I think Şengün is only getting better, and I think he could have a similar case to Sabonis for making the All-Sar game
you think
a year from now.
You think Kobe White could get in?
No, unfortunately not.
No
What
world in
about
the
Josh
East.
Giddey?
What you got? Brunson? What? Huh? What you got? Brunson? You got D. Mitch? You know, you're gonna give some love to the boys in Boston.
Why'd you ask him that question? He's not a Bulls fan no more.
I
D.
like,
Rose,
but
right there.
I'm a big Kobe White guy. Everybody
he's
knows
Kobe
that.
White
So
fan.
He
please.
is a big Kobe White
Not
fan.
enough for you to stay.
I just think
on
the East
on
is a
fandom
lot
of the
easier
team.
to make a
Yo,
case
all
for. So some
NBA.
respect.
Let's. I'm gonna go through some names. Do you think they can be all NBA? Can Tyrese Maxey be all NBA?
Yes, that's another guy over Kobe White.
I think adding Paul George to that team, his numbers are probably going to take a bit of a hit.
If every guard is healthy, there's no way he's all NBA.
I think the one that takes the hit in the numbers is PG. I think
Yeah, but
Maxey's
I
still
think
staying
both
the
their
same.
numbers are going to come down a little bit.
All right. Can LaMelo Ball be all NBA next season?
No,
He has to stay healthy.
I don't think
That's
so.
number one.
Paulo Banchero.
There's a lot of wings in the league right now. If there's
But that
one that
doesn't
could
matter.
sneak in, Paulo could
doesn't, yeah.
sneak in.
I think the Magic, they could be, if they're
No,
the surprise
if
team,
Magic
they're a
are like
top
top
3
five,
seed in the
Banchero's
East,
getting
top
in.
4 seed in the East. He could get
I mean,
in.
then we're saying is Paulo going to be a top 15 player next year?
Well, I think if the Magic exceed our expectations, that helps them get in.
Also, you got to understand the minimum requirement is a big deal.
The Banchero will play 70 to 80
He
games.
will play the
And if
games.
the Magic are the 4th seed, he will get on that team. As long as he's putting up good numbers, his efficiency uptakes, then
It's like a Tyrese Halliburton from this past season type of vibe.
You don't think it's that he led the league in assists?
don't recall.
I mean, Paulo's
I remember
never
he
going
was
to lead
shit
league
for
in
6
assists.
months.
He wasn't shit. He
But
was
it's just
below his
a
standards.
team
Oh,
taking a
fast.
leap
No,
led by a young
19 and
superstar
11.
player.
1911 is cute.
No, it's actually really good. Steve Nash's career averages actually
You're
might
comparing,
not be as good as that.
You're,
actually.
you're comparing a 2-time MVP
But
to a
he's
bum.
Steve Nash like. That's what you said already.
A bum
You
is
already said
crazy.
that.
All right. Victor Wembanyama.
He could get in.
No,
He could get in.
He's not feeling that answer.
it's just too early.
Nah,
for
the
me to
Wemby
just say
hype's
that.
going to be crazier than
Was it
fans
too early
and
for
media.
Luka?
Didn't Zion get in year 2?
Luka did. Zion.
Luka
Zion.
averaged 28 again.
Zion. I don't believe was he all NBA year 2?
Luka was all NBA.
No, I'm talking Zion.
Oh, I thought you were just saying All-Star because I remember he played 67 games.
No, I know Zion was all star.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I
he
don't
was
think
all
he was all
NBA.
NBA.
Oh, he averaged like 27 that year.
Yeah, he was great. I don't
No,
think so.
26 on 60% efficiency.
I
was
just feel like
unbelievable.
within this all NBA conversation, like winning is going to be taken into account at least a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I think Paulo has a real chance. I
All
mean,
right.
Paulo says they should be in top 3 consideration in the East.
I mean, the regular season, sure.
you said his name though, Zion Williamson.
Yeah. He get
If
it.
he's healthy.
If he's healthy, he
He
can
was
give
healthy
you
last season.
27
Honestly,
on efficient
but they
shooting.
fell off after he got hurt.
but that was no. He didn't get hurt.
Who got BI got hurt?
Bi got hurt. He got hurt in the last game of the season versus
I thought he got hurt
the
prior to
Lakers.
that.
This
There
was
was
the
a stretch when he
healthiest.
got hurt. I know
he
he
played
was healthy.
70 games.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
this was his facts. Most healthy year. Or second.
All right, that's the last name I had.
They was like a top 5 seed.
Is this year Bam gets in?
I hope so, man.
He
doesn't-
deserves at least one.
He
Man.
doesn't always have the numbers.
Nah.
Does
And the
Bam
Heat
have an
regular
All
season,
NBA?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
Does Bam Adebayo make All NBA?
No.
Right now.
I just think
Honestly,
Top 20 player in the world, though.
it's tough because
He
he's not
has a
he's not
case.
going to have the numbers in the Heat regular season wise.
Advanced
Just
stats
aren't going to
do
do
not
it.
help Bam Adebayo.
well, you don't think they'll help him out on the fact if he is a top 3 defensive player in the world?
Some people don't believe
And
that.
let's say he adds a 3-point shot to his game. Shots and numbers on the board. They just had
I mean, if he has the three ball, it's
he'll
up.
have 1 attempt a game.
That'll boost his point per game.
What was his? I mean, he started taking them like late last year, right?
Yeah, no, very late. But then also in the Olympics, he started letting that thing go.
In the
saw this,
playoffs a little bit too.
I saw this question I wanted to ask you guys. It's from Six Rings of Steel.
He averaged 0.6 threes in the playoffs this year. Bam.
Yeah. So who do you guys think would be the best center out of this group next season?
0.6.
Jared Allen, Kristaps Porzingis, Miles Turner, Chet, Rudy, Sengun. Who finishes as the best center on this list?
Porzingis is going to miss half the year, so it's probably going to be tough to put him in there.
In a vacuum, though?
No, just end of the year, next year. Who do you think?
In
I
a
think it's gonna be
vacuum,
Alperen Şengün.
KP has an argument.
I just coming off that injury is going to be tough.
I'm trying to just take it, not thinking about the injury, strictly talking about what we saw from them this past season. Sengun has a case. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but Kristaps Porzingis is unbelievable.
In a vacuum, I think KP is the most talented player there. But I think Chet has a leap in him. I think Şengün does too, but Şengün defensively is just not on the level of these other guys. That's what is always going to bring him down.
KP can stretch, has good mid-range, can
Great
put his
rim
back to the basket also, and obviously is a great rim protector too.
You know, the thing with Alperen Şengün is I just feel like what's happening with Alperen Şengün is, of course, two-way play matters, but Şengün isn't a liability to the degree that people make him out to be. He's an average defender.
He hasn't made the playoffs
He's
yet,
not,
so we don't know that.
Okay, but I'm talking about from the regular season play.
Yeah.
He's not a terrible defender, and the leap that he took with Ime Udoka was noticeable. And this is one of the better efficient offensive engines in the league. He finished top 15 in PER for a reason. Honestly, since he's been a rookie, he's always been an advanced stats darling. He just got an uptick in the way he wanted to play with Ime Udoka. His first 2 seasons, I mean, the leap that I saw him make in year 3 was clear that he was going to make because of Steven Silas not playing him the way that he should be playing him. And I know that Şengün gets compared to Jokic a lot. It's an unfair comparison at this point, given what Jokic has turned into. But I see a lot of Jokic in Şengün. And I think that if we asked back then in, let's say, I think it was like 2017, Jokic, how do we view him later? I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have pegged him down because of the defensive deficiencies. But I'm willing to overlook some of those things with Şengün because of how amazing he is offensively. Kristaps Porzingis and Jokic, I believe, were in the same draft class. If you asked after their first 2 seasons who would be better, Jokic or Kristaps Porzingis, it sounds crazy now, but back then you would have probably went with Kristaps Porzingis because of what he offered on two sides of the ball.
People were asking Karl
like,
Anthony Townsend.
But you still attack Joker defensively. He wasn't his greatest against
this past playoff run was not.
He wasn't. So it's like you still but what he can give you offensively, and he just doesn't miss. It's in the paint. He has a little floater. His playmaking, of course, you ignore the defense because of what he can give you offensively. But when you talking about a guy in Şengün, who I know you're not saying he's gonna be the Joker, but he's not at the Joker's level, and then you compare it to these other guys that can give you spacing while also being scalable on defense.
What's Şengün's
It's kind of
ceiling?
tough.
Like, can he be a top 10 player in the league?
I think Şengün could be a top 15 player, but I would not think
That
that's
camera's not
out of
looking
the
at the
realm
wrong
of
camera, brother.
possibility. I mean, Şengün came into the league at 19 years old, and in year 3, he's averaging 21, 9, and 6. Şengün, bless you, Drew. Şengün, since he's been a rookie, has been a triple-double threat. Like, he's always been somebody that's been able to score, pass, and rebound.
Top 15
and he's an elite passer.
King.
He's an elite passer.
I think
for
he's
his
a
position.
great player too.
It's a bonus top 15.
That's the exact name I was thinking of.
He's close
Not to say,
it.
not to.
I think Sabonis, his production this past season, he's all NBA.
Ooh, I don't think he's close.
I think he is close to it.
I think he's more like top 25.
I mean,
The
Şengün.
Ringer, excuse me. Yes, the Ringer ranked their top 100 players. Jokic
sucks.
1, Luka 2.
Just find Sabonis' spot.
All right, facts. Apologize. Well, I was getting to the top 15.
No,
you're right. I
Like
definitely
12
was-
on or
Their
something.
their list sucks.
All right, so number 10 was AD, 11 was Brunson, 12 was LeBron, 13 was D-Book, 14 was Kawhi, 15 was JB, 16 was Donovan Mitchell, 17 was Victor, 18 was Tyrese Halliburton, 19 was Jimmy Butler, 20 was Jamal Murray, 21 was Zion Williamson, 22 De'Aaron Fox, 23 Paul George, 24 Bam Adebayo, 25 Kyrie Irving, 26
fucking Moran.
Domantas Sabonis. I think Domantas Sabonis is a little bit better than maybe 1 or 2 of those players, and I'm a Sabonis guy, but top 15.
Who's after him?
I'm not saying
because
I'm not
Trae
saying-
Young was
Ja didn't get
after
called,
him.
Trae didn't
Well,
get
one
called.
thing-
Ja was 30. I saw. So
One thing I'm
Damian
not
Lillard
gonna
was
say
27.
is that Şengün after this year is not going to be top 15.
No, I know.
But I
I know,
think
we're saying,
his
yeah.
ceiling is a top 15 player in the league, and a lot of those players you're mentioning, they're more so on a decline.
Got dudes coming
and
in, though.
I do think that Şengün has another level that Sabonis cannot tap into, because I think Şengün is more polished as an offensive player. I think you can genuinely give it to Şengün in the post, and he is creative with the moves that he generates, versus Sabonis is just straight back down. There isn't really much to his post game in terms of footwork. Şengün has those moves in his arsenal to where he's more advanced.
44 seems
44.
They got him at 44.
44 is very respectable.
That is not bad compared. Thinking of who's here, they have Holmgren at 43, KP at 42. So maybe that's what sparked this conversation. I mean, they're all in that same level right now where we stand.
I think Chet's better.
Than Şengün.
Yes.
That's not insane.
Where'd they have Chet?
43.
Chet was 43.
Oh, okay.
I don't disagree, actually. I think Chet's a little bit better than him, too, because of defense.
Yeah, that's
I like
why I did. The
ugly
ceiling
games,
is
man.
just tough for him.
Like what?
I like ugly games. You know,
I don't think he has an ugly game.
I don't think he-
But
not at all.
Şengün's game is
I think
not.
Sabonis has an ugly game.
Şengün's game is not
game
like
stinks.
Chet's, and I think
Stop.
Chet, because Chet is also a
on,
rookie, and Chet is just his play style is more entertaining. People gravitate towards Chet. I'm not diminishing his greatness, but Şengün is right there with him, and I think right now, based off the matchups they've had, Şengün has had the better of him multiple times when they've matched up. And Şengün, I mean, he even dropped 44 on Victor Wembanyama this past season.
So you're a matchup merchant.
Oh, I'm just does that not tell you something when you match up against a certain player and they cannot guard you?
Do you think Kyrie's better than Steph?
No, he's not better than Steph. But Steph has
When they
had his
match
way
up,
with Kyrie
you know,
too.
baby.
You think
you know
Jaylen
what
Brown's
time
better
it
than
is.
Luka?
Who?
Jaylen Brown's better than Luka?
You have to
Luka
stop,
actually
bro. I
led
hate that
everybody
shirt,
in points
by
per
the way.
game in the finals.
Oh, word. When he matched up against JP, he didn't. That's what I just asked.
Al Horford was statistically the best defender all the
Yeah,
time.
he's run them once.
So do you think? So you said you think Şengün can be top 15. Where do you think Banchero could be?
I think he's in the same. He has the same type of ceiling, like a top.
you don't think his
15
ceiling's
player.
higher?
Wow, you're high on Şengün.
Yeah, I mean Paulo and Şengün, to how I view them in terms of just their trajectory and their ceilings are very similar. And that's me being. I know Paulo. Everybody's high on Paulo. I'm high on Şengün in that way.
We know.
And
We're well aware.
I'm high on Paulo too. But when you think about Paulo, just to like put a chink on his armor, like a dent in his armor, he's a all right defender. He's a good defender. He's not nothing.
He's good.
He's not a
Yeah.
groundbreaking defender. He's
No.
not changing your defense.
He's a versatile
And
defender.
Who we
offensively,
talking about?
Paulo.
Banchero.
Got it.
offensively, his efficiency isn't good.
Nah,
It's not. In
In
the
the
playoffs,
playoffs, it was exceptional.
It was
take some
really
real
good.
shitty shots.
Can
But-
we also be fair to Paulo and understand there's no spacing
It's a
on that
50-50
team?
thing because his shot diet also isn't well.
There's no spacing on the Rockets
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yes.
Like in theory, yeah, like these guys should be able to
Fred,
shoot well.
Jalen
but they
Green,
don't.
Bar should.
There aren't many like
I
teams.
think there's
that-
more spacing on Houston than the Magic.
There
Last year's
there aren't
Magic.
many teams that run like offenses through a center like the way they do with Şengün, Sabonis. Even Sabonis is kind of like,
But that's why I
and
feel
the
like
Joker.
Şengün is rare.
If
He
you're
is
starting,
rare,
you're
but
starting a
rare doesn't
franchise, you
always
can build
mean
around
great.
Paulo or Şengün.
I'm going with Alperen Şengün. That's how good I think Alperen Şengün is.
Oh,
John
yeah.
just threw a tantrum.
Nah,
I think if
John, you believe that too?
Jump in, John.
Paulo over Alperen Şengün for sure in terms of ceiling. I don't really think it's too much of a discussion, but Şengün can definitely be like a top 25 player. I think when looking at Paulo's physical gifts and what he can bring as like a wing, his ceiling's like a top 5 player in the NBA. And I think that's pretty unlikely for Şengün to hit.
I think that's overrating Paulo. He's not a top 5 player in the NBA at his best.
I thought he
He's
said
top
top
10.
5. Did he
Top
say
10, I
top
think
5
top 10.
wing?
I think it's
No,
the
he
top
said
5
top 5
player.
player.
He said
Oh,
He's a little
okay.
high. I'd say top 10. I think he'd be top 10 player in the league.
I don't know. Top 5 player in the league is strong. He needs to really, really develop that jumper on a
hype was
consistent
there
basis.
with him, you know.
He did show out in the playoffs.
Like I don't think, like what John just said, I don't think the gap between Paulo and Şengün is 20 spots. That's not
their prime?
His ceiling, Paulo being a top 5 versus Şengün top 25. I don't think that gap is 20 spots.
I don't know. In year 2, although the Magic did build a solid foundation on
Defensively.
defensive side of the ball, he was the main pillar to change the
he was the
landscape
guy for
of
them.
this team.
And in year 3, when Şengün actually got used, he was a borderline all-star.
Yeah, but Paulo
Banchero was
was
an
an
all-star.
all-star in year 2.
West versus East. I don't know if that's fair to say.
And if the Rockets
cooking.
were in the East, they'd probably make the playoffs.
they probably would
Unfortunately,
make the
they're
play-in,
not.
probably, for sure.
I mean, if Orlando was in the West, they'd be in the same spot as Houston. So yeah,
They'd be the 11th seed most likely.
maybe 10. Yeah, nah, it's an unfortunate situation. I don't know. We'll have to see with Sengun. They got to pay my boy. So
They do.
They will. They're just waiting
It's
because
a $200 million contract.
if they pay him
for a center
now,
that can't defend the rim,
if they pay him now, they're not going to be able to.
Sounds like somebody
have
else
a
you
max
hate.
contract next year.
it's a bonus.
He'll be restricted though, right?
Yeah, but what's happening with Şengün is what happened with Tyrese Maxey.
Yes.
The reason why Tyrese Maxey didn't get paid a year early was because the Sixers wanted to get a stud name. They wanted to get Paul George, and the Rockets are going to be free agency players, and it sucks because Şengün is not getting paid now. But he has another great season,
Fred's
which I think he
contract will
does.
be up by
He will
then.
have.
The
They're gonna have a
Rockets
lot of
most
money.
definitely would have made the play-in on the East. They had 41 wins. The Bulls and Hawks had 39 and 36 respectively.
Believe it.
However,
Orlando was 5.
Orlando was better.
Also take into account that when you're in the West, you're facing more West teams.
Well, look up their record versus the East. That's just look at the Rockets record versus the East.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's like?
You better hope and pray it's a good record.
Is it a great record?
You better hope, because if it's not,
They're probably around 500, maybe a couple games over.
listen, brother, Sengun stinks. Let me just tell you that.
Damn, that was rude.
Versus the Eastern Conference, they had a record of 13 and 17.
So they were worse against the Eagles.
So wouldn't have even.
You know what it is really with
Sengun
that?
missed some time.
No, not
that
even.
win streak was all against West teams.
It
It
wasn't.
really
Yeah,
was.
it wasn't even that. It was the fact that they were just a terrible road team last year.
They were dog shit.
were.
road
and when
team.
you're facing a team in the East, it's at home, on the road, just like that.
Good
Like
point.
flip-flopping.
They were.
The Rockets were 28 and 24 against Western Conference teams last season.
Oh, if anything, that helped them. Yeah. Okay.
13
Well, those
17.
that month.
that
Up,
March.
That month.
They
man.
were playing hella West teams. Facts.
So Sengun top 15.
Portland.
Yeah, I think
Like
Şengün is
Sengun
that
or Cooper
special.
Flag.
Oh man, you're putting me in such a bond. I mean, I think
That's not a bond.
I think Cooper Flag, his
promise you
his potential to me is higher than Paolo's.
Did you see that
Yeah,
video
Şengün's.
of them talking about top 5 scorers all time, and all of them said Cooper Flag as their last guy?
Who said that?
Nah, it was a video of a bunch of kids giving over their top 5 all time scorers.
Really?
Yeah, but I think they were joking.
They were definitely
all of
trolling.
them
All
said
saying-
Cooper
You
Flag.
really think there's like a gigantic gap between Franz and Paolo right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, yeah.
Yes.
Seismic, gigantic.
Yes.
I think
gap.
he's Boncaro is clearly the guy.
No, it's
I know
not
he's-
even close.
He's better.
It's
No, but
not
that
close.
makes
But
it-
you think there's there's no chance that Franz even
I think
close.
No.
if Franz didn't lose that jumper, we would be talking.
Did he ever have it?
He had it 1 year.
A little bit.
Well,
it wasn't fucking
Franz in the
sub
playoffs played
30%.
really well.
But not Paolo.
Paulo played better.
I mean, in Game 7, Franz is better.
Was he?
He had 30.
Paolo.
but the games 1 through 6.
Franz Wagner played really well.
Franz
But
couldn't hit
Franz
a
was
open
also dog
jumper.
shit
He
in
had some
multiple
real stinkers,
games.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look at the
Paulo was
numbers.
leading that
Franz
team.
Wagner
Paulo was
really
the
good in
number one
playoffs.
option on that offense. I mean, Game 7, Franz did go crazy, but I'm not.
Look up Franz. I'll look up Paolo.
Are we lying on Franz?
No, he had 30 in Game 7. Sounds right.
He did. He definitely did. It was Game 7 or Game 6. He definitely had 30.
Oh, maybe it was Game
He had multiple great performances in that series.
Ooh, I watched every game. I don't know about multiple.
Yeah, multiple is just more than 2. He definitely had more
I
than
don't
2.
think he had
Joel, you're
two.
thinking of Game 6 where Paulo hung up 26 points on 16 shots, but Game 7 was his infamous 1 of 15 performance.
He
Who,
was
Paolo?
dog shit.
Franz.
Paolo. Oh, excuse me. I'm
Franz
thinking
had
of Game
6
1.
Game 7.
Yeah.
What Game 6? He had 30. That's not,
No, he had
What am I
26.
doing?
It was Game 4. He had 34.
I was
But he
looking-
went 18, 18, 16, 34, 14, 26, 6. Efficiency. Oh, wow.
It wasn't bad.
Uh,
What's his efficiency for the entire series?
Oh, I gotta look that up. I can find that right here. So he shot for the series 40% from the field, 26% from the 3-point line, 88% from the free throw line.
That's
Averaging
not,
19.
That's
a game.
not a lot
I
different
know
than
the
the regular
first 2
season.
games of the series he was pretty bad. I know
No,
Game 1
but
and
Game
Game
7
2.
he shot 0.067. I don't even know how to say.
Yo,
that.
Paolo was OD.
Yeah, he's
You're
wild.
He
It
was
was they were not
OD.
close.
His efficiency in Game 7 was not good. He shot 10 for 28, 36% from the field, but 50% from 3, had 38 points, went 15 for 18 from the free throw line.
played well.
For the series, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, a
Great
steal,
efficiency.
40% from 3, and 46% from the field. He's very comfortably better than Franz.
I just wonder how much of that was actually sustainable and to translate in the regular season. Because Paolo shot better from mid-range than he did at the basket. Paolo's mid-range took a percentage point jump of 10 plus.
That's not fair, though, because he's going up against one of the better defenses in the league in the Cavaliers.
But all season long, he was an inefficient scorer.
yeah, but
And then
in the
he-
playoffs, Now let's keep same
Seven-game
energy.
sample size.
Let's keep same energy. Although we've seen more of it from Anthony Edwards, we've seen him rise as a jump shooter in the playoffs. We give him that benefit of the doubt. Although it was one series, 1 year, Paolo rose in the playoffs against one of the better defenses in the Eastern Conference. Now I know we have more of a sample size with Anthony Edwards, but Paolo is not a regular dude. We know that. I'm not saying that you're saying that he's regular. He is a high-level talent. He is an all-NBA caliber player. Why not just give him the benefit of the doubt?
I just don't think he'll be able to shoot that well from mid-range.
Did you think that AE could shoot this well?
I mean, and was
It
shooting
wasn't-
60% true shooting for damn near the whole
Yeah,
playoffs.
but Anthony Edwards' mid-range was not to the level of Paolo's mid-range in the playoffs.
But like
Not even
I'm
close.
talking three-point shooting. Like
Well, the
AE's
three-point
three-point shooting was insanely good.
40% from three, and I think Anthony Edwards has a ceiling of being a 40% three-point
In the
shooter.
regular season,
He's shot 36%. He's not that far off.
36 and 40 in a
36 was a
regular
pretty big
season.
difference.
Brother,
Steve.
40 is you a
Throughout
leader.
an
There's only a
82,
few
throughout an
dudes that are
82
doing
game
that.
season with the volume of shots you're taking,
That's
attempting
tough to get to 40.
7 plus
40
threes.
is hard.
I don't even think
If you shoot 36 to 37% from three, and a lot of your diet shooting three are off the dribble shots, then I do classify you as a great shooter. And that's what Anthony Edwards was. Like Anthony Edwards off the catch and shoot this past year was really good.
Donovan Mitchell's never even got to 40.
Paolo shot 34% from three last year. He shot under 30% his rookie season. I don't think 40%.
Devin Booker has never shot 40.
40%
40's hard.
for a season's going to be tough, but I think
Especially
Paolo
with
just
these type of
showing you
players.
that
Think
ceiling.
about how much we were gassing
That
it this
matters.
season that LeBron just shot 40 on the attempts that
else
he
is
had.
another-
I know, but the thing
It's
is,
usually
like,
role players doing that because
there
you know what I
could-
mean. They're not getting a whole
there
bunch of
could be
options. and stuff.
there's certain players that I don't think their percentages reflect how great of a shooter they are.
Yeah, it's like
Nah,
Grayson
for sure.
Allen and Sam
Donovan
Hauser
Mitchell-
shooting 40%,
Yes,
but
you're right.
Donovan Mitchell to me,
Or like Victor shooting
I know
33%.
Mitchell hasn't shot 40% from
But
three,
he's a great shooter.
but he has the skill level of that
Yeah, but
elite level of a
40
shooter.
is tough. Like 40 is like only
Has
Stephanie
And I
Dame
Clay
think
shot
Edwards
40?
has that too.
thinks so. If Dame ain't do it, Edwards ain't
If
doing it.
Dame hasn't shot 40, then I'm sorry, I'm counting AE out, but I'm willing to wait.
He definitely shot 40%
One
the year
time.
before he got traded.
No, he didn't.
He didn't. He would have
shot 37. He shot 41 times.
What year?
That was all the way in 2019, 2020.
Well, it's no different than the James
He was OD
Harden
in
thing.
2020.
Because James Harden in Houston, his 3-point percentage was never that high
he's taking a shit ton.
comparative to his peers. But the thing is, the type of threes he took, the step back threes, the contested threes, to where when he got to Brooklyn and now when he's on the Clippers and when he took a back seat in Philadelphia, he was easily a 40% shooter.
Yeah, I think he'll get the respect of a 40%.
Yes,
dude.
and
think
I
he'll
don't want
get to
Paolo
numbers.
taking tough threes. That should not be his
I don't want him
game. Should
taking
not be
tough
step
minutes,
back
but we're
threes.
here.
Yeah, it's
I
back
just
to the
think
basket,
overall,
get to the rim.
Paolo doesn't have the shooting talent of Anthony Edwards.
Absolutely not.
And I think Paolo,
But Paolo,
if
physicality,
I
that
just,
size.
it's not sustainable to shoot better from mid range than it is at the basket. I do think it was a promising sign in Paolo's development that he was able to get that hot, but now he has to translate that into the regular season and actually show that it's more of a consistent thing, that he is one of the better
I think what he showed you
players.
his first to second year, that should show you that, and the playoffs in year 2.
100%.
Year 3, you're
I'll give him a
going in
little
expecting
pass.
We
a
gotta
bit of
trust
a
him.
against Mobley and
Yes.
Allen for a little bit.
Yes.
I'll give him a little pass, just slight pass.
You
It's a
got to
great
trust the
defense.
upside and the potential that he's already
That's
showed you.
Tortorelli.
Mobley's
I
one
can
of the like
translate
five best
to,
defenders in the world.
Facts.
I give him a little pass, just a little bit. But if he does it again,
And going up against
well,
fucking
it's,
KD
it's
and
not
Book
pass.
and shit, you know?
It's I'm giving him.
please fucking cook.
I'm not. It's not about giving him a pass. It's about praising him. I'm giving him praise
But
for
still,
frying
shooting
against.
higher from the mid range at the paint still not ideal. It's not ideal, especially at
It
that
just,
size.
it just shows that it's like just bound to regress. I'm gonna be
Oh,
honest.
you're saying a pass as in it's an elite front court getting to the
but
rims hard.
Paolo could regress, and he goes from a 40% shooter in the playoffs.
He needs
If
to
he's
upgrade in
37 in the
the
What he's
regular
saying is that
season,
no, Paolo shot better from mid range
I
than
got
at
it.
the rim.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I got
That's
it.
usually not ideal.
And it just tells me that he settled for a lot of mid ranges and it went in. I mean, that's fine. You can't knock it, but it's just all season long that shot didn't go in.
Yeah.
Those times he settled didn't pan
maybe
out.
just a big game player.
John,
big
he's
game
lying.
Paolo.
Paolo is a 65th percentile mid-range score at 43%,
So
which
he's
for a player
good.
in year 2 is pretty solid.
solid. That's cool.
Decent.
yeah,
Nothing
what
crazy.
did you shoot
What-
in the
what was
playoffs,
Ant?
John?
So he went to
So the
56%
Nets
in the playoffs, which is 94th percentile.
So yeah, he
According to Clean
upticked
Glass.
at 13%.
No, the players get less. It's
Can you-
less
can you give me
players
Ant's
in the
numbers?
playoffs.
I can in one moment.
Because it was the same percentage you just said, right? What was the regular season?
43.
Oh,
Playoffs, it was
oh my
56.
God!
At
No,
the
he
rim,
was
he
cooking.
shot at the rim in the playoffs. He
Like
shot
50.
53%.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't like that. But like I said, I'm giving pass because you went against Mobley and a little bit of Allen. So we'll see how it looks. But most of the time, you're going into playoffs, you're playing playoff defenses. So you need to just be better in general, especially as the number one guy. That's why the conversation between him and Wagner, I can't really get, because Wagner was wide open on threes. He just wasn't making them.
He was making them all year, though. That's you know what I
so
mean?
it's like going into the playoffs, the idea was sell out on them Wagner threes, don't let him get to the rim. And Wagner was getting open look after open look, and it just wasn't going in.
I'll give it to Wagner. He can get downhill.
Oh, for sure.
He can get downhill.
Yeah, no, he's as a slasher, he's one of the
That's
more
what got
good.
him 200 mil, because definitely wasn't
No
that jump
lie.
shot.
No
The
lie.
hope. The hope
So
of
you
that
think
jumper
if
improved.
Franz Wagner, the shooting gets to normal levels?
What's normal levels?
35?
Well, what he shot his rookie season. You know, he shot 35.
That shit might be an anomaly at this point.
Bro, because it was ass his second year. It was ass last year.
It was ass in the Olympics.
It was ass in the Olympics.
Jason
Literally,
Tatum,
he has
essentially.
not. Oh wow. Okay.
He's regressing
Ooh,
each year.
it's like 22.
Jump shooting wise, just talking about jump shooting.
I mean, if you regress as a wing and as a jump shooter, you're cooked.
It really is
You
hard
start
to
looking like
to-
Ben Simmons.
If Paulo was on the Celtics, do the Celtics still win the championship if they didn't have Tatum?
Luka's going to lose to Paulo?
Like, replace. I'm just asking. Man, maybe if he's on the Celtics,
And you
shit.
take out Tatum and you put in Boncaro.
Do you think they would have won last year?
No.
Shit, probably. The way Luka was playing,
And
they could have
Boncaro
put
was playing
fucking...
like that.
could put
way he
Austin
was
Reeves
playing
in
against the
there.
Cavs.
That's better. That's
like
better
he's
than what
destroying
Tatum played,
Indiana.
honestly.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, that 7 games, that was for sure. It's going crazy.
Yo,
That's a fucked up
Tatum,
question.
the fall from grace is fucked up.
Yeah,
man.
it's fell from like the 5th best player to like the 7th now. Holy shit.
Keep going. Keep going.
Is he 10?
He might be like 9, 10.
Nah, he's like 7.
I mean, Anthony
probably
Davis is
8.
better than him.
You're lying.
I'm easily taking
He's
AD.
not like 7. Argument for 7. He's like
Jalen
8,
Brunson
9.
or Jason Tatum? That's an
Stop.
honest
Jason
question,
Tatum, bro.
That's an honest question.
Y'all love
Anthony
the hype
Davis
of
is
Jalen
definitely
Brunson,
better,
man.
though.
Anthony Davis
Anthony
is
Davis.
easy.
No, Anthony Davis is better.
That's easy.
Way
But
better.
Jalen Brunson, I don't think is better than Tatum.
What is Anthony Davis doing with the team? Just like he's the number 1 scoring option.
I don't think that's his role.
It's not his role, but if you like,
He's the
if
best
you put in the
defender in the world,
conversation, it's like
It wasn't Jason Tatum's role.
it was.
Zing.
It was. You know it was.
JB.
I mean, Anthony Davis, when he was the number 1 scoring option in the league, he was viewed as one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, but they never made anything happen in the
They
playoffs.
made it to the second round.
AD's
With the
just two-way
Pelicans.
ability.
Did you
is
see
just-
their teams?
I mean, Jason Tatum this past year had a stacked team, but previous years we're not gonna like. It was like Marcus Smart was like 3rd best player.
I want you to name me. Can you name me the starting center?
We're going to
in
pretend
some
like that
part of the
2022 team
AD
wasn't
era
amazing?
and the
Again,
small
Marcus
forward?
Smart was probably your 3rd best player, or Rob Will was your 3rd best.
I
Like
promise you, Rob Will was not your 3rd best player.
Anthony
Impactful
Davis with
defense.
the Pelicans was going out there with Omer Asik and Quincy Pondexter. in the
nah,
starting
cooking
lineup.
for sure, cooking for sure. But I just think this past season, I don't want to get.
Can I ask you a question? Does Tatum
What happened when he got Drew Holiday?
Who?
They embarrassed the Blazers.
Dehls, can I ask you a
Dehls,
serious question?
yes.
Does Tatum has a skill that's comparable to AD's defense?
No. But AD is one of the best 2 defenders in the world.
And then his offense, he can still give you 25.
25 a game.
Not
Like, I know
definitely.
Tatum's a great all-around player, but
And
AD,
now the shooting is the same essentially.
Oh my God.
I just think when you offensively, if AD's your number 1 option, I don't know if you're making deep runs with that.
I mean, yeah, I can see that, but defensively, man,
I
he's
thought you
Defensively, he's a
couldn't do
stud.
it with Tatum playing as
my
poorly
God.
as he
He's-
played.
Yeah, if Lucas
That's
showed
still
up,
fucking
if
acting
Lucas showed up,
nasty.
maybe he would have fucked that up.
He's right.
I thought
fell
Tatum. I
know. I'm here admitting it.
thought
I'm admitting he's right.
I thought Tatum efficiency falling off would hurt the Celtics more than
Me
it did.
too.
It
It didn't.
I told
Because
y'all.
the real number 1 scoring option showed up for them when they needed him.
I told y'all.
Dehls,
Tatum.
fight back!
I told y'all that Tatum only has to be like a 6 or 7
did say
against
that.
the Dallas,
You did
and they
say
could
some
do
shit
it. And
he
he
was.
was probably a 6 or
You're
7.
right. You cooked. That
It's
was
like-
the most accurate
His
shit.
brother,
Was that?
if your boy
No.
pulled up, if Luka was being Luka, it would have been a different
Now he's
series,
fighting.
maybe.
Fight back!
But
Fight
it is what it is,
back!
man.
Only if Tatum guarded him for the entire series, it would have been.
Because
Nah,
JB's
basketball
the
works.
best
Because
player
whenever
on the
Luka was
team.
guarded by Tatum, he fried him. He
Shit.
fried him.
They should have tried to get Tatum more actions then, man. I don't know what to
Your
tell
Tatum,
you.
honestly.
But just Al Horford was out there locking his ass
Honestly.
up.
If Kyrie shows up, it's not even really about Luka. If Kyrie would
Oh,
have
brother,
showed
that
up,
was never
it
happening.
was a better series. It would have been a way better series.
That was never
That was-
happened.
something
What
about
about
him in
PJ
Boston.
Washington, the needle mover?
That definitely was never happening. As a matter of fact, it should have never happened the first time.
the
but
fucking OKC series, man.
God
punch me in
bless-
the
God
face.
bless his soul, man, because he's never.
He
doing
showed
that
out.
again. He's never doing
Sometimes
that again.
you just have an outer body experience. That was him.
He was open a lot.
He made him.
Caleb Martin. Hell of a player, man.
That's not why I lost.
No. He's
No, I'm
saying,
saying
that everyone
PJ.
has their
Oh.
moments.
PJ.
He
Caleb
had,
Martin.
he had a Caleb
Similar.
Martin series. He cooked.
Caleb was doing shit.
No,
that
no,
shit
no,
was.
no, no.
He's doing
He was
turnaround jumper.
destroying
He
the
was
Celtics.
wild in that
But
series.
PJ's been working on off-season straight corner threes. He's gonna be back.
Back what?
You in the lab with him?
He's gonna be back.
He sucks.
Back doing what?
He's gonna be back doing his thing.
What's back for PJ Washington?
Yeah, I'm like so like.
If he's being a
He was
valuable
ass before he
piece
got
to
to
a
Dallas.
team that made the NBA Finals that Chop thought wasn't gonna be that valuable.
Oh,
That's
Miracle
what he
of
is.
God. That's what
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
not a
valuable
miracle.
for
He
one
was good.
series.
No, he was valuable every series.
No. Clipper series, he was good.
His defense was very valuable.
He was solid in the
Against the Clipper series, OKC was nuts.
Minnesota, he was cool.
No,
Boston?
he wasn't cool. He was actually not good. He was not good.
They didn't need him.
It was the Luka and Kyrie show that series.
And then against the Celtics.
No, yeah, because Luka and Kyrie were cooking. Who were they cooking? What's his name?
Oh, God.
Think.
Oh,
What
wow.
is his fucking name?
Rudy
wow.
Gobert?
No, he looks a little bit like MJ.
Oh, wow.
Same skin color.
Yeah.
What's his fucking name?
Plays
He's
the
cooking
same
another
position.
guy
Has
too.
cool shoes.
The Jalen Brown guy. The guy that he said is
can't forget that.
both of them. Yeah, defenders allegedly. Fry.
Apparently, you know what?
What's
Too
their names?
bad
Dehls?
the
You know them?
Screens got
Shit,
them out
it's
of the
losing
way.
my mind. I don't know.
I can't think
Just
of his
skipping
name.
my
It
mind.
starts
That
with a
duo,
J.
that duo, they play in the North somewhere.
Yeah, it ends with an M. You know, he has a brother.
I remember that duo.
He
and
just
Jaden
played on the
Mc-
Olympics.
Jaden McDaniels iced the Celtics in the regular season that one game. I remember that.
Jason Tatum iced the
He said-
Wolves. You remember
that?
that?
Shit was money.
I remember that
I
OC
saw this-
game.
I saw
40
this
on him.
tweet, and I sent it in the chat. You ignored it, so I'm gonna ask you here because I know why you ignored it. Somebody was tweeting about Jaden McDaniels, and they was like, "I don't see the hype with Jaden McDaniels. He can't dribble, can't shoot, can't pass. Defense is cool until he like defends somebody big. So like, what? Now that we're here, let's run back that he can be Jaylen Brown, and let's try to adjust it. What do you think is his actual ceiling?
I just love the switch in tone and how after he had that series against the Suns and the Nuggets, oh, he's not overpaid. He's so great. He's so valuable. Then the Mavericks and the Luka Doncic, one of the three best players in the world, really does him in.
He didn't
Do
dribble,
him
shoot, or
in.
pass in none of those
But
series.
I'm saying he
The
does
ideal's
him
still
in,
here.
and now,
He did
oh
kinda
my
shoot
God,
against
he's the
the Nuggets.
worst. Listen,
He's a
ultimately,
league average shooter.
Jaden McDaniels
Corner three, I'm
can
not
shoot.
moved.
This past season was
Can
not
what?
a good shooting season for him, but there has been many times where he's shown he can shoot. Just a year before, he was a really good 3-point shooter.
How many
He
attempts?
is
Three.
one of the best
It's 3 attempts.
wing defenders in the league. That's no doubt about it. And the point about him not being able to dribble is also wrong. He can dribble.
It's obvious hyperbole.
I know, but he can dribble.
Wait, what do you mean he's a shooter?
No, the year before, this past season, he shot well.
But the year before that, now he didn't.
Yeah, but he can
looking
shoot.
at it.
He can
What did
shoot.
he shoot? 36?
He went 33,
shot.
39, 31.
31?
31 this past year?
No.
Oh.
This year,
Oh, my bad.
33.
Okay.
Last year, 39.
Oh, I thought he was
year
higher
before
than
that,
33.
31.
39 on how many
like
attempts? It
35.
was.
They're all three.
It is 3. I
It's
thought
three.
so.
So what do you mean he can shoot?
He's not a good shooter.
Whenever I watch Jaden McDaniels play,
The way that your Jaden McDaniels
hit
goggles
one.
blinders,
You got him.
are a little different.
whenever I watch Jaden McDaniels play,
Do you watch him
and
objectively?
No.
Yes, Anthony Edwards. I watch the Timberwolves all the time.
I know
Anthony
you watch
Edwards
him.
kicks it out to Jaden in the corner.
He
It's
just don't
money.
miss.
It's
It's
33%.
Okay, and then the year before he shot 39. I said I already acknowledged this past year he didn't shoot well.
So in the playoffs-
the year before he was 39%.
Left corner, 55.
No, he was cooking.
Right corner, 33. Above the break, 39. Solid. This playoffs.
Let's keep him out that.
No, he
left
shot well in the
corner, whatever.
playoffs. I was saying that.
Let's keep going. Let's follow.
Even if
Let's stop
if
here.
we're using the
I was going to
averages,
say because you're getting caught right now because he
the
cooked.
last two seasons,
You. Jaden McDaniels, you're saying he shot 55%
that
from
was the playoffs from the left corner. Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah,
and
that's
39% above the
amazing.
break. That's
Yeah, for
awesome
sure.
too.
well, the last two seasons,
many
33%
attempts
this
you
past
think?
year,
Oh,
39% the year before. If we're looking at the average between that, if Jaden McDaniels is a 37% 3-point shooter with what he offers defensively, that's fine.
You really said he could
Herb
be
Jones or
JB.
Jaden McDaniels?
That's sad.
Herb Jones.
Wait on it.
No.
What's his percentage you think on catch and
Oh
shoot?
no, Herb Jones is better.
This past season, I think it's probably like 36%.
Oh, you almost cooked. 34. Let's look at the year before.
Could we
He
get
didn't have a good shooting
Could we get a
season this past
revised opinion on
That's what I'm
Jaden
really,
McDaniels?
like,
Just
looking
because Jalen Brown, I think, is probably out of the realm of conversation. Like,
What I
out
was
of
like
the-
2
you know what I
years
mean?
ago.
It was.
Well,
That
Jaden
wasn't no damn 2 years
it
ago.
definitely was.
But I was telling you how
the
long ago
original
that
tweet
JB was
was
one of the
definitely 2
ones.
years
I was talking about the video. I'm not talking about the tweet.
what are you talking
Which
about?
video?
The video we had.
About what?
We was up here and you literally
he
told
knows.
us. Yeah,
He
you
knows.
told us Jaden McDaniels and Edwards better duo.
Yeah, because Anthony
think-
Edwards carrying that dude.
No, no. You didn't say that. You said Jaden McDaniels can be better than Jalen Brown.
Hey, listen. How old is he? 24? We're really counting
Brother,
down 24.
don't you dare.
JB's
He'll
27.
never.
Ultimately, Jaden McDaniels is one of the best role players in the league. That's
He is.
what it is.
Jaylen Brown's not a
Is
role
he
player
top
though.
10?
Well, obviously
Let's get
it's not.
nasty.
Oh my god.
Obviously, Jalen. He's not Jalen Brown.
What's
Jalen
his
Brown.
ranking? Let's get real disgusting here.
In terms of role player,
Yeah, role
rankings.
player.
Are we just talking about wing role players?
No, you didn't say that.
Wing
You-
role players.
I
Why'd
didn't-
you just get so specific?
No, you said best role player.
Because they just play different roles. Everybody plays different roles.
Role player. They
All right,
play a role.
Drew
Best-
Holiday.
We're classifying him as a role player. He just
We
made
can
an
cut him.
all-star game.
Derek White.
That was 2 years ago.
Derek White.
He's an all-star level player.
Derek
Okay,
White.
Derek White.
Better.
Yes.
Alex Caruso.
Yeah.
Help
close
me.
Okay,
New
OG
York boys?
Anunoby.
Yeah, OG McHale.
Who?
OG Anunoby.
and
OG.
Mikal.
And Mikal.
I don't really count. All right.
You
wait.
need to-
He's not
you
an
need to
all-star.
count
Far
Mikal as a
from
fucking
Herb
role
Jones.
Good question.
That's literally neck and neck.
No, it's not.
It's neck and neck for me.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's Herb.
So I'm taking
No,
it away.
it's-
Comfortably.
Am I adding it or I'm taking
No,
it?
you add it.
That's questionable. for
Questionable.
me.
We'll throw that in.
Yeah.
No. You think it's Herb?
I think it's her.
Do you think it's Herb?
I also.
All right, John. Do you think it's Herb?
It doesn't matter.
Herb
It's 3 to
Jones
1.
over Jaden McDaniels?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
So it's
4
Herb.
to 1.
KCP.
Yeah, KCP is better.
Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Joe, he's cooking. Austin
Let me
Reeves.
bring up some names.
No.
You knew he wasn't gonna say
Austin
that.
Reeves
I
not
think,
better
I
than
think
him,
the
bro.
Lakers would rather have Jaden McDaniels for their team.
I understand the logic, but I don't think so.
I do think Austin Reeves is very good.
Who's
though.
just better as a role player? Who's just better?
Austin Reeves.
I mean, it's Jaden. I think more teams would want Jaden.
Okay.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante.
Where are we at? 9?
We're 9. We're getting nasty.
John, Austin Reeves or Jaden McDaniels, bro?
Right now, Austin Reeves.
Nas Reed.
Oh my.
Jaden.
No. Malik Monk. It's over. No, and Nas,
Wait.
you saying Jaden McDaniels or Nas Reed's nasty?
Still 10, but
Yeah, it's 10.
that's a maybe. Nas is
Jalen
a
Suggs.
conversation.
I mean, Jaden.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately,
That's close too.
That's close.
Jaden is
Jalen Suggs is a sniper now.
Jaden is one of the. He's one of the best
Trey
role
Murphy.
players in the league, though. Jaden.
Aaron
Taking
Nesmith.
Jaden. I'm taking Jaden.
Whoa, you're taking over Trey Murphy?
Over
Yeah.
Trey Murphy's tough.
I don't know
I couldn't
about
do that.
one.
I couldn't do that
Trey
either.
doesn't offer what he offers on defense. Trey's a much better shooter, though.
Trey is
Trey
a
can
good
guard.
defender,
He's a
though.
good defender.
No.
He's not a
Not
good
like Jaden. Not like
defender.
Jaden.
No,
Not
no,
like
no,
Not like
he's an
Jaden. He's a
all-right
good defender. Not like Jaden.
He's
of
an
course.
all-right
But
defender.
Jalen McDaniel is not nowhere near the shooter he is.
No, Trey's a sniper.
Yeah, I know.
Andrew
And that's
Nemhard.
Jaden.
I think I would take Jaden right now still too.
Yeah, no,
I'll
he's
take Jaden.
Nemhard is vibes. That's what you guys are on when it comes to
Jonathan
Nemhard.
Isaac.
Jaden.
They're both the same. Defensively, Jonathan Isaac is better.
He is.
Keegan Murray.
What the fuck?
Keegan.
Yeah, Keegan's better.
We're classing. I think we should wait on
I
him.
think
He-
Keegan's a
he's
role player right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's fair.
but I see
Yeah,
the
he's a little
division.
young. We can wait on him.
Yeah.
But a lot of these players is like I said, like
So
it-
he's outside the top 10 role player.
it's
We
team
named like
dependent.
14
though.
names.
But every team in NBA, Jaden McDaniels could start for like 80% of the league. He's that good. I mean, he's
I
a
think
really
you would
good
take
player.
the shooters over him though. Like Dante, you pick on more teams than him. Austin Reeves, you might pick on more teams than him. It's like the guys like him, Herb.
Dylan Brooks or Jaden McDaniels.
Oh my god,
Jaden.
Jaden.
The thing with Dante DiVincenzo,
Just disrespectful.
Dante DiVincenzo is a sniper from 3.
Dog.
He's a high effort player. He's not an elite defender.
Nope.
And I wouldn't even say he's a great defender. I think he shows great effort.
Josh Hart?
But he's more of a good defender.
Ooh, that's a good
I think Jaden is better.
Would you rather the elite defense or the elite shooting?
No.
It just depends on what you need.
Jaden over Josh, really?
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Over what we just saw from Josh?
Josh Hart.
No, that's what's really. I
Josh-
can't believe
this
that.
thing. Josh Hart for the Knicks, he's much more impactful. The Timberwolves would not give up Jaden straight up for Josh Hart.
Isaiah Hardenstein or him?
I think that's close.
But Josh isn't.
I think that's close.
You told us about Josh Hart's playoff numbers. Them shits was
I
You
mean,
want to
Josh
talk about
Hart,
hustle
numbers
hard
are
and
amazing.
great? That's just
Jaden
Josh
or Miles
Hart.
Turner.
Miles Turner.
Yeah, we cleared 15 names.
But a lot of the guys you're naming me, and yes, technically everybody's a role player, but a lot of the guys you're naming me are like high level starters. Like Miles Turner is 17 and 7.
Isn't-
Jaden
High-level
McDaniels
starter
is
is a high-level
making
role
30
player,
a
though.
year. He should be a high level starter.
I think there's a bit of a difference.
He's so.
You know what I'm saying? Like 30 mil a year, I think he should be a high. Like should be
brother,
more
he's
than a
getting paid to
starter
damn
with
near be
that
a
bread.
star, an all-star player.
Jaden McDaniels getting paid $30 million a year.
Close to
You
right?
fact
Or is it
check- Yes,
25?
no, he's getting insane
John,
amounts
this
of
is
money.
like you. Fact
John,
check that.
this
How
is
much
you
is
right now. How much is Jaden getting paid?
High teens to low 20s.
He signed 5
Yeah,
years,
you capped.
131 million.
You capped.
That's 30 a year.
What were the numbers?
5 years, 131 million.
Track.
Brother.
5 years, 131. Do math.
He wants to hear the exact number,
Yeah, I
bro.
do.
He's dying on the hill. I respect
Wait,
it.
that's not
It's
30
23
mil.
million.
It's not 30.
I was gonna say 150.
He capped like fuck.
Yeah,
I
OD.
can't-
23 is KCP. KCP
Yeah.
is a high level starter.
Okay, so within the contract range that Jaden signed,
Who's
the
around there?
salaries, who was around him?
KCP, Nicholas Claxton.
And he's
is
in
around.
that tier, 100%. Jaden's in that tier.
Yeah.
Well, KCP is a high level starter though.
I know. I think Jaden's a
Aaron
high level
Gordon's
starter.
up
Here's
there.
the thing, though. The conversation
But I
is
think
top
there's
10
a
role
difference
player.
between KCP and Miles Turner. Like, I think Miles Turner is probably a tier above KCP.
That would be all star.
No, I don't think next step is all star. I think
What's
It's-
above high level starter?
Because that's Miles Bridges.
So Jaden's getting
Mikal
20,
Bridges, excuse me, not Miles.
26.
because Mikal and KCP, I don't think are in the same tier. Mikal is a tier above him.
So the few names above McDaniels, you have Jared Allen, Tyler Hero, Porzingis, Derek White, Julius Randle, Hartenstein, who just signed, DeJounte Murray, Andrew Wiggins, Vassell. The ones just below
I hear a
him,
lot of polar bears.
Jaren Jackson, Jalen Brunson, Tobias, John Collins, Simons, Draymond, Miles Bridges, DeMar, Claxton, Rozier, Brooke Lopez.
Outside of the pay cut guys like Jalen Brunson and stuff, and the
Aaron Gordon's
friendly
making
contract
22.
guys.
Josh Hart's making 20. Jared
Yeah.
Allen's making 20.
Jaden is in that tier right there. Like what he's getting paid is not an
Yeah,
overpay.
I thought he was getting closer to 30.
He's not in the same tier as
You
Jared
know.
Allen.
I mean, he got paid what he's worth, and I feel like he is one of the better role players in the league.
Okay. I feel like it's high level starter and then all star, but
What's this guy doing?
I think he's like recording this while we're.
But
taking
like,
a pic.
is KCP a high? Is Mikal and KCP, are they both high level starters?
I think it's the same thing how we look at like all star. Like you can both like Chris Middleton and damn. Give
Like
me a name.
Mikal is
Mikal?
more.
Wait, who are you
No.
thinking?
Chris Middleton and Zion are both all stars, all star level, like all star type players. But Zion is clearly above
High-level
and
all-star.
far beyond in the all star ranking. I
Like
think that's the same with
Mikal
Mikal.
for me is borderline all star. Like
Yeah, that's where we
absolute best. That's what he is. I think Derek White is in that same.
You don't think
tier.
Mikal's a borderline all-star?
disagree. No, I think at his best, he is 1,000% an elite ass, bona fide, great ass.
He's not an
role player.
all-star.
No, he's not a role. He's
not.
not all
I
star.
think borderline all-star.
Derek White was he not a borderline all star?
No, Derek White is, I think, better than Mikal Bridges.
They're in the same tier.
Fair enough, but
regardless
if
of
you're
who-
just asking me to
Much
pick
different.
one, I'm picking Derek
I
White.
mean, regardless of who's better or not, they're in the same exact tier. Like the same exact level of play you get from those two is very similar.
I don't know. Derek White's peak was pretty fucking high
I don't
last
even know
year.
if I would say Derek White's a borderline all star.
Last year at
I
that
think,
all-star
I think
point,
he got a lot of buzz last
Like
year.
you know how
but
many people would have to get hurt for him or
But
Mikal to
what
get
I'm
in?
saying is
That's how I look at it.
Mikal is in a different tier than Jaden McDaniels.
I
He's
agree.
in a different
I agree.
tier than KCP.
Same with OG and them. I agree. I
Yes,
agree.
he's in a different tier than those, and I think even OG is probably like OG is like the cream of the crop of. He's like the Michael Jordan of Jaden McDaniels,
Wow.
and then Mikal Bridges is like
Fucking
just a
cooked.
tier above.
So like, cause like for Derek White, how many guards have to get hurt for you to consider him like an all star?
Seven.
It's a
Well,
ton.
I think he's a top 15.
even if you
point guard
if you
in the
try to relegate it to just the league, it's like so many guards will have to get hurt.
well, Derek White is a top 13 point guard at worst right now in the league.
Derek White
In
or
the
Darius
league?
Garland.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I think what Lamelo's like
I think
12,
like 15,
right?
I think top 15 is fair.
LaMelo's fringe 10. When healthy, fringe 10. Garland or Derek White?
I'm taking Garland.
Based on
I
what
knew
we've
your
seen, is
answer.
Derek White.
I don't disagree.
Based on what we just seen,
I'm taking Garland.
I respect that.
So
You-
based off what we've seen, why is Mikal Bridges a borderline all star?
he averaged 20 last year.
Oh my God, it was the ugliest 20 we've
but
ever
20,
seen.
20 doesn't
20 on
lock
that
you an
Nets team
all-star.
is
No,
not
I'm not
doing
saying
much.
he's a. I never said he's an
wasn't
all-star. I said he's a
good.
borderline
He couldn't
all-star.
defend last year. His handles was He's not good.
When he got asked to be...
Yes, he is.
as a number, he was all
No,
like,
when he
oh
was
my
asked to
God,
be a
not a
number one...
Now,
You're an all-star.
White's
You
not a number
If you're a
one.
borderline all-star, you're an all-star. You
Chris
could be a
Middleton's
number
not
one
a
at
number
some
one.
point. though.
Derek White's
Chris
never
Middleton's
been.
Chris
not number
Middleton
one.
at some point
Drew
can be
Holiday
that
was
though.
not a number
Hey,
one.
hey, at points in a game,
Yes.
the Bucks are asking Middleton
In the
to
playoffs,
be
Chris,
the engine.
like, what are we
He's
doing?
not a number one.
He
bro.
is the closer.
He's
In
not
that
no,
championship run, he
he's
was
not a
the
consistent
closer.
number one. No, I'm not saying
Agreed.
that. But at times, can Chris
Yes.
do
Jaren
that?
Jackson number one.
Jaren, what?
He was an all-star. He was an all-star.
He's a fucking big
You know,
man.
he just told me that if you're an all-star level player, you could be number one at
Okay.
some point in time.
He's
All
a
right.
defensive star.
He was.
So is Mikal Bridges.
No,
It's been
he's
some years.
not.
It's been some
Wow,
years.
wow.
It's
It's
been
been,
some
it's
years.
Bro,
been,
it really
yes.
has not been that long.
It's been like 3
Brother,
years.
He's
KD
still an elite defender.
What team was KD on? It's like 3 teams ago at this point, bro.
Trading.
I'm crying.
It
was 2 years ago.
Happened a century ago.
It happened 2 years ago.
feels
We're
like
going
it,
into
bro.
year 3.
It
McKell
happened a year and a half.
The reason
ago.
why you're like Mikal is literally about to go to New York to be a role player. Like that's his. He's about to go be a role player that can hit threes when he's open and defend.
And to add to the team
There is
captain.
no. We need you to do this. We need you to control this. You no. Derek White, even in Boston, a little bit you see the little bit like he can control the offense. He does this, does
But
that.
he's a point guard.
Yeah, it's a lot more responsibilities, of course. But Mikal Bridges, bro, he's one of the worst borderline all-star wings in the league.
Yeah, that
One of
doesn't.
the worst borderline all-star players.
Yes,
It's
obviously,
crazy.
but he's
Like
still
we're
in that
actually
tier.
we're overrating the shit out of him.
No, we're not.
Hell yeah.
Mikal Bridges is an
Relax.
exceptional player.
You're getting overzealous.
Exceptional?
Yes, he's an exceptional player.
Exceptional role
What are
player.
we talking about?
Role player. He's an
Exceptional
exceptional
role
role
player.
player.
Say that.
No, but
No,
that's what he meant.
It doesn't, bro. Role
I
player,
hate when he
whatever.
does this.
He's an exceptional player.
Why couldn't
Mikal
you ever
Bridges
just
is
let
an
us agree with
exceptional
you?
NBA player. Yes,
This
he
is like
is.
one of the best in the world for Cam Reddish type vibe. You know what I mean? Like, he's
not.
exceptional.
He's not even the best role player in his team.
Who's a better role player?
OG
than him?
Anunoby.
OG by far.
OG
OG's
Anunoby.
not better than.
And I've been telling you
Mikal.
that.
When he was on the court, yeah. You know what?
He really.
he doesn't-
OG
what is he?
changed
I
the
know, bro.
Knicks.
Nah, I can't.
He went to
He
the
just got
Knicks.
$40
They
million
didn't
for a
lose.
reason.
Yeah,
Yes.
he got 40 M's. That's
OG's
fucking
great.
crazy.
Nobody's
bro.
saying OG's not great. Mikal is better than him.
Ugh, at what? Not defense.
He's a better shooter than him.
Sure.
Their defense is equal.
no, the fuck
no,
is
no.
not.
Based off last season, not even close.
Bro,
Based off the last
obviously,
2 years, not even
OG
close. bro.
Anunoby, if he
Yo,
was
that's
on
an
the-
insane statement.
If OG Anunoby was on the Nets, Tass was scoring 20 a night, his defense would have dropped off too.
OG's just one of the best
think
defenders in the
OG's
game
defense
right
was
now.
better than McKell's in Phoenix.
When you put the role that Mikal is in, you just said Mikal's a role player in New York, which I agree. He is a role player in New York. When he's a role player, we know Mikal's going to
OG's
give you
defense was better than
elite
his in
defensive
Phoenix.
output.
OG's defense was better than his in
It
Phoenix.
was-
I
it was-
believe that.
it was neck and
I
neck.
believe that.
It was neck and neck.
OG can
Even
he
if
can
you
guard.
think-
He can switch 1 through 5. He can guard your best player. Like,
OG cannot guard bigs. Not no,
said he can
not no.
switch. I said he can
You
switch.
said switch 1 through 5.
Yes, he can switch.
Mikal can switch 1 through 4.
No, he cannot.
Yes, he
Mikal
can.
struggles with bigger wings. What are you talking
The
about?
top tier wings.
I watched
OG
Brandon
struggles
Ingram
with
cook
the
him.
same guy.
I watched Brandon
God.
Ingram cook Mikal. Cook him.
Okay, in the playoffs, that first round series.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? I guarantee you Brandon Ingram won't cook OG. I promise on my life he won't. Brandon
Bro,
Ingram.
Respect
Tyrese
Brandon
was
Ingram. He's
cooking
not bad.
OG.
Who?
Tyrese.
Maxey.
No, Halliburton, I'm saying.
Oh.
No.
Was he hurt that
No,
series?
he was hurt.
OG?
Yes.
But to begin the series, Tyrese was playing well.
He was, but
He
when
wasn't
did?
playing at an insane level.
But
We
I
didn't
thought
have-
OG went down early.
Oh, but I'm saying Tyrese
did.
had some good games early. That's what I'm saying.
I think you're losing me, Joel.
Look at the
But even then, Mikal Bridges is a better player than OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby right now has the hype behind him because he just played for a team that was actually competitive in the
I don't
mix.
think
And he was a
just
key
hype, but
part.
there
And
is-
he was a key
Yes,
part.
How were like
obviously.
20 and 3 when he was healthy?
Mikal Bridges, yes, but it's because he filled a need on our team that we needed, and it completed us. That's what it meant.
But he made you guys elite on defense.
Yes,
I should start
because
saying
he's an
us.
elite wing defender. So is Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges, whenever he's been a role player and he hasn't been tasked with averaging 20 to 25 a night, he's been an elite defender. He's been one of the better role players in the league. There was at no time that you were saying, even back when OG was in Toronto, that OG was better than Mikal. Mikal was better than him.
I've been vocal about OG Anunoby for a long time.
For like what I'm looking at, he was mainly guarding Pascal, just based off time, possession.
I'm just saying, when
Matchup
he
minutes.
matched up, he
No,
looked...
he guarded Tobias for 31 minutes in the playoffs, Tyrese for 19, Maxey, Oubre for 15, Pascal for 14. He only guarded Halliburton for 1 minute and 50 seconds. It's just NBA.com though, so it's not all the way accurate. But yeah, that's just what I got. So I don't know.
Ultimately, this conversation stems from the fact that Mikal is in a different tier than the KCPs of the world. And that's what the initial argument was, is that KCP is 10 a night with very good defense, great defense. Mikal is 18 a night with great elite defense. They're in a different tier. And we're this year, when we watch the Knicks, I don't think there's going to be a doubt that Mikal is the third best player on the team. Or at times the second best guy. To me, that's not going to be much of a doubt. But if you think OG is going to be a top 3 player on the team,
You think
I
he's
don't
getting
really care.
18 a night?
Mikal?
Yeah.
He can.
Easily.
He can.
Easily.
There's a lot of guys.
Well,
defeating
if Randall is still healthy and ready to
That's
go,
what I'm
get his
taking
shots
into
up.
account.
Josh Hart's gonna get his shots up.
if I'm the Knicks, I'm not fucking up what Dante has going on right now.
OG's gonna get his shots up.
What does Dante have
But
going
you
on
just
right
traded
now?
you just said
3
4
point
first
shots?
from Mikal. He's
but
going to get
making
looks,
them
man.
at an
I
unbelievable
agree.
clip.
Yeah,
18
obviously.
is a lot.
He just had like an
averaged
all-time
Like, he wasn't
most
getting
threes
18
for
in
a
Phoenix.
season type deal, though.
What was he
Yes,
getting?
but
in Phoenix?
like 14,
Mikal,
15.
he is capable
John.
of actually initiating things.
John.
We're keeping John on his toes.
John.
I'm
The
looking it up. I'm looking it
TV,
up.
man.
Oh,
What's wrong with this guy? So you think 18? Easy.
Yeah,
Third best
you want
player.
to make the bet?
18?
Mikal average 14 his final year in
Injuries might
Phoenix.
help him. So I don't think I get hurt a lot.
No.
Nah, but I think
18 tonight.
Mikal's giving you more offensively than OG is for sure.
I mean, sure, he's coming off pin downs and stuff like that. I ain't mad at that. All right, we can do 18.
18 tonight.
Over, under?
18's a lot.
You're taking under 18. You're taking
go
over
under.
18.
I'll go.
Y'all seem to think Mikel's like a 12-point per game.
No,
guy.
I think
I don't think there's nothing wrong
if
with that,
the
though.
Knicks
He's
want to
not,
be,
though.
I think he's more like a 15-point per game guy.
No, he's
you
not.
know what? In the regular season,
was that.
let me say, you're right.
And
18's
he
possible.
improved.
For 1 year.
No,
Not even a year,
and-
like a
and
half.
the improvement he had in Brooklyn, the
wasn't
25 a night.
It was a fluke.
But here's the thing:
It was a
I'm not
fraudulent thing.
using that anyway. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
acknowledging that year when he got traded.
Yeah.
Before he got traded, he was averaging 21 with the Suns. When
Yes,
they
I'm-
were healthy,
no, it
they
was
had some
17.
injuries.
It was 17.
No, Mikel had like a 5-game stretch where he looked really good.
I'm dead.
Before he got traded.
He's right. That's what
He
made
did.
him become a Mikal Bridges stan.
But 5 games.
No, I know he's kind of losing you there. I agree.
If he didn't even tell me the games, I would have been fine. I'd
yeah,
have been
but
like, you know
the
what?
stretch you're talking about, he averaged 17 that year
It was
with the Suns.
I'm looking at it right now. So the years that matter, he went 14, 14.
His last year with the Phoenix, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, and then 2022, 2023, obviously split time because he got traded. He averaged 17 and 56 games in Phoenix. And in 27 games, he averaged 26 in Brooklyn.
That season, he saw there was drastic improvement in his game.
I think
His
that's where he's at.
His playmaking ability, his ability to shoot in the mid range.
Yeah.
He really turned into one of the better mid range shooters in the league, and he's a great 3-point shooter. If that's what he's at, I mean,
I think that's
he's
16,
better
17.
than he's better than what that.
How many
that he was
how
at
many
right
number
now.
3 options do you think are averaging 18 a night? Because I'm just doing some quick looking just at the top number 3 options. Porzingis averaged 20. Harden averaged 16.5. Chet averaged about 16.
what was D'Lo at?
What the J-Dub average? Are we?
I
Saying
think J-Dub's the number
second
2.
option?
I think he'd be number 2. But Chet was 16.5. D'Angelo, let's see.
I think D'Lo was around that.
D'Lo was at 18 on the dot.
Facts.
So like, you know, the best number 3 options, or at least the best like scoring number 3
I
options.
think D'Lo's a better
18's
scorer
like,
than Mikal. That's not a hot
kind of like
take.
the ceiling when it comes to number 3 options. Mikal has the ability
But
to
I
be
look,
at
I
a
look at it
ceiling
like
number
this.
3.
So he was getting 18 attempts in Brooklyn. There was nobody there outside of Cam Thomas. Fine. In Phoenix, he was getting about 13 attempts. Looking at the Knicks last year, Brunson was getting 21 attempts. These are just field goal attempts.
Yeah.
Randall was getting 18. RJ doesn't really count, but he was getting 15. But guys like Dante was getting 12. You had OG, he came in, he got 11. Like they're gonna start. That's gonna have to get spread out. I don't think Mikal is gonna get this 15, 16 attempts. I think Julius Randle might go up a little bit more. Brunson, like you want the ball in those two
I think
guys.
if RJ's
hands.
getting 15 attempts, Mikal could be
No,
around
I think
that.
I think Mikel will be
But
at that
15 attempts is cool. I
But
think
that's
14.
kind of the precursor. I agree with that because who played the most of the big when Randall was healthy? It was RJ,
Yeah.
it was Randall, and it was Brunson. That's a fact.
If he's getting 15 attempts a night, it's possible.
It is possible.
he's not going to average 18 on 15 attempts. He'd have to be wildly inefficient to not do that.
No, I think he'll average about 16, 17. I think you have Hart, he'll get his 12. I think Dante will get a accelerated role. He'll get his 13, 14. Josh Hart will get his 11. And then Randall and Jalen Brunson are
They're
going to
gonna
dominate
have, like,
the ball.
They'll have
players
multiple
average
guys
double
average
digits.
double digits.
Yeah,
Facts.
Yeah, like they're gonna have dudes dominating the ball. So it's
No,
like
it's going to be the
I mean,
most fun next season in a while.
That's the thing, though. I don't think that the sacrifice from a couple of guys, or I don't think Mikel is the main guy sacrificing, is what I should say. Because
I think everybody is.
him
except
coming
Brunson.
to the game, I think Brunson's even sacrificing.
How did we get here?
Forgot.
Jaden McDaniels.
I think
How
Brunson
did we
is.
even
I
get to
think
Jaden?
Brunson is
You think
sacrificing.
he
I think
sacrifices?
Brunson's going to average 29 next year with the talent we have on our team.
29?
Wait, I'm so confused. You said sacrifice and this at 29.
No, I'm saying I don't think he's going to average.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
He averaged that this past year out of necessity.
He doesn't have to go crazy this upcoming
Yeah,
Like I
season.
think if Jalen Brunson averages 25 this year, which I think he could have that downtick just because of the talent with Randall back.
And more
Randall
efficient.
can average 21. Mikel can average 19. I think that's fine. I think they'll do with that. That probably
That'll
how
help
the scoring
Brunson.
is.
Believe it or not, dropping off in points will help
I
him.
don't know. I just think Brunson's gonna that's who he is.
He's
gonna
gonna,
dominate
especially
the ball.
down the stretch of the fourth quarter.
And you just want your
time.
best shooters positioned up, ready to shoot. Mikel, Dante, OG, get ready when I give this shit
Yeah,
to you.
Nick's
Lock and load it.
spacing is fire.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
Well, ultimately, the bet is 18 tonight, and I think he's going
I'm
to
so
get to
comfortable.
18
I'm so
tonight.
comfortably fine.
So 17.9. We're not rounding up, right?
No.
No,
No,
there was no round.
Anything after 17.6 is 18.
No,
I agree.
crazy.
I agree.
No, there is no rounding.
We round for everything
Not for
else.
No,
This is
not
a
for a
bet.
bet.
Nah.
18.0.
So if it's 17.9,
No,
it's
it's
the
under.
same.
It's
Loss.
under.
Drew,
It's under.
What does over and under mean?
It's under.
All right.
If the flat line is 18,
Yep.
he has to go over.
All right. I'm fine.
Thank you.
Fine.
No, I agree with you. I was just fucking with you.
Yeah,
Listen, I was with you.
17.6 is crazy.
17.8. I was
Yeah.
geeking, bro.
No,
can't
listen,
wait.
it's fine. I know Mikel. I know
No,
what
you
he's going
don't.
to do. I know what he's going to do.
That's
I don't
dog.
He's going to be great. And
Great.
now my admiration for him doesn't have to be hidden because he was on the Nets, and the Nets was.
We
That
all
was your
knew-
team for a
we
little
all
bit.
knew you loved him. You didn't.
I was just saying
hide
for a
it.
little
No,
bit.
I love Mikel, but now he's on the Knicks. I love him.
told us he could make the All-Star
Where's the
game
Harden
and all
Nets
that.
jersey, man?
Oh, it's in one of the baskets outside the room. It's not here. I got the Rockets jersey. This is OG right here.
Shout out to
That jersey is sexy.
Shout out to James.
And the
man.
Arizona State jersey's even harder.
On to the NFL portion of the podcast. 2 hours in, but it's fine. Episode 400 vibes. There's really two things that we want to talk about when it comes to the NFL portion of this podcast. Maybe three. One is the rookie quarterbacks and their performances in the preseason. This back and forth that Tua and Brian Flores had. And then the top 5 teams in the NFL. And I want to start off with the rookie quarterbacks and ask you guys which rookie quarterback you have been most impressed with in the preseason thus far.
Gentlemen, I think we know the answer. Now, of course, everyone's going to go and say, Caleb Williams, he's the next Mahomes. And I agree. He's amazing. However, who has stolen the show of the preseason? To shock myself, Bo motherfucking Nix of the Denver Broncos. We were the laughing stock 2 years ago. Sean Payton says, I have a vision. Trust me, boys. We're going to be okay. We're going to drop this bozo Russell Wilson. We're going to draft Bo Nix at pick 12.
be his guy.
And we're going to be back. Russell Wilson's dead to me.
Oh, I know.
I don't give a flying fuck about him.
Jeez.
Did absolutely not a damn thing for me.
Hearing this about your quarterback,
Yeah,
John?
enjoy that, John. Enjoy misery. And yeah, misery loves company, and I'm right there with you. However, I'm not miserable no more because Bo Nix has been dominating the preseason. Second in completion percentage, first in passing yards, tied first in passing touchdowns, and first in passer rating. Of course, this is talking about rookie quarterbacks in the preseason. Now, I don't want to get too excited. It's just a preseason. I seen my quarterback also, but of course, your guys' quarterback, Zach Wilson, dominate the preseason and not translate at all. However, Lord have mercy, he's doing exactly what I've wanted my quarterback to do. Make easy look easy. If you have an easy throw, take the easy throw. Don't overcomplicate things. Just take what the defense is giving you. And in these 2 games, Bo Nix has done exactly that. And I saw a couple of plays where he's getting outside the pocket and he's actually improvising and making nice plays out of structure. I've seen plays where he's actually delivering throws with anticipation. The one that comes to mind is in that second drive that he had right before he scored the touchdown, the play to Cortland Sutton to get us right to the 5-yard line. He has shown us in 2 games what Sean Payton has brought him here to do. Sean Payton had a vision. This is the first quarterback that he's drafted in the first round. I believe in Sean Payton. I believe in Bo Nix. He, of course, outside of, you never threw the hat on, which is disappointing to me because that hat looked awesome.
Thanks.
It did complete the fit.
You look so
Want to
cool.
get it from me, Riff?
Gotcha, bro.
Thank you. I'll put it on right now.
Thank you. Caleb Williams obviously is the more exciting player. He's made some insane throws, insane plays in preseason. But Bo Nix legitimately has stolen the show because this was unexpected if you are a casual football fan.
I guess I'll go next. I like the Bo Nix shout out. You know, I thought, especially for you as my brother, you've seen a lot of terrible years.
Amen
you know,
to that.
And I think Bo Nix could give you some good years, you know?
Your mouth to God's ears.
No, yeah. You know, shout out to Russell Wilson. That's John's
Fuck him.
quarterback. For me, I want to talk a little bit
Am I
about
allowed to do that on YouTube?
Yes.
Fuck him.
Wait, I don't know.
You could do whatever.
Fuck him a third time.
Oh my, wow.
Damn. Wow. Wow.
Week 2.
You could go rounds with that, huh?
Yeah.
Multiple.
You're nuts.
You went 3 rounds
I
with Russ.
want to talk about
I'll make it a 4th.
Jaden Daniels for a little bit because I was watching him play and I felt like the game plan was get him a lot of easy stuff in the passing game and a lot of out routes. Have the receivers kind of make the play for him. Just quick hike, quick hit to the left, hit to the right. He did have a deep ball that he kind of just blanked on. Like he pretty much missed it. The guy was wide open. If he put a little bit more touch on it, he probably would have hit the guy.
Against Miami?
Yes.
Facts.
Yes. He kind of just said hike, waited like 2 seconds, just kind of threw it up off his back foot. I thought he could have had a little bit more placement on the ball there. But for the most part, I just like, and this is why I was saying earlier about how I think Jaden McDaniels could have a better rookie year. Jaden McDaniels could have a better rookie year than Drake. Because I just think the game plan is going to be a little bit easier for him. It would be nothing advanced, nothing too extreme on the brain, and nothing too extreme in the game plan. He'll just be able to make simple out routes here, out routes there, use his legs, be more efficient in that department. So I really liked what I've seen. I just think he had a solid game plan. He executed it well. He made some good throws, made some cool throws down the middle, which I liked. And the receivers he'll be able to make those quick throws, and they'll be able to just break out and make some plays.
Yeah, to back that up, there's a few stats Josh Norris tweeted out about Jaden Daniels on his 15 preseason dropbacks. His average time to throw was 1.91 seconds. The quickest last year in the NFL was 2.36. His air yards per attempt, 5.5. Shortest last season was 5.7. So I think that's what we're going to see a lot of this season with Cliff Kingsbury in this offense. It's going to be a lot of first read stuff, a lot of RPO stuff because, number one, this offensive line last year was not good. I don't anticipate it to be really much better this year. And going into the season, outside of Terry McLaurin, there's really not a lot of guys you trust, right? You lost Curtis Samuel. Jahan Dotson's been having a really tough camp. You bring in Zach Ertz, but he's an older tight end. Sennett, the rookie tight end who I'm high on. I think it's going to take some time for him to get developed, but what we've seen in the preseason is he's been pretty damn decent. But I think what we saw in the preseason is going to be a lot what we see in the regular season with Jaden Daniels because you can't ask him to do a ton. And at LSU, it was kind of similar. His average time to throw was about like 2.9 seconds. So I don't think giving him these long developing plays behind a weak offensive line with only one wide receiver is really the best way to do it. So I like what I've seen so far, just offensive schematically. Now, Cliff Kingsbury, I think, has some of his own issues. Terry McLaurin lined up, I think it was like the wide receiver on the left like 91% of the time. Ideally, your best players, you can move them around, get him in the slot, get him some easy looks. We saw that with DeAndre Hopkins the last couple of years there with Arizona where he was just lined up on one side of the field, asked to do one or two things, and I think their offense took a hit. But I'll talk about Drake May just a little bit because the first game we saw, didn't see much of him. It was only 2 or 3 throws. The second game, I thought you saw some ups, you saw some downs. The big highlight play was the incompletion to Javon Baker down the field where he steps up in the pocket, lets it rip 50, 60 yards down the field, and it's right in Javon Baker's hands, but he's unable to catch the ball. But I thought from Drake May, it's a lot what we saw from UNC. I thought for the most part he was accurate, had some misfires, but it was really the athleticism. It was getting down the pocket, being mobile. Of course, we talk about Caleb Williams. We talk about Jaden Daniels, who were 2 of the more mobile quarterbacks in the last few seasons. But Drake May, I don't know if it's just because he's white. I don't know if it's because, he's just not having the rushing yardage that these guys have. But he's an athletic quarterback. Like, he's able to go out. He's able to make guys miss. He's able to run guys over. But it's true. When you look at white quarterbacks, even when they are mobile, we don't think of them as mobile.
Why stare at me when you said
I don't think I stared at you. I think I stared at the camera. But that was one of the bigger points that I saw was just how often he was getting out. Because, again, Patriots, I don't think they're going to have a ton of dudes open. I think offensively, from a schematic perspective, I think they're going to have some struggles. So it was good to see him get out in the open field, make some things happen. I like Jalen Polk, DeMario Douglas, these dudes. But I think a lot of the stuff that Drake May's got to do is going to be himself. It's going to be get out of that pocket, make something happen. Maybe not too much of that, but, just make something happen.
No.
I'm digging this fit, Joel. This is
No, you look so good. Tears in my eyes.
The kicks, I like
So when Joel said, I don't know if it's white, and Riff goes,
because he looked right at me like as if I say it. I'm just like,
no, my
okay,
stomach hurts.
cool. Like,
I'm
Oh my God.
I'm somebody that I really don't care about
You don't see color?
hurting people's feelings. It's not about seeing color. I see color, but I embrace the color.
yes, sir. I love that
that's
response.
exactly
I embrace the
100%
diversity.
facts.
Now, this is the thing. I'm not somebody that's really shying away from being a little bit negative on things.
Okay.
And I will say this. Number one is preseason. So when I watch a rookie quarterback in preseason, what I'm trying to look for are things that are transferable to the regular season. When you face good schematics, when you face good defenses, how do you process? Unfortunately for Jaden Daniels, there was none of that in the preseason. Yeah. They put the training wheels on him 100%.
A lot.
You mentioned the 1.9 seconds to throw. That's unsustainable in the regular season. That's not going to happen. 0% pressure rate. So the thing that I've been telling you guys that I'm the most worried about with Jaden Daniels, how he handles pressure. He saw 0 snaps or dropbacks with pressure. There was one that didn't technically count on the blitz when he missed that deep pass to McLaurin. That was the one play where he was actually asked to read things out and go somewhere post-snap, and he threw an inaccurate ball. Right decision to go there, but it wasn't a good ball.
Yeah.
So for me, Jaden Daniels, I have taken nothing away from this preseason about how he's going to be able to handle NFL defenses. And quite frankly, it's a little bit alarming to me that the same way Cliff Kingsbury ran his offense in Arizona, it felt the same exact way in the preseason. It looked the same exact way. Is that Cliff Kingsbury hiding things up his sleeve? I don't know if I'm going to give him credit for doing that much. I think it's just, that's it. That is what his offense is. And Jaden Daniels, yes, can he get the ball out quick? If you're only asking him to throw to one spot, one read, quick hitters, he'll be very accurate. But what's going to happen when he's asked to survey the field? What's going to happen when he's pressured and he's going to have to deliver something in the pocket or avoid taking sacks? Those are the things that I got zero clarity on. And I'll be honest, outside of Bo Nix, and J.J. McCarthy was trending this way too before he got hurt. Outside of Bo Nix, I haven't been overly impressed with any other quarterback. Caleb Williams has had these splash plays, but you look at the Bengals game, the score looks lopsided, but it's because of what Tyson Bagent did when he got in the game. But you look at the Bears, the offense actually kind of worried me. Their first 4 or 5 drives, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Tyler Scott, deep pass, DPI, bailout. They got into field goal range, weren't even able to convert in the red zone. They scored a field goal, and then you had Caleb making a miraculous play to Rome Odunze to get them within scoring range. And they scored a touchdown. But for me, what I've seen from the Chicago Bears offense is if it's going to look like this, they're going to get off to some very tough starts. Even someone like DJ Moore, maybe he's not trying because it's the preseason, but his routes look like shit out there. That's what it's been.
I get where you're coming from. I don't look at the preseason for vets. And when you have DJ Moore and you have Keenan Allen, these are two guys that the preseason, they're not giving 100% effort. But I get where you're coming from.
But that hurts Caleb, though.
Agreed. You want them to have their best reps with the young guys so he can see what it looks like in full motion. I know exactly the play you're talking about. The one that the corner goes and he gets his hand in, and Caleb puts the ball right in the perfect spot for DJ, but DJ just comes out of the break too slow. I understand what you're talking about.
It was a slant. He should have been wide open.
100%.
And then there was another play when he ran a dig and he got into a hand fight and he got totally just taken off the tracks of his route with it. And that's something where, how do you expect Caleb to complete passes with these circumstances if you're not trying the preseason? I understand vets don't really got to show you much, but you have to help out your quarterback out there, and maybe it improves in regular season. I think Caleb will be fine and all that, but Caleb, outside of the occasional splash plays, and because he's Caleb, they have overhyped them, it didn't really feel all that exceptional to me. The person who I felt like showed the most growth was Bo Nix. Easily also in part because Michael Penix Jr. didn't play in the second preseason game. I don't understand that decision at all. And also Drake May only had one real preseason action, and I thought he looked pretty damn good in it. But Bo Nix, coming from his first preseason game to the second, I was looking for two things. I was looking to see if he was going to take the easy stuff, because in the first game, he really missed a lot of things that he should have thrown. And then how was his footwork and his base going to be? And also his aggression. And I felt like in the second preseason game, he improved upon all those things. So Bo Nix is the only guy that I can actually grade and say, you know what? These were things that I think will be in the offense in the regular season, and he improved upon those parts. Every other rookie quarterback, I mean, the training wheels on Jaden Daniels are on all the way. And in the preseason, that's kind of the moment I want you to kind of show me that he can progress through things. I mean, that's the time to practice it in the preseason. So I've kind of been disappointed in how all these rookie quarterbacks, except for a few, have been handled this preseason.
Should we do a quick Bo Nix? Would you rather?
Oh no! Don't do this to me.
Let's do it. It's preseason. Let's buy into the hype.
Because I'm going to be obnoxious.
All right. So how should we do this? Next 5 years? Who would you rather have for the next 5 years?
God damn it!
3.
3? All right. Would you rather Bo Nix edition for the next 3 seasons?
Fuck it.
First name up, Brock Purdy.
Bo Nix.
Brock Purdy.
Fucking idiot. Brock Purdy.
Drake May.
Drake May.
Bo Nix.
Oh, okay. You're going crazy, Drake, man.
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
K1.
Ha!
We got to get some realistic names in here.
K1.
Anthony Richardson.
Bo Nix.
AR has apparently been looking pretty shitty.
This could be more of a conversation based on how raw AR is and his injury history. But I'm just going to bet on the upside in the trade. So I'm going to go with AR.
I'll take the raw talent. Give me AR.
Tua.
Bo Nix.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, that's where you draw the line.
Hey, Tua. Give me
I
Tua.
drew the line at K1.
You said Brock Purdy.
Tua's better.
Give me Tua.
Yeah, you know what? This is actually like a close call for me. Let me come back to this later.
Come on, give me an answer.
Okay, my gut feeling is telling me Bo Nix.
Okay.
My gut feeling.
Okay. Bryce Young.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix. Wow.
I still believe in Bryce. Give me Bryce.
Don't do that to me.
How you falling off?
No. Whoa. Still him here. I think Bryce Young's going to be good.
Give me Bryce too.
How good?
Good.
Okay.
Top 20.
Maybe.
I think
That's
Bryce.
stretching it.
I think Bryce can still be top
A
15.
lot of good quarterbacks.
A lot of good quarterbacks.
Gino's like 17 right now. Who knows?
Will Levis.
Oh, Bo Nix.
I'm going to go with Bo Nix.
I trust the arm talent. Give me Will.
You think I'm going to choose a guy who puts mayonnaise in his
He
coffee?
does.
That is nuts.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
He's been with 2 different
You said in the
teams.
next 3 years?
Yes.
Still Jared Goff.
Jared Goff.
Still really young.
Nah, I'm taking Bo Nix. Nah. I have straight face. Calm down. I'll respect Jared Goff.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. Oh, this
Yeah.
is easy.
Wait,
My
no,
bad.
because I'm confused.
It was a sort of question that was so easy. I really
You
didn't feel like I needed to
respect
answer
Jared
it.
Goff, but you don't respect Brock?
That's on me, man. I should have said Brock.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
But we ride.
All right,
I love you, Brock, but sorry.
You falling off, man.
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Nix.
I kind of like Bo Nix more with Sean Payne. You know, I like him more to actually reach whatever ceiling he has.
I gotta go with my brother, Jaden. Give me Jaden.
Let's do last name here. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
This is where I throw my hands up. Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Tanner
Make sure we're not
McKee.
getting crazy.
JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
I'm going with JJ.
I like JJ's
That brother has a rocket.
He does. No, I think Bo Nix.
Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix.
Baker was the actual name I had, and I lost it, and I just remembered after I said it.
I thought this was going to be filled with like the Bakers and Derek Carrs of the world.
Oh, we're definitely picking Bo Nix over Derek Carr.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Derek Carr's so terrible.
He was getting nasty.
Sometimes you need to throw the easy names
You
in
think
there,
he's
man.
that bad?
He's not. He's a bottom 5 quarterback in the league.
And what's
right
going to be
now.
awesome when they watch that video first and they say Brock Purdy or Bo Nix, and I say Bo Nix, they're fucking
But I
in.
think Bo Nix is like Brock Purdy too. Like I think that's more like 3 years
The
from
ceiling?
now. Yeah, I think that's where like you're probably talking to him with.
Could be. And you tell me I get Luther Burden next season?
I heard he's a dog.
He's a
He's
dog.
dumb nice.
The only thing that sucks is that like you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, so it doesn't matter.
Just get me to
And
the wild
and
card.
Herbie
Get me
with
to the
Jim.
wild
And
card.
Herbert.
Yeah.
Get me to
Dehls, have you
Now
seen
move.
Jeremiah Smith?
What?
By the Chargers.
Jeremiah Smith.
Yes.
They're
Oh,
making
is
the
he,
playoffs.
No.
Ohio State.
State.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Do you
early.
understand what needs to happen for that to be a reality?
That will happen. I think people are forgetting the Chargers weren't ass last year when Herbert was healthy.
Yeah, facts.
No, I agree.
The Chargers,
Their defense was horrendous.
The Chargers, most of their games came down to one score. Like the game against Miami, it came down to one score. The Chargers lost, I believe, 5 games last year when they were up with 5 minutes left. Their defense held them back a lot, and I don't think their defense is going to be bad this year. I don't at all. Jim Harbaugh got hired by the 49ers, took a 5-6 win team, I believe, at the time that hadn't been to playoffs in 8 years and won 13 games. He went to Michigan and took a 5-win team to a 10-win team and won a national championship. Jim Harbaugh's a winner.
He's a GOAT. If they make the playoffs, we're talking about Herbert being in the MVP conversation.
Well, I think Herbert
they
can
won't.
play at a top 10 level.
I
even
agree.
with the weapons.
Easy.
You know?
Top
But
5.
the
though.
weapons do concern me. Lad McConkey being your one and or
he's-
Josh Palmer.
He's been hurt basically all training camps
Facts.
too.
And QJ is bad.
Keep it pushing.
He's
No,
bad.
he's not good.
It's
but-
over.
So this
over
offense is
before
a
it started.
concern.
I think they're
I'm
gonna
not
they're
that
gonna rely a
concerned.
lot on the run game. That's how it's gonna go. It's
Fair.
gonna be Gus
John-
Edwards. It's gonna be JK.
JK.
John apparently believes in QJ still.
It's not over for Quentin Johnston.
Give
Yes,
it
it is.
up,
It's
right?
over.
They used him
It's
around
over.
last year.
John,
No, John. He was
fucking
awful,
John.
actually terrible at
But
everything.
They played Quentin Johnston out of last year. He was not getting manufactured touches, and that's what he did best in
Why
college.
would you manufacture touches for
can't
Quentin
catch the
Johnson?
ball.
Yeah, I mean he was a
At
first round
TCU,
pick.
at
He's not
TCU.
good.
I agree, but you got to try to make him
No,
look
but
good.
he's
That's
not
what he
good.
does
No,
best.
he's terrible.
John, how would you
He may be
utilize
the worst.
Quentin Johnson?
John, if I were to say he's the worst receiver in the NFL, would you agree?
No.
Who's
Quentin
worse?
Johnston's
Give me
a really
one
good
player
player
worse.
in
Randall
space,
Copper's
but-
hired.
Who's better, John? Jamison Williams or Quentin Johnson?
Jameson
Oh,
Williams.
Jameson.
Okay,
You
good.
saw that route Jameson had in practice the other day?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're fucking
was
here.
grease.
We've been here. We've fucking been here.
Now the Lions guy, but we're here with this one.
Jameson Williams has aura too. He's tough.
Listen, the
Tell him
thing
stop
is,
playing with him.
Quentin Johnson is
I
pretty
like
much
playing with
over for him. Maybe there's
2K.
a little bit that
You're
he can
nuts.
do, but he's not a good
He's
receiver.
not going to return the first round wide receiver value. When Jordan Addison went around him, Zay Flowers,
Quentin
he was the
Johnson
first
is not better
receiver.
than Deshaun Jackson right
And
now.
I will say, and I will say this about the Chargers and Herbert and the weapons and stuff. His weapons for the past couple of years have been hurt all the time. Whether it's been Mike Williams, Keenan Allen at times has been hurt, even though he's been durable for a while now. But there has been very little times where Herbert has had a supporting cast, fully healthy.
But this is still by far and away his worst cast.
Yes, it is. But the thing is that I've seen Herbert go out there with guys like DeAndre Carter,
For sure.
guys like Jalen Guyton, and
Make it happen.
get offensive drives pushing and
Special.
do things. So Justin Herbert has already shown me that even the floor of the supporting cast with him, it's still an above average offense.
We're, what, 2 weeks away from week one, basically?
Oh,
No,
we're so
I
locked
think the Chargers are going to start off as one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
What's their
I
ceiling?
think
Wins?
they're gonna go 10-7 to make the playoffs.
Okay, I was
Ooh,
thinking 9 and 8.
I bet you they won't.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I bet you
Jim
they won't.
Harbaugh, baby, and actually Herbert will win a playoff game before Tua. That's my other prediction.
Brother just choked the playoff game like 2 years ago.
That's my other prediction.
Okay.
Herbert will win a playoff
Bet?
game before
Bet?
Tua wins a playoff
Bet?
game.
Nope.
Bet?
No,
Oh, you're a Herbie guy.
I do like Herbie, even
Even
though I
though
wish
you-
I don't. But I
Damn.
am.
That's just me to make it a little Herbert versus Tua action because everybody loves
I
that.
refuse to do that personally.
But ultimately, I think the Chargers are going to surprise people. The start to their schedule is extremely easy, and they will be, if not 5-1, they'll be 4-2 at the start of their season.
Okay.
Their schedule is that easy. Like if you go through it, you're gonna see like there's just a whole lot of wins early on, and people are gonna start to notice, wow, the Jim Harbaugh effect early on. Herbert's gonna play really well. I think Herbert, because of his supporting cast, has really gotten underrated.
the
and
roster
people
is
don't give him
just underwhelming.
yeah, but I think the Chargers are in a position to where if they start off like that, like they're 4-2, they can make a trade for at least like a good starting wide receiver.
How many
to
are
add.
available like that though?
I think they get available all the time. There's always somebody available on the open market.
Yeah.
It's hard. NFL, I feel like midseason trades are usually tough to pull
So
off.
like McCaffrey getting traded was mind blowing
Yeah.
The last
mid-season.
time I seen a wide receiver that was an above average starter get traded mid-season was Emmanuel Sanders with the when he got traded to the Niners.
I mean, we're talking about shit. How many years ago is this now?
To be
5,
fair, I'll give you the
but it
benefit of the
happens out
doubt.
of necessity. and
I'll
the
give
Chargers
him the
need it.
benefit of the doubt. Some big names have been traded at the halfway point. Von Miller got traded to the Rams. CMC got traded to the Niners.
It's
You
been
just
more
mentioned
often, for
Emmanuel
sure.
Sanders of recent, so it's fair. But that rumor has to start at some point during the season because right now, I guess we talk about Ayuk being available, but they're already talking about it being in the last stages of a
I don't
deal
think
with the
he's
Niners.
available,
So I
available.
don't know. As we stand right now, I'm not sure which receiver would be available. Maybe Devontae Adams, right? Like apparently there's turmoil, but is that
division.
in division? That's not really happening. So it's tough to look at receivers right now
That's
where
what
we
that
stand.
report that said like the Raiders start off bad. Devontae's getting moved.
Yeah, bring him to.
They said if
Unfortunate.
Antonio
Never mind.
Pierce didn't
Bring him
end
to
up
Philly.
getting hired, he probably would have got traded.
Buffalo.
Antonio Pierce
Either
really wants to
one's fine.
compete. You have to give him credit there.
He does. I mean, shit, they competed last year.
But they don't.
Fucking
They don't
smoked
have a
the Chargers.
quarterback. That's really their.
What's the name of
Achilles
starting
heel.
right? Minshew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They named him the starter. Wow.
No, I think he said some disrespectful shit. He was brutally honest Antonio Pierce.
Oh, I saw
yeah.
that. We were hoping that this could be the game that
He said they're both
decided
terrible.
Did he say that?
He basically said they're both not good and we're fucked.
More or less, he said neither of them been that
No,
impressive.
the Broncos and Minnesota absolutely fucked the Raiders.
I mean, you have Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew out there. Like, I don't know what he was
They're the
expecting.
worst QB room in the league.
Aiden O'Connell's just underwhelming. Like he offers nothing out of structure, and Minshew does a little bit. So that's why
He'll make
it makes sense.
more
really hate
big time
that shirt.
throws,
Yeah.
take more chances.
Adams is up in fantasy. If
No,
Minshew's the
Minshew
quarterback.
over AOC
Yeah,
for sure.
just
breaks it
blessed.
up. Oh,
I'm
for sure.
excited.
Like, I really
No.
do hate that shirt.
Something I was really
Shit's
shocked
hard.
about.
Nah,
That's the
respect
NBA
him
final shirt?
because you slept.
I'm still.
You know what they say? You know what they say,
Riff.
Riff?
What they say?
Doubt destroys dreams. Confidence builds empires.
Okay.
You said he was a bad defender.
Doubt.
Fucking idiot.
Steph
You would have
killed
destroyed
guys.
his dreams.
Did
I
you
don't
see
give a
his
fuck. That
perimeter
was like
isolation grades
Trump
for
was
the last
president.
couple of seasons?
No.
Jalen Brown. I think it's been like A across the board.
What was it?
A across the board.
Yeah, perimeter isolation defense.
He's about to come out with the shoe.
Really?
Didn't you kind of sleep on his defense too?
He agreed with me.
not like Riv. Not like Riv.
You're a liar.
Riv, you're
You
saying
have
he's
the
bottom
ultimate
I never
defender
said a
league.
guy like Jalen McDaniels should be better than Jalen Brown. Never.
I was just talking about that singular season.
No,
Jalen Brown
off ball he was
is
terrible though. Off ball he was terrible.
No, I agree.
That's what brought his
the
defense
off
down.
ball always had been a concern.
The on ball fell off when he was averaging 26.
Well,
games.
Lord have mercy, that on ball.
No, he locked the fuck in last year.
Bro locked up Luka. That shit was nuts.
Something I was really shocked about
Embarrassing in my opinion.
was Tua's
It never
comments
happened to my goat.
on Brian Flores. When he was on the Dan Le Batard show and he gave those comments about him, it shocked me. I think it's a for him, I guess a point in time where he feels comfortable because he just got paid. He
He
feels
can
like
reflect.
he can air out those grievances. I'm not shocked that Brian Flores treated him like he treated him. Brian Flores coming from Bill Belichick seems to me like a hard-nosed coach. And I think in this era, at least, I don't think tough love always works. It's always different for every player. But Tua, I was shocked that he was that vulnerable in an interview setting because now it's a talking point. Now we're talking about it, and maybe it's something that Tua just had to air out. I mean, he was asked the question, and he answered it directly and honest, so credit to him there. And I think we can agree that Tua has benefited from Brian Flores' departure with Mike McDaniel, having a coach that came in there and instilled confidence in him, crafted tapes and pages of just film of things he did well to improve his confidence. With that being said, I really don't like the disrespect that's being put on Brian Flores. We can acknowledge that he had a misstep with Tua. We can acknowledge that there are some growing pains for him to make before he gets another head coaching job. But with that being said, the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins with Brian Flores damn near have the same record. Brian Flores went 10-6 with the Dolphins with little to no talent. He won 9 games the year after. Brian Flores got some great defensive production. He was the guy that game planned for Sean McVay's offense in the Super Bowl, and it neutralized their offense. He's the same guy that he got to the Vikings. I thought there was no way in hell he could make this defense a respectable unit because of how much talent it lacked, and he made them one of the better units in the league by playing a defensive style that is so different from every team in the league with the zone coverages behind exotic blitz looks. Nobody else was willing to try those type of things. Brian Flores did. Because of his past with Sue in the NFL and with this Tua situation, I think it's unlikely he's going to get a head coaching job for a while. With that being said, the team that employs him as defensive coordinator is getting one of the best defensive minds in football, and they should be happy he's not going to leave anytime soon. And I know what he did with Tua was wrong, and I'm not defending what he did. But at the same time, that doesn't make him an awful coach. That doesn't make him an awful person. He had a way to where he coached football that was taught to him under Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick used to curse out Tom Brady even after he done won multiple MVPs and Super Bowls. That's just the type of environment that he grew up in with coaching. And when he was asked about Tua, he reflected on it. He said, there are things that I could do that are better. But what I'm not about to do is act like the Dolphins were bums with Brian Flores. I mean, this team was very competitive, and they were clearly in a rebuild. They didn't have Tyreek Hill. They didn't have Jalen Ramsey. They didn't have Bradley Chubb. They had an extremely underwhelming roster when it came to the talent. and he maximized it in the last 2 years he was there. So while Tua's playing well and doing his thing with Mike McDaniel, it's a credit to him that he's getting on track and he got paid. I think the question marks Brian Flores had on Tua are still pretty valid to this day. And even with, I will say this, he wanted Justin Herbert on draft night, which was, of course, the right decision in hindsight to get Justin Herbert. That doesn't excuse Brian Flores treating Tua like shit. Even if you don't end up with the quarterback, which ideally, if you're the head coach, you'd like to pick your quarterback. But even if you don't end up with the quarterback that you wanted, it doesn't excuse you to take it out on that guy that the team elected to draft. But ultimately, what Brian Flores did was wrong, but by no means is he an awful or terrible head coach.
I think he's a great defensive-minded head coach. I think being a defensive coordinator is the perfect position for him where he can focus on the defense. It's obvious that he has a specialty there. When he was with Miami, what he's been doing with Minnesota, he's done an exceptional job. But I think what he did in Miami and Tua makes him a pretty bad coach and kind of a bad person too. I think if you see Bill Belichick do things a certain way, right? And we could look at all of Bill Belichick's disciples. They've basically all failed. Josh McDaniels, Matt Patricia, Joe Judge, Brian Flores as head coaches. All of these dudes failed, and they failed pretty miserably. All of these guys are getting fired. All of these dudes, whether it's Joe Judge lasting a couple of seasons in New York, have been basically a catastrophic failure. So for Brian Flores to more or less be stuck in his ways and say, well, I saw Bill Belichick curse out Tom Brady and it worked for him, and say, that's what I'm going to do with Tua, I think that just shows kind of a lack of awareness. Because if you have Tua, you could try it for the first month. You could try it for the first few weeks of the regular season. Once you're at the end of year one, you see tough love doesn't work. You have to say, how do I figure this out? How do I make sure that my quarterback is in the best position to succeed? By telling him he's not worthy, by telling him he doesn't belong, by telling him he's a shit quarterback. None of that stuff is going to help you, your offense. It's not going to help you win games. I understand they went 10-6, they went 9-7. They overachieved by their standards. A lot of that was due defensively, because offensively, that team was a bit of a mess. Tua looked broken at times his first couple of seasons in the NFL. The offense as a whole looked really broken. I mean, Jalen Waddle broke the receptions record, and he was barely getting 1,000 yards because everything was underneath peppering him with targets, because they couldn't really scheme up anything, because offensively, they just weren't a very creative offense. So I think what Brian Flores did to Tua and did to Miami, if he was able to get out of his own way and realize what I'm doing is wrong, there's potential he could still be the head coach there. Because
what did he do to Miami?
I mean, I think he failed. He got fired.
He didn't fail in Miami. They came back off back-to-back winning seasons in Miami.
And he got fired.
Yeah, because of the lawsuit that was happening towards him. He also got fired because of the relationship with Tua.
Couldn't maximize the quarterback.
They picked Tua over Brian Flores, rightfully so. He's the quarterback. But ultimately, he didn't fail.
But what do all successful franchises in the NFL today have one thing in common? The head coach and the quarterback are in lock.
And it's not Brian Flores' fault that when he tried to go out and get Tom Brady didn't want to go to Miami. Like, Brian Flores was actively recruiting Tom Brady, who he had a private meeting in a yacht with the owner, and Tom Brady was in line to maybe go on the Dolphins. You're saying you would have had Tua instead of Tom Brady?
I think if you have the opportunity to get Tom Brady, that's fine. But why do we have to get to Tom Brady? Why can't we figure out Tua first?
Because Tua was bad.
You drafted
That's
Tua
why.
5th overall. To say he was bad also lacks context. You just gave Brian Flores a lot of the benefit of the doubt. But how many times have I been here to tell you, in that time period, Tua had one of the worst offensive lines in the league. And by one of, I mean the worst. He had a bottom 3 run offense. He had Jalen Waddle, to his credit, no one else. Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki. These are 2 of the worst separators in the National Football League. And that was his 2 and 3. We need to at least give him that benefit of the doubt where he was playing with the minimal. And yes, the defense was a huge part and the schedule as to why the Miami Dolphins were very successful in Brian Flores' last year. But they had multiple play callers also on the offensive side of the ball for Tua. He was put in a position to fail.
That was the best year with the multiple OCs, because they built an entire RPO system that favored Tua's play style.
And he
That's
succeeded
why
in
Jalen
it.
Waddle got
But you
pepper
said he was
targets.
bad.
No,
that was wrong.
Yeah, outside of the structure of what the offense was and the responsibility of it, when he was asked to do more, he didn't deliver in those moments. But Tua, if you take into account the offensive talent that was on the Dolphins at the time with Brian Flores, Tua didn't play all that bad.
That's exactly the point.
He played all right.
Yes.
In his rookie season, him and Ryan Fitzpatrick had similar stats. Jacoby Brissett in his second season, when Tua was in his second season, Tua's stats were a little better than his, but Jacoby Brissett, he played all right in that situation. Like, they built an offense to try and help Tua his second year with the RPOs. Now the talent, I mean, they lack talent. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But Brian Flores didn't have Teron Armstead like Mike McDaniel did, or Tyreek Hill. I mean, they got better in those areas. And yes, McDaniel is also an innovative offensive head coach that deserves the utmost credit. But essentially, this tenure with the Dolphins that Mike McDaniel has had with Tua is essentially the same thing Brian Flores had, just flipped. Now the offense is great, our defense is bad. With Brian Flores, the offense was bad, the defense was good. But I don't think I can't look at the record that Brian Flores had with that talentless roster in Miami and say he failed. Did he get fired? Yes.
Let me say this. I didn't get a chance to give my full statements. I agree with you. Other than the fact of what you said about Tua, which is what you essentially ended up coming back to, saying, considering situation, he didn't play bad. Agree wholeheartedly. I don't disagree with what you're saying about Brian Flores. I think that he is similar to a Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh is amazing coaching defense. Is he a great head coach where we stand right now? Not necessarily. Not great when it comes to time management, and his offense is always a mess. A great head coach has a good grasp of a little bit of everything. You look at a D'Amico Ryans. Yes, your defense is amazing. You're a defensive-minded head coach, but you also do a great job of hiring Bobby Slowick to now also manage your offense, and now you have, of course, now one of the better quarterbacks in the league in a C.J. Stroud. You can be a defensive-minded head coach and also have a grasp on your offense, or at least putting the people in place to have your offense succeed. Brian Flores, with his tenure in Miami, given circumstance, I don't think it was bad. The offensive personnel was not good. If you're going to say that Tua was a bad decision, if Tua was bad, this is where I start to have some pushback, because you drafted Tua, there was no real foundation in place for him at that moment, his rookie season and his sophomore year, for him to be successful, for him to prove himself validated for going at that number 5 spot, second quarterback off the board, and an all-time great quarterback draft class. But Brian Flores, we can agree, he was shitty towards Tua. That I will stand on. He was horrendous and definitely treated him unfairly considering the situation. That is where I look at Brian Flores and say, you are wrong. That is wildly incorrect on how you handle a situation. But I don't disagree with you. There are certain ways that you can teach individuals. I'm the type of guy that if you yell at me, I'll do it right the next time. I may not love it in the moment, but it will motivate me and drive me to want to be better. Not everybody has that same skill set. Not everybody has that same exactly, because we all learn a different way. How I learn is different from how he learns or how you may learn. Tua is in that way where I need positive reinforcement to be successful. He's gotten that with Mike McDaniel, and like you've mentioned, the offense has been wildly better. But to your point as well, the defense has been garbage, especially when they play against those high upper echelon offenses. So to me, it's a tale of two cities. And I agree with the side of Brian Flores in his tenure with Miami. For what his job was, he didn't do it to the best ability, but he was not bad. He was not a bad defensive-minded head coach. He was bad in terms of the decisions that he made on the offensive side of the ball. So for that, it makes him a bad head coach. He was poor in the way that he handled the Tua situation. But given circumstance, I think both were understandably validated in either one being bad, in terms of Tua's circumstance of not being the top 5 level pick at the time, and Brian Flores, of course, coaching a high level defense, but of course not being what it needed to be on the offensive side of the ball.
I may look at it a little differently. You know, I started my little coaching gig up this year, and I found it extremely challenging to deal with 9 to 10 different personalities, because like you mentioned, some guy may take tough love differently. Some guy may be a little bit more emotional. Some guy you got to kind of have to pull to the side. And I think as a coach, you know, what we've noticed, NBA, NFL, a relationship with your best player is probably the most important thing. You know, you see Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, you see Mahomes and Andy Reid. You know, even going to the NBA, you saw Michael Jordan, Phil Jackson, Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich. You know, I think, you know, it's so important, especially now with all the media attention and with all, you know, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, dealing with 52 players' emotions is probably damn near more important than knowing a defensive scheme at times, because you have to sit here and if your best player isn't on his A game, if emotionally he's broken down, you have to go figure that out. If your star offensive player just emotionally isn't in the right headspace, somebody died or something like that, that's something you got to deal with. And I think Brian Flores, he may have been great as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive coach, but at the end of the day, the relationship in the NFL that matters is a head coach and a quarterback. And if you are continuously being stubborn, and like you mentioned, like Bill Belichick's maybe one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen in life, but in terms of just his tree of guys that go out and spread out, it's actually the worst thing we've ever seen. None of them guys seem to find success. And you look at Brian Flores, the situation with him and Tua, how he was just given a little bit too much tough love and the stubbornness to not adjust or realize this is maybe not what's his best way of learning. I think that's just as bad as not being able to coach up an offense, not being able to coach up a defense, because you have to deal with the constant, like if you're a quarterback, you have to deal with the constant blunder of your head coach shitting on you, your head coach talking bad on you. And this is your day-to-day work. This is you coming here every day and you see him on a day-to-day basis. So I think I wouldn't, like you mentioned, I wouldn't say he's a bad coach, but like when you can't deal with player emotions and when you can't deal with the fact that you're giving shit to your quarterback and it's not what he needs, I find it really hard to just not say you didn't do a bad job.
You failed.
I just feel like
I agree with that.
When we talk about football, and maybe I'm just overgeneralizing here, because football is a very violent sport. Usually the personalities that are in football are able to take those critiques more harshly than in other sports. But when I look at examples, pretty much like looking at the Celtics with Ime Udoka, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Ime Udoka was challenging and calling them out every single night. And he was doing it in a tough love type of fashion and really getting in their grill. And they took that and they improved. You look at Sean Payne with Russell Wilson this past year. He treated Russell Wilson like shit.
Absolute garbage.
But also with Russell Wilson's play, I mean, I don't really overly blame him for how bad Russell Wilson was. Do I think that Sean Payne has all of a sudden changed and he's now coddling Bo Nix and tucking him in with the playbook? Like, I don't. I think he's coaching Bo Nix as hard as he coached Russell Wilson. He probably just doesn't snap on him because he's not making those mistakes that Russ made. With that being said, Brian Flores, this was not the quarterback he wanted. And did he let that get in the way of the relationship? I think that's a very fair statement to make. But when you're a head coach and you feel like you have control over a franchise, you want your quarterback. And I'm not saying he's perfect. You know, I will say the Herbert moves and the Tom Brady moves to try and get those guys were the right moves. But he also tried to get Deshaun Watson. And at the time, we had a different view of Deshaun Watson. But knowing what has transpired now, it was going to be an awful move. Ultimately, what I come back to with Brian Flores is I just go back in time to that Dolphins team who got investigated for actively tanking. And what he was able to do, the success that team was able to have, despite the teams they played, with the defensive schemes that he put in place, I just felt like he overachieved given what the talent was.
He definitely
in the roster.
He definitely
Can we call it
overachieved.
success though?
He overachieved. I don't know if you could be a success if you get fired so quickly, but I think the bigger issue is it's just being stubborn. Like there's times where, for example, we'll come to the podcast, I don't want to do this fucking number 1 overall pick draft. Am I about to just sit here and be like, all right, Rip, you go. You know, you got it. Like at some point, you still have to embrace what you're doing and whatever it was given to you. He might not want to. That's fine, right? But he could have, just as easy as he was correct, taking Herbert over Tua, he could have been wrong. And Tua could have been that fucking dude, and he could have been out there. And if he treated him the right way, all of a sudden you have a franchise quarterback. So just assuming off rip, like, nah, Herbert was my guy. since I didn't get my guy, I'm just going to treat Tua the same way I would have anybody else, no matter how he reacts. If Tua doesn't like the way I act, that sucks. Sucks for him. What, you're going to just waste the number 5 overall pick because you don't have the awareness to be like, nah, I got to change. I feel like most head coaches or in the NBA and in the NFL, of course, you have to have the mind. You got to be smart offensively, defensively, whatever your specialty is. But like Riv mentioned, it's also about adjusting yourself to these other personalities. And we're not talking about some fucking offensive lineman or an edge rusher. We're talking about the quarterback of the team. We're talking about the guy that matters the most on the team. Why wouldn't you go out of your way to make his life easier? If Tua has to, number one, battle defenses every week, right? Going up against great defenses, great defensive coordinators and play calls. He has to overcome a terrible offensive line. He has to overcome terrible weapons. Why do you have to pile on top of that and say, I'm just going to tear down your confidence. I'm going to make every day bad for you when I know this hurts, when I know this sucks. I'm just going to make it tougher and tougher. That's where I don't get it.
And
I don't get that
did he
part.
lie when he spoke on the Dan Le Batard show? Like, Riv, if I tell you, yo, bro, you're fucking terrible at this podcasting shit. You should never go on a microphone ever again. Or if I say to you, yo, bro, you're one of the best to do this shit. Yo, you genuinely have a natural talent for this. You should keep going. There's nobody better than you on a microphone. It's a lot easier to want to come in here and sit here and talk when I got positive shit said to me. Sure. When you're reading it's just kind of like anything in life.
Even if it's just like, you're not good. Yo, bro, I need you to lock in. I need you to get better. Like, just common
There's
motivation.
different ways of saying critiques.
And if he thinks Bill Belichick and Tom Brady had this relationship, that's just arrogance. That's thinking you're just you're over your head if you think I'm gonna do I'm gonna do my shit the way Bill and Tom did it, the best who ever did it. There's no way you could
talk
do that.
to Tom Brady like that.
I do think though that being coached hard in the NFL is way more common than we think. I don't
disagree with that.
I think if out of 32 coaches, I think 28 of them coach that type of very rugged style. Even when you look at someone like Kyle Shanahan, how long has Brendan Ayuk been one of the most talented players?
For sure.
And how long was he in the doghouse because he wouldn't fucking block right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that is the type of coach that Kyle Shanahan has been. He gets on Purdy. He's got it on other guys too. That doesn't mean you can't praise them. You praise them when
shitting on them every day.
But I think and we don't know exactly. Listen, I'm gonna take Tua's word for it that Brian Flores did do that, and I don't totally discount that happened. But ultimately, Tua right now we can say is in the most picture perfect situation for not only offensive infrastructure and the scheme that he's running, but also Mike McDaniel and the positive reinforcement and just the difference in style that he is as a coach from Brian Flores. And Tua's still not viewed as a franchise quarterback.
I mean, he is. He just got paid.
He's not a franchise quarterback.
He did get paid.
He just got paid franchise.
Miami
quarterback
thinks
money.
he's a franchise quarterback.
Also,
Miami had to pay
picture
him.
perfect offensive infrastructure. Let me see a great offensive line in front of him, and then I'll agree.
You don't think
Jared Goff has a picture perfect.
It's like an 8 out of 10.
You don't
perfect.
think-
Yeah, agreed.
It's not
I
perfect,
agree.
but like
It's a
8 out of 10. I agree wholeheartedly.
it's a
pretty damn
top.
fucking
It's amazing.
good.
It's a top 3 offensive situation in the league.
Who's in a better offensive situation,
49ers
Patrick
and the
Mahomes or Tua
Eagles.
Tagovailoa?
Tua.
Eagles.
Patrick Mahomes has a great offensive line, has
Eagles.
arguably the best offensive play caller
You mean
in
the guy
Andy
who
Reid.
had the most drops amongst wide receivers last
Travis
year?
Kelce and Rasheed Rice.
I'll give you a better one.
he's
Eagles.
top like 5. Miami's like top 5, 6.
What are you
I'll give you a
saying?
better
think
one.
Oh yeah,
Eagles.
Eagles for sure.
I think KC. I think
If
Detroit.
Tua was on the Chiefs, they wouldn't even have made the playoffs last year.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes.
We're
Yes,
just- we're just
he
saying.
carried that offense. It's not a great offensive infrastructure.
Well, the
It's
offensive
not-
line
is fucking
is
amazing.
great.
It is, but
And Travis
the
Kelce also
receivers-
was banged. It seemed as if he was banged up for
He was,
majority.
but they have
of the-
Andy Reid.
And
Last
then
year's
in the
receiver core was
postseason,
very
The
bad.
receivers dropped the ball at a 7% rate, the most. The league average is 3.5.
Rasheed
I wouldn't
Rice
say
didn't
it's
get
horrible,
significant
though. It's like
burn
mid.
until.
No, it's not the Dolphins' infrastructure, though.
No, it's not close.
The Dolphins are a better offensive infrastructure. They are.
I think compared to last season, because the Chiefs really, outside of Rasheed, there wasn't any other receiver. Of course, Travis Kelce.
But it took them until week 8 to get him heavily
That's on
involved.
them. Should've
And then
fucking had
now
that right
going
after
into
week
this
1.
season, Hollywood is banged up that it'll be a few weeks, but you spend a first round pick on Worthy. Rasheed Rice coming into year 2, he's only going to get better, especially with more snap percentage. Kelsey, 34 years old, with the way that he just looked in the playoffs,
He's still
I'm
that
not
dude.
counting on a
Yeah.
regression.
He's
I
still
am
that.
not doing that. 355 yards, I believe 4 touchdowns, one of the 2 in the postseason alone. unbelievable
When it
run.
mattered, he turned it up and said, "Yeah."
And then Isaiah Pacheco is a really good running back, and will be one of the better running backs this season.
Shane are arguably better.
Oh, listen, I'm not disagreeing that Miami's offense is great.
Top 5. I'll be honest.
It should. Yeah, I don't.
And
I
if you
think
have one of the 5
talent-wise,
best
the
infrastructures in
offensive
the league,
line is not
Yeah,
good.
no, the talent-wise,
It's really
though.
not
Like,
good
Tyreek
though.
Hill,
what quarterback wouldn't want to play in Miami's offense?
No, every quarterback would.
It's a
But the
perfect
offensive
infrastructure.
line is. But I don't agree.
When Teron
it's perfect.
Armstead plays, their pressure
I'll
rate
be
is
honest.
top 3 in the
Having
league.
Reek and Waddle kind of cancels that, bro. They're so
And
fast.
But then you
H&M.
can't blame Tua for being a quick read type
No,
of
it's
quarterback.
No, you don't blame Tua. I mean, he's doing his job, but you do
So
blame
why
Tua
don't you say that he's not a franchise quarterback?
because when he plays good opponents and in cold weather, he's not good. That's why. I mean, the Dolphins have had the same records basically damn near when Brian Flores was the coach, and they've been awful in the months that matter the most to making the playoffs and making a deep run. Of course, the playoff game was terrible. Whatever, it was cold. What was the reason that he was in that cold weather? Because he choked down the stretch. That's really what it was.
They lost to Tennessee, and we've had this conversation a trillion times, so we won't get into it too much. I firmly believe the defense is the main reason they lost to Tennessee.
It was a part of it. I mean,
No.
I'll be honest, it's on both. You're a 2
It
touchdown
was definitely
game,
on both.
fucking 2
And I'm not
minutes.
going to let you get away with saying it was just a defense because when you watch the game and how those events transpired, for one, the Dolphins defense got a fumble recovery that led to an easy touchdown from the offense. So the Dolphins defense did make a big time play. But you look at what happened.
3 minutes left.
The
Up
Titans,
14.
The Titans scored.
It's on both.
on.
It's
The,
on both.
the
3
Titans scored.
minutes.
It's on both.
3 minutes.
You
Yeah,
want to know why
get
it's
a
on
first
both?
down.
You want to know why it's on
Come
both?
on, man.
The Titans scored. The Dolphins had a chance to ice the game with a first down. They went 3 and out. And then the Titans scored again. If the Dolphins don't go 3 and out, then they win the game. And there was somebody open on third down that Tua could have hit for the first down.
I hate when you say shit like that because who
I mean,
really?
watch it. He was open.
It's
What we're
definitely
just
like
saying.
70% defense, but I can't be like, you know what?
All right.
Offense, you did your
I
job.
agree.
What was the final of that game?
I agree. They lost by.
No, what was final score?
Oh, no, it was a lot of points. It was
Tua,
like 30
Tua
something.
threw for less than 220 yards in that game, if I'm not mistaken. Tua didn't play well in that game.
They went on
Oh.
cruise control.
Wasn't it like a Monday night game, like double
It was.
Monday night
It was.
double header?
We talk about that game so much.
We
The
do.
Titans game.
We should have it memorized by heart.
Have it
It was
by
28-27.
How much yards did Tua throw for?
Crying.
Against one of the worst pass defenses in football.
240.
240.
He got sacked 5 times.
Okay, how many interceptions did he have? Touchdowns?
0.
0, 1 touchdown?
0 touchdowns, 0 INTs.
So he was painfully mid. That's not a franchise quarterback. Against the Tennessee Titans on primetime to clinch the AFC East, a franchise
be
quarterback
honest,
wins
no
that
He
game.
got
touchdowns is
sacked
crazy.
5 times.
No touchdowns is fake crazy.
Connor Williams got hurt in this game.
They could use Brian
They
Flores
still
as
had.
DC.
Didn't Teron Armstead play in that
He's
game?
never.
Hell,
I don't know.
He's gonna tell.
It was
he's gonna
Tennessee.
Tell Mike, like,
I
you know, our
wouldn't
quarterback's
put
a
it past
bum.
him sitting. I'm not sure, though.
Even with Connor Williams going out, and I'm not discounting that he had to go through things, but when you look at, I mean, going through injuries to key players on your offense, defense happens to every team.
does.
I mean, Mahomes literally.
Oh, I lied. It was 240. They scored with 240 left in the second and then scored another touchdown at a minute 49.
What were the final drives for Miami? It was 3 and out, and then what? They got stalled because the Tua had a chance after the Titans scored to just get a field goal and win the game. He
much
had
time was left?
opportunities to play.
When Tua got the ball the last time, they had a minute 29.
That's more than enough.
Wait,
time.
I'm lying. That's how long the drive was.
Oh, so at least
It was
29.
a minute 49.
Oh my God! You 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'll
that's
be
2
honest.
minutes.
You got 2 drives. That's
You got
tough.
2 drives and you don't.
He
convert.
got sacked on 4th down, 4th and 2.
Yeah, and 4th and 2, a great quarterback scrambling again at first. I'm sorry, they are.
Okay, just reaching
They
on
are.
a bunch
No,
of
I'm
shit.
not because he had multiple chances and
He
choked.
was not mobile.
But he choked in that game. It is what it is.
I'm not agreeing to
You
that.
can say that the defense played bad and this also happened to injuries.
Give
Tua
14
also
points in
didn't play
under 3
bad.
minutes.
But did Tua play good in that game? No, he didn't.
Okay. I mean, they were up 14 points with him playing
Did Tua
painfully
play?
mid.
Okay, yeah. And
Right,
then he,
in your
Are
eyes.
we
then he
just gonna
didn't
ignore the
convert.
two
No, you said
offensive
70
drives?
to 30. I don't disagree with that. I
Yeah.
think that's very fair.
But like the offense has a part here.
Let me
No,
ask y'all
agreed.
something. Let me ask y'all something.
But I'm primarily blame. You said 70%. Wholeheartedly will shake your hand. Facts.
In my opinion, a franchise quarterback is somebody that I don't have to question or worry about when we're in a big time moment. Whenever the Dolphins are in a big time game, what is the biggest worry? It's how is that guy gonna play?
Tua's missing a signature moment, a signature game for him. That's for sure.
He's going into year 5. Relax.
I mean, he's had time to have those moments.
Year
He's
5
choked.
should have.
He's choked.
He's been hurt.
I guess Herbert's probably the only quarterback that doesn't have
what
it.
is Herbert's signature moment?
Yeah,
He probably
losing
he doesn't
after
have
being
one.
up 4 touchdowns. That's his signature moment.
Relax,
and I
Herbert
like him.
Stop. You're getting too loud.
Even with that, Justin Herbert has way more game-winning drives and fourth quarter comebacks than
Believe
Tua,
it.
and his
Tua
defense.
does have Baltimore.
His
Yeah,
defense.
and also the Chargers. Ironically enough,
Justin Herbert's
the game
defense,
the worst game of
remember
Tua's
that game.
career before the Chiefs game. I'll say that's his worst game, even though people lost their fingers. He came back the next season and lit them up for over 400.
He did destroy them.
Yeah, it was the same scheme Brandon Staley used. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't
was
difficult. I'm
fire.
saying Mike McDaniel also carved him apart. Like he also did that too. Like the game plan they had against
Mike
Brandon
McDaniel.
Staley was
I just all right.
Shout out Mike
Next
McDaniel.
topic.
He's a
Top
goat.
5 teams in the NFL. I'm over it.
It's midnight.
No way, is it?
Yes.
Damn. Oh, we don't have to. I mean, we should.
Well, the top
It's-
5
it's
teams.
easy.
It is the top 5 teams in the NFL. Number 5, the Philadelphia Eagles, and this is a cumulative ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5 was the Eagles.
Where did you have them? I'm curious.
I had them at like 7, 8.
Okay. I actually, as I thought more and more about it, I moved them up my rankings for the idea that they addressed a lot of their concerns outside of linebacker. That's still a concern if I look at the Philadelphia Eagles, but going to the draft, Quinyon Mitchell, to me, who I think was the best cornerback prospect off the board, Cooper DeJean, shout out. He now comes in. I don't know if he'll be playing safety or not.
Playing safety.
That which makes sense. You bring back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. That is obviously going to be a huge boost to the secondary. Although was banged up last season, the year before that led the league in
James
interception.
Bradbury still sucks.
Bradbury's not good.
He's a safety now.
He's done.
Doesn't play
Isaiah
cornerback.
Rodgers was suspended last year. Will come back this year. There's depth at the cornerback position that they did not have last year. On the offensive side of the ball, you lose Jason Kelsey. That's a huge blow. Your offensive line's still going to be great. Jalen Hurts now healthy, huge. Saquon Barkley in the backfield, enormous. A.J. Brown, Smitty, arguably top 2, top 3 wide receiver duo in the National Football League. On the defensive line, excuse me, you did lose Reddick to the Jets. Fletcher Cox does retire, but Jalen Carter now gets more snaps. That's a win. Bryce Huff, have to see how that transpires in terms of he wasn't great in the run, but obviously he's great to get into the quarterback. The defense should be a lot better than it was last year. Offense should be a lot better than it was last year. That's going to translate to successful.
With new DCs and OCs.
Kellen Moore and, of course, Vic Fangio. This team's better than it was last year.
Listen, I'm pessimistic on the Eagles, and the reason why is because a lot of their success relies on ifs, on if this happens, if that happens, if this happens.
Is it?
One thing we know
Is that not true with the Chargers?
I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
This is the thing. One thing we know about the Eagles is Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts don't get along. Vic Fangio, they don't. They don't.
They had a rough, rocky patch.
Vic Fangio comes from Miami, a place that he just got fired from. He is respected. You know, he is one of the innovators in how a lot of defenses play today. But in Miami, with better defensive personnel, was not good there calling defensive plays. And I'm supposed to believe he's going to suddenly fix the Eagles, who have worse personnel. I look at their defense. They didn't do anything at linebacker to make me feel more confident about them. So the run defense, I think, is still going to be pretty bad. Fletcher Cox retires. Last year, Josh Sweat didn't make much of an impact. Brandon Graham is now a year older. On the defensive line, Jalen Carter, I love his upside. But there are 2 different parts of Jalen Carter last season. The first start of the season, he was really good. He was amazing. In the second half, he totally disappeared and was a shell of himself as a player. Jordan Davis has not developed like how we would have hoped thus far. He hasn't done it yet. And then Nolan Smith is getting reps with the third teamers in preseason. This defensive line that Howie Roseman has invested into, outside of I think Bryce Huff's going to be a star in this pass rushing role with the Eagles. This defensive line is a far cry from the defensive line that went to Super Bowl when they got the most sacks ever in the season. This is not that same level of defensive line. And when you're trying to sell me on rookie corners coming in and making an immediate impact, when that position historically has struggled with rookies, and Quinyon Mitchell is coming from a very weak college conference, there's a lot of things that got to go right. Isaiah Rodgers suspended 1 year. I'm sure that's going to affect them. Darius Slay being a year older, he's now 33 years old, and corners tend to drop off at that type of age range.
We've seen like over the last 2 or 3 years, corners come in and be really good though.
Wait, what rookie? Who?
Joey Porter's come in, Tariq Woolen's come in, Sauce has come in, Devon Witherspoon's come in, Derek Stinley's come in. Like,
all right, how many have
dudes.
failed though? Elam has been a failure.
Who?
For Elam, the first round pick. There are more.
Don't be pessimistic though. I mean, Quignon's a great.
I'm not
prospect.
being pessimistic. I'm saying I'm not relying on the Eagles as a whole. I don't think the corner because they have different expectations.
To me.
That's they have different expectations. The Eagles,
insane.
I'm not counting on their rookies to make huge immediate impacts and shore up the major holes they have at the secondary. I think they can be okay, but are they going to be above average starters in year one? I don't.
All they need to do is be okay. They were bad last year.
And then with the offense,
just having bodies is a win.
I think having just the stars on offense will make up for a lot of things. But how much of a drop off does the tush push now take with Jason Kelce not being there? Jason Kelce, who was a fixture in managing the protections of the offense and calling out those things, was there for a long time. There's now more responsibility on Jalen Hurts.
If they're at the 1 yard line, no Jalen Hurts. Here you go, Saquon. Have fun. They're good.
Us losing the tush push is going to be a big drop off.
The tush push was a 90% play.
We just picked up Saquon Barkley.
Saquon is amazing at the goal line.
And you lost Jason Kelce. That's going to make an impact on the
But we just picked up Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, but okay.
We still have Lane.
I love Saquon.
We still have Jordan. Yes. Like we still have dude.
The offensive line's still goated.
And I look at the Eagles last year, and we look at the collapse they had in the second half of the season. When they started off 10-1, they weren't an elite team. They won a ton of close games. Even the first week of the season,
great comp.
The first week of the season, they faced a Patriots team that they only won by 5 points. One of the worst teams in the NFL. The Eagles, to me, were
fool's gold.
Exactly what they ended up as a team that lost in the wild card, and I think they're not a Super Bowl contender this year. They're not.
I think their floor is really safe. Like, I get it. The ceiling, there's some questions there because you're bringing in new coordinators. Defensively, there's a lot of potential issues, especially with rookies and guys moving on and bringing new guys in. But their floor, to me, seems really safe. Like, I think this is a team that should be favored to win the division. This is a team that should very easily win double-digit victories.
If you get to us, anything could happen.
And I think moving on from Brian Johnson going to Kellen Moore is going to be a big uptick, too. I mean, this was a team that was dead last in terms of motion rate. Kellen Moore has been atop all of the NFL when it goes to Dallas with the Chargers, especially when Justin Herbert was healthy, among the league leaders in motion. And when you look at all the best offenses, motion is basically littered through the top 10 offenses in the NFL. So the ceiling of Super Bowl, TBD. But I still think Jalen Hurts has potential to be top 5 quarterback any given year. This offense is so stacked with star power and great offensive line. To me, the question really just comes from the defense. If Bryce Huff is able to take another step in his development and become a 3-down player, of course, Hassan Reddick, it's going to be hard to replicate.
Replace him.
Yeah, replace him for sure. But we saw Bryce Huff in limited snaps be one of the best, most efficient pass rushers in the NFL. So I think he get double-digit sacks. That secondary is concerning, though. If you can't stop the run, if you can't stop the pass,
the Eagles are nice.
What are you doing
How
offense
many
is
Super Bowl
worrisome.
contenders in the NFC?
The Lions, Niners fully healthy, the Packers.
I don't see how the Eagles are not in that conversation.
They're not. They're not.
The Eagles aren't in that similar
I don't see how the Eagles are not in that
group with the
conversation.
Packers.
You're assuming the Packers defense
That's
steps
unfair.
up.
The Packers defense has to take a huge lead.
The Packers last year were a top 12 defense in the league.
You didn't
They
feel
were
that
12th
way,
in
though.
points allowed.
Yeah, but I didn't feel that way.
No, I didn't. But they have the talent of that. The thing is that
Wasn't
the
that
Eagles
towards the
lack that
back end of
talent.
the year?
I think the Eagles have the talent to do it.
They
They
do.
don't have the talent.
I think you're
to be one of
relying
the
on some
better
rookies and
defenses.
some young players, but
They
they
don't.
have talent.
They don't.
So, okay.
Right. I mean, the Packers relied on a lot of rookies last year.
I think the Eagles are like a 9-10 win team. They're not going to win like 11 or 12 or 13 games. They're not.
I'll take over 9 wins.
You want to do 10?
Bro, 9 is
10 or more?
hilarious.
Or you wanna do 11?
It's hilarious.
10 or more,
I'll
I'll
give you
take
10 and a half.
10 or,
If
if
they're
or
going to
more.
win the NFC East,
10 or more.
they should win 11
10 or
games.
more. 11?
A Super Bowl
Close.
contender should win 11 games.
What's our schedule?
Sometimes you get a
Not
wild card and get
necessarily.
hot.
That's a fact. That's really the truth.
I mean, every Super Bowl contender last year won 11 games or more.
Who's the Super Bowl contender? Your Cowboys? Is that who you're pointing at?
Well, they won 12 games, but even if they're
they
not
were
one,
hilariously not one.
yeah, they were way better than the Eagles, though.
Way
even
better.
last year they were.
They got smoked by 30 at home.
They both
against
lost in the
a
same
Packers
round.
team. You got smoked by the Buccaneers.
We lost on the road. They were in their building
got
and
smoked
lost
Now,
at
the
home.
Eagles were cooked going into that game.
Yeah, like we
Everyone
were
knew it.
already done. They went into a home game and lost by 30.
What did the Eagles do this offseason to make sure a repeat of what the Cardinals did to them doesn't happen?
Get a new OCDC. Bro, I
Cardinals?
don't think you
Or
realize
you
how
saying the
bad our coaching
Buccaneers?
staff
No,
was
Cardinals. Because the Cardinals,
end of the last regular season game or
ran
whatever it was.
the shit out of the ball on them.
last year. Yeah, for
And
sure.
was
You know
it-
our offense wasn't that good that game.
okay, but I'm saying,
Like, I
what
don't
did
think
they
you
do on
realize how
defense?
I don't think you realize how bad our coaching staff
No,
was. last year.
your offense was good that game. Yes, it was. Look
No,
at
the
Jalen Hurts
offense,
stats.
yeah.
Jalen Hurts had
I know
300
we
yards,
put,
two
I know we
touchdowns
put
in
up
that
a
game.
lot of points, but if you watch the game, we were stagnant a good amount of time.
You guys were ass against almost every bad team down the stretch, which is why I
you
think
lost 6
you
of the last
guys,
7?
and you guys didn't really do that much. You guys made a big splash move in Saquon Barkley, but it's not going to really move me much in the landscape of what this team looks like. You got
We're
the
gonna make the
Eagles,
playoffs.
the Eagles and the Cowboys this year. Even with the Cowboys not making offseason moves at all,
Yes,
they're
I do.
neck and neck.
Yeah,
the Cowboys defense is more
yes.
talented than Eagles defense.
Yes, I'm
100%.
sure. Yeah,
Are they
yes.
not?
Jalen Hurts threw for 167 yards,
Our offense was not that good.
3 touchdowns, 1 INT, had a passer rating of 118. Pretty good.
You're right. 300. I was bugging because the Cardinals chewed the fuck out.
No,
the
but
clock.
118 passer
I
rating is
know.
amazing.
He had
I
3
don't think it was
touchdowns
that.
in
I
that
don't think it
game.
was that game. He threw 300. I think it was Seattle.
But he did throw an INT to end the game, if I'm not mistaken.
This was
He
the
did in that
Cardinals game.
Seattle game. He definitely threw the iron.
Listen, I'm in a mode where the Eagles are going
No,
to
I'm
have
right.
to.
He did throw an INT to end the
The
game.
Eagles are going to have to win my trust back based off how
we
last
got Green
season
Bay.
ended.
We got Green Bay the first week.
Oh yeah,
So-
you're going to lose.
Oh, that's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, we got Green Bay the first week. So
That's going to be a very.
we got
easy
Green
out
Bay
for you
first. We
In
got
Brazil.
Atlanta.
Can't wear green.
Green Bay, Atlanta, then the Saints, then the Bucks, then Cleveland, then the Giants, the Bengals, Jaguars, Cowboys, Commanders, the Rams, the Ravens, the Panthers, Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants.
Oh, yeah, it's
this
not
is
a tough
11.
schedule.
This is an 11-win team.
Okay.
I see that.
Even on our worst, even on our deathbeds, which was last year, we were an 11-win team.
So who we got in our top 4, man?
Well, the fourth team, if I'm not mistaken, who is it?
I believe
Because
it's.
I really know our top.
I
Our
believe
top
it's.
three.
I believe it's San
Detroit.
Francisco. No.
Oh, is it the Lions? at four?
Yo.
I think it might have been Detroit.
I think it's the
had
Lions.
we had the Niners at 4,
Okay.
the Lions at 3, Ravens at 2,
Facts.
Chiefs at
I
1.
thought so.
Yeah, I mean the 49ers at 4. I think they should be a little bit higher based off their ceiling, but based off how this offseason has been going, a lot of things feel kind of off with the Niners with CMC's injury.
Vibes are definitely down.
Trent Williams hasn't reported yet. Brandon Ayuk is close to getting that contract extension, but we'll see once he finally gets it. There's a lot of things going on with the 49ers that are making me kind of feel a little bit skeptical on them. But if they're healthy, this is one of the best teams in the NFC, just with the defensive talent they have, what they have on offense. But not having Trent Williams there, it could really derail parts
Comments
of
are
their season.
saying Jets Glaze podcast. Respect that. Man.
When it comes to power rankings, you know, especially when it comes to these top 4, top 5 teams, every
Sorry,
instance
wait,
matters.
Where did you have Green Bay ranked?
In my top 10 list,
Yeah.
maybe like 7 or 8.
And
We had them 9 collectively.
you had the Eagles at 7 or 8.
Yeah, they were probably just one spot within each other. I think I might have put the
That's
Packers.
why
a little
just
bit
don't be
above
so
them.
hard-headed on saying that they're not Super Bowl contenders when you
They're
have
not.
the
Do
Packers.
Do you want to bet
not.
on the win total?
You want to bet that the Packers will win more games than the Eagles?
No, I want to bet that the Eagles will win more bet.
I actually
games
want to
than
just
the
do the Packers-Eagles bet straight up. If you're not
That's
confident,
exactly what. That's the bet.
That's what I said. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wins more games?
Yes. Okay, let's do.
I got the Packers.
All right,
You can
3
have
bets this fucking podcast. All right,
Love
cue it. Episode
I'm
400.
excited
3
for that.
bets.
And they play week 1. Oh my god, I can't wait to start.
Like I was saying, in an off season, when you have these top 5 teams, every news report, every transaction matters immensely. And the San Francisco 49ers right now, no Trent Williams, Brandon Ayuk, although in the later stages of apparently a contract extension, CMC also banged up. This hasn't been the kindest offseason to the San Francisco 49ers. On paper, they still do have one of the best rosters if Trent comes back. If, of course, Brandon Ayuk is there. If CMC is 100% healthy. No doubt. This is probably the second best team in the league. But with all the uncertainty right now with the Niners, right now, at least where we stand, that's kind of why I had them a little bit lower. I did have them at 4. So to me, this ranking was perfect.
Oh,
But when everything's sound, no doubt this is a top 2 team. But again, with the uncertainty right now that has been in the air with the San Francisco 49ers, that's the only reason I knocked them down a little bit. I still think that they're Super Bowl contenders. I still believe that at the absolute minimum, they are the second best team in the NFC. If all goes well, they can be the first team in the NFC. But the other team that we're going to talk about, who is the number 3 spot, I believe you already revealed it in the Detroit Lions. To me, that's fair. I look at Detroit. They have almost everything that you can ask for in a team, except maybe secondary. But probably you still can hope that you solidify it a little bit, especially with putting pieces in the draft that you use to solidify the cornerback spot. You traded for Carlton Davis as well. I still trust that the 49ers are going to be great. But again, with how this offseason has gone to plan, it's okay to have these other 3 teams in front of them.
I seen this report.
I actually think the Niners were 3. Excuse me. I had the Ravens at 4.
It made a good point. It was like CD, Ayuk, Jamar, they've missed a significant amount of time just about like getting reps and being
Training
in training
camp.
Yeah, and it could hurt them come like week 1 or 2. They could have them lingering injuries. And I didn't even realize that, like, when he said it, I was like, oh shit, wow, like Ayuk really he's been at practice, but he hasn't really been at practice. Same thing with CD. He has not been at practice. And that definitely could hinder them. But yeah, the Niners, as long as everybody's there, they're the second best team on this whole shebang. Like, they're the second best team. They're the best team in the NFC. Second best team in the league to me. They got Kittle, Brock, Trent, Ayuk. Like, they just got the bomb squad. They lack in depth, but what they lack in depth, they have in star power in almost damn near every position on the roster. So yeah, as long as I don't really feel like they should have been knocked, because they're still, all of them are technically on the roster, so they're still the best team in the NFC. But yeah, like you mentioned, they're at worst too, but probably still the best in the NFC.
Just want to clear it up. My top 5. I have the Chiefs, the Lions, the Jets, the Niners, and the Ravens.
What's working against the Niners this year is that they have minus 32 days total negative rest edge, which is the most in the NFL. What that means is that this would
I respect you for bringing up fucking random stats.
It's not
a good stat. Good stat.
It's
not random.
And the reason why it matters
random,
is
but
because
it does matter.
The most important thing in the NFL is having a rest advantage, having
Agreed.
a day or two where you can rest your body more than the opposing team. And no team is affected more by rest than the Niners this year. This year they play 7 games against teams with more rest, 3 games with a short week, and they're also on the road. And week 7 on, they face the 4th most difficult schedule of opponents. And they have a rest disadvantage in 6 of those 11 games after week 7 against KC, Dallas, Seattle, Buffalo, Chicago, Arizona. 5 of these teams are coming off their bye week. So you're giving 5 of these coaches an extra week to prepare against them. And what also hurts the Niners when it comes to rest is the fact that this is an injury-prone team. Last year, they were the 4th healthiest team in the NFL. But if you look at every single year that the Niners have been coached by Kyle Shanahan, they have been one of the most injured teams in the NFL. So last year was more so an anomaly of health from them. So not only are they coming into the season so far on training camp with key players hurt, but also they're going to have a disadvantage with their rest throughout the season, and that could lead to even more injuries. And I think that's something that can derail the Niners season and maybe lower the expectation for their ceiling a little bit more. I agree with the Lions being higher. I can't agree with the Ravens being lower, though, because the Lions, they made some splash moves. They got DJ Reader. They were already an elite run defense. And the Lions are a weird team because they blitzed a lot on 3rd down, and if they didn't blitz, they would have been a really great pass defense. The number one problem with the Lions was their pass defense. They were abysmal. That's why teams passed on them all the time. When you look at the splits when they pressured versus when they didn't, opponents passed at the 6th highest rate against the Lions. Their pass defense ranked 30th. 74% of all yards gained against them were with passing yards, the first in the NFL. And then I'm trying to look at this. Their 4-man rush, they were 9th in EPA when they just had a 4-man rush, and they were 7th in 3rd down conversion rate allowed as a defense with just sending a 4-man rush. When they sent a 5-man rush, when they blitzed, that dropped to 32nd in EPA per play and 24th in 3rd down conversion rate. If the Lions simply rushed 4 and dropped back 7, their pass defense would have been a top 10 unit in the league because they blitz on those downs. And part of the blitzing was because they had a top 5 pressure rate, but they were one of the worst teams at getting home and getting sacks. That's probably why they did it. But if they just allow their front 4 to get after it, and they got better with DJ Reader, this pass defense, there's a lot of room for growth. And that's why I think it's easily a top 3 team. Like between the Lions and the 49ers, given the Lions had a massive lead against them in the NFC Championship game, and I thought they got better at a lot of different positions in their roster, I think they are a better team coming into this year.
I think it's a coin flip between those two teams. I think offensive line is probably the biggest gap between these two teams. The offensive line of Detroit Lions is probably the best in football right now. Penei Sewell did go down with an injury in training camp.
Did see that.
Don't know how serious it is, but of course he's one of the best tackles in the game right now. So if they missed him for any amount of time, that would be a big impact. But I do think these two teams are really close. These are the two best teams, in my opinion, in the NFC. Packers and Eagles, not too far behind, but I do think they are behind these teams. When we just look at track record over the past couple of seasons, Detroit has just gotten progressively better and better under Dan Campbell, finally breaking through, winning a playoff game, nearly, as you mentioned, beating the San Francisco 49ers. But San Francisco has just showed year in and year out, as long as the quarterback is healthy, as long as he is upright, Kyle Shanahan is going to get this team to the NFC Championship really at a minimum. And I do agree that last season was a bit of an anomaly health-wise because they've had a lot of guys, whether it's been Debo, George Kittle, Nick Bosa.
Debo missed time last year.
Yeah, true. They've always had someone, one of their core guys injured. But I also look at previous years and feel like it's an anomaly on the other side where it just feels like everybody gets hurt all at the same time. So I do think it's somewhere in the middle. But as long as this team is healthy, man, as long as Brock Purdy is in there upright, it's going to be one of the most efficient offenses in the NFL. Kyle Shanahan, as we know, one of the best offensive play callers. Just really waiting for him to win that big game. And defensively, I think there's some holes you can pick on from this Niners team. They were top 10 in EPA last year from a defensive perspective, although there is some pieces I think that the Lions have improved on this past season, bringing in DJ Reed, bringing in Carlton Davis, as you guys mentioned. I just trust San Francisco going into next season based on the track record they've had. Of course, Detroit is kind of starting to build that track record, so we could go into the end of next season and, look at Detroit as one of those teams. And of course, we have these guys, in the top 5, so we think they're a Super Bowl type contender. But for me, it's just more so, all right, Detroit, you're kind of over that step. The handcuffs are off. We're all looking at you as one of the best teams in the NFL. Now you have that expectation for San Francisco. You've had these expectations. You've basically met them almost every single time as long as your quarterback's been healthy. Just about getting over that hump, getting that Super Bowl.
Listen, we can talk about the NFC Championship last year. The Lions gagged.
They did.
Up 2 touchdowns.
They choked.
They had multiple times where they were on the Niners side of the field. They could have kicked field goals, but listen, I respect Dan Campbell. He stuck to his convictions of being an aggressive, assertive, fourth down type of guy, going for it in those situations. And 9 out of 10 times, he proved himself right, except that 1 out of 10 happened to be in the NFC Championship game when it ended up costing them, unfortunately, a trip to the Super Bowl. They're a good enough team to beat the San Francisco 49ers. We saw that in the NFC Championship game if they went at it in a smarter type of way. I still look at the Niners and understand where you're coming from. They're unbelievable. Their talent is second to none. And honestly, a few plays go differently. We're talking about Super Bowl champions. True. However, the Detroit Lions on almost every front have everything under control. Terrion Arnold also did get banged up. Right now he is questionable, but you bring Carlton Davis. Brian Branch is a solid option, obviously one of the brighter spots in that secondary, but they at least tried to solve what their problem was. I just trust this Detroit Lions offense. I trust how sound it is, the offensive line, the great run game with the dual threat of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra being a top 5, top 6 wide receiver in the National Football League. You have Sam Laporta, who's already in conversation for top 3 tight ends in the game as well. Breakout out of Jameson Williams. I firmly do believe that this team has almost everything you can ask for. This is a Super Bowl caliber team. This is a team that can be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're that good. And right now, where they currently stand, they have no problems nothing that we've looked at in this offseason that can make us question them, maybe outside of Jahmyr Gibbs' hamstring. And even if that's the case, David Montgomery has proved that he can be more than serviceable as their running back option. So the Lions are going to be super fun to watch this season. It's going to finally come together for them 100%, where now there's expectations. Now there's pressure on them. And with the way that Dan Campbell coaches, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going to be ready for the task.
The last time this happened was 2021, where the best two teams in the NFC were the Rams and Niners. They both made the NFC Championship game, and the Rams ended up winning. I feel like the two best teams in the NFC are in the NFC North. I think it's the Lions, and I think it's the Packers. Those are the two teams that I'm the highest on, and I have been flipping back and forth between who wins the division and who doesn't, because I think the Lions have proven themselves more, but the Packers have Jordan Love.
Why don't you have the Packers higher?
Because they got to prove it to me still too. Like this is
That doesn't make sense.
I mean, I had
He
them
made
at
a
the top.
power rankings, but it's different from what he believes.
The
And
power
that's fair.
rankings isn't a projection. The power rankings is based off what happened last season and off-season additions. Where is this team now? And that the Packers were definitely a top 10.
So you
team for
don't
me.
think Green Bay is better right now
Than who?
than the Niners? That's what
I think it's a toss-up for me. The Niners and the Packers are toss-ups for me. But I lean with the Packers. I do.
So you do think Green Bay is better?
It's a toss-up for me.
It's okay for you to say the Niners are better.
If you think they're better, it's okay to
This
say
is the
Green
thing.
Bay is better.
Quarterback.
In my power ranking, the Niners get the edge because they just came off a Super Bowl loss, and they're still one of the most talented rosters in the league. Who I think will be better this season, I think the Packers will be better this
Okay,
season.
that's different, and that's
And,
okay.
and when we
That's
do
okay.
when we do our schedule predictions and when we do our
okay,
predictions
yeah,
for
see,
the
'cause
NFL, then we're gonna have a different
Yeah,
answer.
agreed.
But I
All
gave
right.
respect to the Niners, but I think the two best teams in the NFC will be the Packers and the Lions.
Okay, that's yeah. 'cause
And I think one of
that's
those
fair.
two teams, not trying to use this as a cop out, but one of those two teams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. One of those two teams. I'm not sure which one I'm buying
I'll hold you to it.
all in on yet. It probably will be the Packers because I'm very high on Jordan Love and what they've done with the defense. But the Lions, it's 1 and 2 for me in who's going to represent the NFC.
2 weeks out of opening day, we have to understand that the season is dangerously close.
Oh yeah, I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Also, and there's not many times that a team is overwhelmingly great and they don't drop off. I think that's probably why you had the Lions above the Ravens and you had them at 4. I know the Ravens lost a lot,
They beat the shit out of Detroit.
but I don't know. Like, when I look at what they
Embarrassing.
lost, I don't know how much really matters in totality.
I think losing defensive coordinator Mike McDonald
Is
probably
That's
the
the one.
biggest loss.
I'm excited to see they hired Zach Orr, former NFL
Baltimore's
player,
still so
formerly
tough.
played for the Ravens.
So much talent on
The
the team.
secondary players they have, they lost depth, but they didn't lose their stars.
All their stars.
And they added Nate Wiggins, who I
They
feel
did
like we
lose
haven't
two
given
starting
him.
offensive linemen, Morgan Moses, John
Facts.
Simpson.
But have you seen Rosengarten? He looks really good.
Yeah, he has been awesome.
Love that for them.
Who they have Linderbaum, Rosengarten, and
Stanley.
Staley.
You can make the
Stanley,
argument
excuse me.
Baltimore's still the second best team in the league.
They
Yeah,
are
you
number
can.
2. They are 2.
You can make that argument.
When Lamar's healthy, they just win so many regular season games.
And last year they beat. Not only they beat the shit out of Detroit, they beat the shit out the Niners too.
Yeah.
Like every NFC team that they washed.
They were smoking
everybody.
And watching back the AFC Championship game,
They could've won that game.
the Ravens folded against the Chiefs.
They gagged.
They could've won
The
that game.
Ravens, the Chiefs were one of the worst run defenses in football. And
pass
the
the ball.
Ravens at no point in the game
You saw
were
Buffalo.
down
We gonna
by
run this
one
shit down.
possession or more. At no point in the game. They had 3 early down runs all game long in the entire game. A team that its identity is built off of being a smash mouth football team, and they played in the rain as well. Now, to counter that, Lamar Jackson was number 1 in EPA against stacked boxes. So maybe he wanted to be, Tom Hawkin wanted to be a little bit smarter and say, you're planning against the run, okay, we're going to try to pass the ball in these situations. But they just didn't have the receivers to match up with Casey's corners.
Fuck no.
And that's what fucked them over in that game. But rewatching it, I felt like, man, the Ravens really let this opportunity slip because the Ravens, had they stuck to their game plan, I think they would have been the better team that game.
It sucks. I really wish. I know they went out and got Derrick Henry, huge addition. Him to Gus Edwards. I mean, it can't be overstated how much of an upgrade that is. I think Gus Edwards is an average back at best, and Derrick Henry still has
All-time
a
great.
ton of juice, in my opinion. I still wish they went out and got at least one other receiver. I love Zay Flowers. I think his, especially in like the short area quickness, ability to get open, even intermediately down the field, he has some juice as well. But if they could have just gotten just one more receiver to really put them over the edge, because you're probably gonna have to go up against Kansas City. You're gonna have to go up against those corners. Although the Jets, of course.
Good old Rashad Bateman, man.
I still wish they got shout out to Rashad Bateman. I still wish they just got one more receiver, and I would feel so much more confident about them. But, I mean, listen, when you have a healthy Lamar, you're probably going to win the division. You're probably going to compete for the number 1 seed in the AFC. You're going to have home playoff games. Can you beat Patrick Mahomes? Can you get to the Super Bowl? That's really the only question I have for them.
If Likely breaks out, do we need that receiver to do much?
Oh, no. They should run 12 personnel.
No,
it should be Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and then you have Zay Flowers on the outside.
I feel like going into last season, we were saying that Isaiah Likely should get more burden. Didn't happen. I feel like going to this season, I feel the same way.
Joel, we spoke about it on the fantasy reaction. Isaiah Likely was a huge part of the offense, and we already spoke about them playing 12 personnel. Mark Andrews had 6 touchdowns in 10 games, and this was, of course, all 6 touchdowns in the red zone, but Isaiah Likely had 5 touchdowns in that limited opportunity as well. 6 touchdowns was tied for second most in the league. 5 touchdowns was good enough to tie you for 7th place at tight ends.
They ran 12 personnel on 11% of plays. That was 27th in the NFL.
But I don't think they knew that Isaiah Likely would be as good as he ended up being.
Isaiah Likely the previous year looked really good when Andrews got banged up. Just a couple games. I think it was a game against the Bucks. He had a big game. And going to last season, I was like, Isaiah Likely is right up there with not Mark Andrews, but he is their number 2, number 3 receiving option, and they were still among the bottom league. I hope they do. I haven't seen anything to make me think they will. You know what I mean?
If they understand that Isaiah Likely is a top 3 receiving option for them, which obviously he was, Lamar trusted him enough to throw it in triple coverage in the AFC Championship games and end up losing them the game. They have such a strong rapport that you would be doing yourself a disservice if you did not go and play 12 personnel. Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends in the league. Isaiah Likely has a skill set to be amongst the top 8, top 7 tight ends in the game. He showed that in his opportunity when Mark Andrews did go down. He was extremely productive. I feel like I would rather an Isaiah Likely, and I'm sure that you guys feel the exact same way, over Rashad Bateman.
Easily.
And Rashad Bateman has a fan base, and I respect it. People are holding out hope. I get it. Give it up. Isaiah Likely is better. And that's not a bad thing. You have talent on your team. Having 2 tight ends is a good thing. When Lamar Jackson threw for, 35 touchdowns his second year when he won MVP, they ran a lot of that. So there's no issue in believing in that when that's your 2 best options, or 2 of your best options. Of course, Zay Flowers is him. But yes, this Ravens team is super fun. I'm fine with us having them at number 2. Yes, they are Super Bowl contenders. I thought last year was the year that they would put it all together and win the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, they fell short and choked against the Kansas City Chiefs. But this is a great team. Losing McDonald is something that I'm definitely looking into. How much does that change the defensive scheme? How much does that change the outcome of what the games will be? But Lamar Jackson's awesome. This offense should be fun. Derrick Henry getting added, it makes me extremely aroused. I'm looking at that situation, understanding Derrick Henry's the best running back that Lamar Jackson's had. He's made Devonta Freeman look good. A washed Devonta Freeman, I should add. Mark Ingram had his career rejuvenated with him. And, of course, I just saw Gus Edwards have a successful running back season because he's getting so many goal line opportunities. Yeah. Imagine what Derrick Henry's going to do.
And Derrick Henry's still one of the most explosive backs in the league.
Tennessee was just dog shit.
And he did that with a terrible offensive line in Tennessee. Yeah. Anything will be better than what he has.
We got anything to say about KC, or they're just the best in the league?
Fuck them. How about that?
I don't
Double
got
down
much.
on it,
Defense
bitch.
elite. You got the best quarterback ever. Got one of the best head coaches ever. They lost Snead.
I want to say this.
How will they recover?
I believe Rashee Rice will eventually end up becoming one of the best wide receivers in football.
Tried to tell you, man.
I also was very vocal on that before, but yes, I'll give Riff his due diligence. Yards after the catch, considering that he started after week 8, second in the league. Yards per route run, one of the league leaders. And again, he did not get his season started until week 8. When they finally realized that he was their best wide receiver, they took off. And down the stretch, Rashee Rice was one of the more reliable options. The one thing that his game may be lacking is the over-the-top big play ability. Isn't great at separating in that regard. Doesn't have this groundbreaking speed, but he gets open very consistently. And with Patrick Mahomes, I know that Hollywood comes in. I know that Worthy comes in, and now these are intriguing, fast options. What Mahomes loves is receivers that get open. And Kelsey is a prime example of that, and Rashee Rice does exactly that. I think Rashee Rice will be their best receiver this season. I think Rashee Rice will be one of the league leaders in receiving yards this year because I don't believe he's getting suspended. If he was going to get suspended, it would have happened by
So you
now.
think he's going to finish top 10?
I think he'll have around 1,100, 12.
Okay, because, I mean, I like Rashee a lot, but what he did last year was like drags and crossers only.
It was a little gimmicky.
But that's what worked for them. But at the same time, he got open.
It could work again because you're going to have Xavier Worthy and Hollywood taking shit off over the top.
Absolutely.
They didn't have a ton
Your
of last
attention
year,
is on the big play.
MVS and Justin Watson out there.
I like Rashee Rice. I don't know if I'm being too like disrespectful with him, but I think he's just really like a high end number 2. I don't know if he's a number 1 guy, but I think he's kind of like Chris Godwin-y to me. Chris
Godwin was pretty great and was a top 10 receiver at one point in his career.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm stamping my guys early. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Tej Johnson. We're here.
Okay. So all the 5 stars. Here we go.
You didn't. Tej Johnson is a 5-star.
Oh, my bad, bro. 4-star?
Yeah. You didn't even know who he is.
Luther Burden.
What school he goes to?
That's my brother.
It's a shame we didn't mention the Chiefs much or talk about them, but they're the best team in the NFL.
Don't care.
Currently.
Fuck them.
And we'll talk about them more throughout the season because they're always going to be winning.
Yeah.
We will. Undoubtedly.
And that's going to do it
4
for
hour
episode
pod.
400. I mean, we haven't recorded in like a week. So
Should
I
we
think
just
it's
talk
fine.
for 10 minutes to get to 4?
We might as well end it.
No,
Here
we
it is.
did, but did we leave this on when y'all went to the bathroom and all this shit?
We
It's
did
fine.
that. No, yeah. So this is really like a 3 hour, like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
That's
I ain't
actually
talking
upsetting.
for half an hour.
I swear, if we
would've said
spoke
we
4
could've
hours straight,
talked 10
we would have had
minutes.
to shoot the shit for 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got
But
30
fair
minutes.
enough. Wrap
But
it
that's
up.
going to do
We're
it
at
for the podcast.
35. It's like something like that.
Yeah. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at
12:30.
Pick Aside Podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.